It's Football Friday night, which means it's the Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show. Sports Director Tyler Lance will talk to the coaches from West Bend Mallard and North Union about tonight's matchups. Here's Tyler with all the details from inside the locker room.
It is Football Friday night on Hometown Radio KLGA and Home Country Radio KLGZ as we begin the Friday Night Tailgate Show. As always, checking in on the North Union.
From Radio Iowa Sports, this is the Scouting Report, an in-depth look at this week's prep and college games. Now from our studios in Des Moines, Todd Kim.
The Cyclones look to remain unbeaten at West Virginia. The Hawkeyes try to bounce back against Washington, while the Panthers face another tough challenge at South Dakota. And Week 7 of the high school season features several key matchups in 8-player. That and more on the Scouting Report.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
Iowa State coach Matt Campbell this week said while enjoying their 5-0 start, the focus for the 11th-ranked Cyclones is what still can be accomplished. ISU will bid for its first 6-0 start since 1938 with a visit to West Virginia. A defense that ranks 6th in the country in points allowed will be challenged by Mountaineer dual-threat quarterback Garrett Green, who leads an offense that averages 223 yards of rushing per game.
He's talented, he's tough, he's gritty. And I think every game that he has played in since he's been the quarterback at West Virginia, they've had a chance to win. And, you know, they've got a really talented backfield. Obviously, they're rushing the ball at a really high rate with great success on the offensive side of the football.
The Mountaineers are coming off an impressive win at Oklahoma State, and this will match 2 of the early unbeatens in the Big 12.
The good thing about this league is you got a chance to win every week. Bad thing about this league is you got a chance to lose every week. You know, like, there's really good coaching. I think the talent is pretty evenly distributed, but among the league. And so for us, I think it's just better to keep our eyes on exactly what's in front rather than worrying about anything in the future.
That's West Virginia coach Neil Brown. It's a 7 o'clock Iowa time kickoff. It'll be televised by Fox. After getting drilled in the second half at Ohio State, Iowa takes a 3-2 record into a home game against Washington. The Huskies played in the national championship contest before coach Kalen DeBoer left for Alabama and took several key players with him. Jed Fish took over after rebuilding Arizona and has quickly found success in Seattle. They're 4-2 after a win over Michigan.
And certainly a lot of things have changed since then. They've got a new staff up there. Jed did a great job at Arizona, really turning that program around and giving them life. And now he's doing a great job up there. He's got a really good staff.
That's Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz. To get ready for the 9 a.m. Seattle time kickoff, Washington arrived in Iowa City Thursday. Fish says more important than that will be handling the atmosphere in Kinnick Stadium.
I played there twice, once at Minnesota, once at Michigan. And we got to be ready for loud. We got to be ready for energy. We've got to be ready for incredible fan support and obviously a team that is built on toughness.
The game will be carried by Fox. There is no break in the schedule for UNI. After getting clobbered at home by top-ranked South Dakota State, the Panthers visit a South Dakota team led by former Wartburg coach Bob Nielsen. After going 10-3 during a playoff season a year ago, the Coyotes are 4-1 and rank 4th in FCS.
And they've got momentum now, and they run the ball well, they play hard, and they've always done that. Coach has always got a disciplined football team that plays hard. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know that's a different team. I just know that it's got a lot of confidence in playing really hard.
Drake hosts Butler in a key early Pioneer Football League showdown. The Bulldogs 2-0 in Pioneer Football League action, and a year ago they wrapped up the conference championship with a win in Indianapolis in the final week of the regular season. Also, Upper Iowa's at home against William Jewell. High school football is next on the Scouting Report.
Okay, gotta be late. Gotta go. Where'd I put... wallet. Check. And, phone. Check. Keys. Check. Lunch. Check.
Checking for the things you need doesn't take long. But what about checking for your safety? Right now, 1 in every 5 vehicles on the road has an open safety recall. But it only takes seconds to check for open recalls on your car at checktoprotect.org. All you need is your vehicle identification number or license plate number. Your automaker may not have the right information to notify you about recalls by mail, especially if you recently moved or drive an older or used car. Checktoprotect.org is the quick, easy way to find out if your vehicle has an open safety recall and find the closest dealer who can make the repair for free.
Laptop. Check.
Before you go, take a minute. Visit checktoprotect.org. Check to Protect is a program of the National Safety Council.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
With 2 weeks remaining in the season for the 4 smallest classes, the stakes rise and several district titles will be determined. That includes 8-player District 1, where 3rd-ranked Remsen St. Mary's hosts number 8 Woodbine. Daniel Versteeg has a preview.
The Woodbine defense has held opponents under 7 points 4 times this season, but they'll have their hands full against a Hawk offense that averages nearly 50 points per game. Remsen St. Mary's head coach Tim Osterman says the Tiger defense is aggressive and athletic.
Their biggest improvement, probably, I would say, year over year has been their defense. They played pretty good defense last year. Again, they have really good athletes, but I just think that they're more on top of things. They're more aggressive.
Woodbine sophomore Landon Bloom leads Class 8 player in receiving touchdowns with 13 scores on 18 receptions.
Landon's tall, he's long, he can run. Can you really stop everything that he does? I'm not quite sure. So we're going to have to do our best to try to stay on top of him, try to stay inside of him, and then make plays on the ball.
In games like this, Coach Osterman says it's important that his offense remains on schedule.
Our biggest thing is just make sure that we don't get ourselves into 3rd and longs, 3rd and forevers. Can we keep it manageable? And then can we execute when it's time to execute?
For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, I'm Daniel Versteeg, KLEM Lamar's.
Also an 8-player, 2nd-ranked Lennox is at home against 10th-ranked Southeast Warren. 4th-ranked Don Bosco hosts Turkey Valley. The title in District 2 is up for grabs as top-ranked Algona Garrigan hosts Grettinger Terrell Ruth Van Ayrshire. Nathan Poole reports.
Both teams have high-powered offenses, averaging over 50 points a game. The Golden Bears' defense has been stellar, allowing around 10 points a game, while GTRA's defense has been great, taking away the football from their opponents with 26 total takeaways this season. GTRA head coach Todd Huff says there's a reason Bishop Garrigan is ranked number 1.
They'll be the best team we faced to this point of the season. Biggest thing, they're very physical on both sides of the football. So, up front always kind of dictates how the game's going to go. So we just got to make sure we're physical on both sides of the football because we know they're going to be. And then they got a lot of weapons, offensively, a lot of skilled guys that they can use on defense, too, to help out with things. So they're just a very well-rounded team.
Bishop Garrigan coach Marty Wadley says the Titans' offense will be difficult to stop.
They have a good quarterback. Casey Huff's a good quarterback. He started for them all last year. I think he's much improved over what he was a year ago.
Bishop Garrigan will try to go for their 19th straight win dating back to last season when they kick off at 7 o'clock at Conway Field in Algona tonight. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, I'm Nathan Poole.
Moving on to Class 5A, where top-ranked Dowling Catholic visits Urbandale. It's 2nd-ranked West Des Moines Valley hosting Waterloo West. 3rd-ranked Bettendorf is at Davenport Central, while 4th-ranked Pleasant Valley hosts Muscatine. And in Class 4A, top-ranked Lewis Central is at Winterset. 2nd-ranked Gilbert hosts Bondurant Farrar. This season, Bex is recognizing student-athletes and are not only a star in athletics, but a player that shows heart in school, at work, through the community, and in the ag industry. Morgan Brown of Benton Community has not grown up on a farm, but her interest in agriculture began when she took a job on a dairy farm through FFA.
And I just asked my advisor if she knew of any farmers that were looking for workers, and she gave me the contact of my current boss now, And then that's how I started working there on the farm.
Ace Studer of Algona has his own goat herd, which not only has taught him the value of hard work, but the business side of agriculture.
I learned a lot from like the health of goats and stuff. So if they're sick, like what shots to give them. I know I would work with our dad with that. He helped a lot with that, and then just stuff like that. So I just learned what it takes a lot to do for like the production and stuff.
Jamison Kramersmeyer of North Iowa High School says his first memory of the farm is when his grandfather taught him how to drive a tractor.
It has a hand clutch, so you got to push it forward to make it go forward. And he was letting me do that, and I pushed it forward a little bit too fast, and we popped a wheelie.
For Jace Johnson of Linville Sully, showing pigs has been a tradition in his family, and he started at the age of 6.
I just learned from my mom, just learned from other people around me, other showmen, and obviously the things that the other shows. Like if a judge tells me something, I'm going to take that and find out what I need to fix or what I can change to make me better.
Nominate a student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart. The rest of Week 7 is next on the Scouting Report.
At Beck's, we stand up for the things that matter most: our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a quality family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Beck's, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BecksHybrids.com.
When you think of a healthy relationship, what comes to mind? Is it arguments, secrets, neglecting responsibilities, violence, or stress? These aren't healthy, but can happen with family, friends, and loved ones if alcohol or drug use has taken over their life. If you are experiencing problems in your relationships, take the first step to talk to someone about finding resources or even treatment options. We walk beside you so you are never alone. Call, text, or chat online 24/7 for free at yourlifeiowa.org. A message from Iowa HHS.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
Familiar foes collide tonight in Class A as top-ranked ACGC hosts Mount Ayr. Marcus Mackey will call the game for Raccoon Valley Radio.
The ACGC Chargers and Mount Ayr Raiders played against one another twice last year, with the Chargers taking both games, the first 42-18 and the second in the playoffs 34-18. Head coach for the Chargers, Cody Mathewson, says that even though they took last year's games, he's expecting another tough matchup.
They're going to be hungry. They played us 0-2 last year, and so they're going to have a chip on their shoulder, and they're going to have that bad taste in their mouth, and they're going to want to get a little bit of revenge. So, they have still what seems to be a little bit still young team. Last year they were all freshmen and sophomores, and they almost returned all their production, but they did graduate an offensive line that was senior-laden.
Raiders head coach Ryan Victor is also looking forward to what could be a tough game, and is looking forward to what the two Class A teams could see in the future as well.
Just another opportunity to play against a top-notch opponent. Coach Mathewson's done a great job over there at bringing, a resurgence to that program, especially in the last 5 to 7 years. And I think in Class A, this could turn into a pretty good rivalry. I know they got the best of us last year, especially the first game, but we closed the gap a little bit in the second in the playoff game. And so we're looking forward to see if we've closed that gap and make it more of an even contest this week. So we're excited for the opportunity.
The Chargers are undefeated on the season, and the Raiders' only loss comes from the Madrid Tigers earlier in the season.
There's one other rated matchup in Class A. It features 5th-ranked Woodbury Central visiting number 8 Tri-Center. Class 1A, the lone rated matchup, finds number 4 OABCIG hosting 9th-ranked Hinton. It's top-ranked Grundy Center at Albernet, while number 2 Wilton visits West Branch. One of 2 rated matchups in 2A features 8th-ranked Roland Story hosting number 10 Des Moines Christian. Quinn Douglas has a preview.
Roland Story head coach Matt Finn says the key to victory on Friday night will be pressuring Des Moines Christian quarterback Jet Each and not allowing him to extend plays.
We've got to find a way to get home to him with the pass rush, and we've got to find a way to stay in coverage long enough so we can get that done.
A program that is becoming known for throwing the football, Des Moines Christian head coach Matt Daniels says he challenged his players in the offseason to become a more balanced football team on offense.
If we want to win at this level of football, Class 2A football, we have to be able to establish the run game to keep teams honest. And so we really emphasize with our guys in the offseason the work they're putting in the weight room.
Daniels says Roland Story's front on the offensive and defensive side is among the best in Class 2A.
I would argue that They might have one of the best front three groups, defense side of the football in terms of just physicality and their technique. And I know that they're going to come out and run the football, and that's what they want to establish.
For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report and KQWC, this is Quinn Douglas.
The other rated matchup in Class 2A features third-ranked PCM Monroe visiting number 9 West Marshall. Top-ranked Spirit Lake is at Garner Hayfield Ventura, while number 2 West Lyon visits Sheldon. In Class 3A, there are a couple of rated matchups. Top-ranked Algona visits number 5 Humboldt. Second-ranked Williamsburg is at home against 6th-ranked Solon. It's third-ranked Dubuque Wahlert at West Delaware, and number 4 Sergeant Bluff Luton hosts Carroll. That's all for the Scouting Report. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Todd Kim.
It's Football Friday night, which means it's the Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday night tailgate show. Sports Director Tyler Lance will talk to the coaches from West Bend Mallard and North Union about tonight's matchups. Here's Tyler with all the details from inside the locker room.
It is Football Friday night on Hometown Radio KLGA and Home Country Radio KLGZ as we begin the Friday night tailgate show. As always, checking in on the North Union and West Bend Mallard football programs. This week, West Bend Mallard looks to improve the record to 4-3 and get above 500 for the first time since the opening game as the Wolverines take on Norfolk Kensett. Long road trip for West Bend Mallard in that one. Meanwhile, North Union comes off their first victory of the season, and today they'll play against Newman Catholic in their final district contest of the regular season. We'll talk with Coach Ernster of North Union and Coach Wirtz of West Bend Mallard coming up next on the Friday Night Tailgate Show.
Homestead Country Store invites you to stop by their location at 203 South Broadway Avenue in West Bend. Serving lunch from 11 to 2, menus can be seen on their Facebook page. Let's not forget the ice cream. Do you need syrup for your pancakes or waffles? Check out their New York syrup. Homestead Country Store has a wide variety of supplies from King Arthur brand all-purpose and wheat flours to spices and herbs for your baking and canning needs. From our homestead to yours, you'll find what you need at the Homestead Country Store in downtown West Bend.
As we get the Friday Night Tailgate Show underway here on Hometown and Home Country Radio, we're going to talk some North Union football with head coach Matt Ernster. Coach, thank you so much for joining the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And Coach, as we begin, team gets on the board last week, defeating West Fork by a final count of 42-13. Just obviously a good feeling for the guys to get on the board and get that first win of the season. So talk to me about how big that was mentally for the guys to kind of get off the schneid there and get that one in the win column, and then what you felt a few keys to that game were.
It felt good. That was kind of the focus and the goal all week. We talked about, really taking that ugly 0 out of the win column and doing something positive. And, we've really been talking to them a lot, especially over the past few weeks about, our record is not really who we are, or we don't feel like that's a true indicator of where we were. We just had some, things that not go well, playing some tough teams. But we always felt like we were a lot better team than a 0-win team. So that felt really good for the guys to kind of see that come to fruition. And, they've been working hard through this tough stretch that we've had, so it was good for them to get, rewarded for that. I thought the keys, we came out really well on offense again. The second straight week we took an opening drive and score. I thought the defense really settled in. They had, a big drive there from the end of the first into the second. They got a touchdown, and they were really doing some good things on offense, and I thought our defensive coaching staff and our kids responded really well and made some key adjustments, and shutting that down in the second half, they were lights out. And just, we found ways to finish drives and, put points on the board, which has been a struggle for us.
Well, and Coach, I do want to highlight what the defense did in the second half because, like you said, West Fork, they got it close at halftime. You guys were leading 21-13, but the defense pitched a second-half shutout. So what did you feel some of those key adjustments were or things you felt the Warriors did well defensively in the second half of that game?
We really worked or talked a lot at halftime about shutting down the outside run. They were really trying to hit some sweeps and outside powers, and we just did a lot better job in the second half of stringing those things out. And things that were going for 5-6 were going for 1 or 2, and so we put them in a lot of third and longs and made them do some things they didn't want to do. We got some tackles for loss. We gang tackled a lot better. We just overall just everything was a lot better for the defense that way.
And on the offensive side of the ball for you, Coach, obviously a huge night for Draven Keeler. Workhorse type of night as he had 34 carries, over 180 yards. Can you put the kind of night that he had into perspective and just how big that was for you guys to get that kind of run game from him?
Yeah, it was big. It allowed some of the pass to open up. Not a lot of passing, but enough to keep things loose. But it kept us on schedule all night. We talk about that a lot, about trying to stay ahead of the chains and make sure that we're in good situations to gain first downs. And so, his ability all night to gain positive yards on runs and keep us in those situations was big. And just the ability to finish runs when we got into, goal-to-goal situations in the second half was critical.
We're talking Warrior football right now for North Union head coach Matt Ernster. And coach, team looks to continue the momentum this week as you guys host Newman Catholic. What are a couple of things that jump out to you about the Knights?
They're really multiple in what they do. We've known that for the past couple years playing them. They can come out in a double wing set, real run heavy set, and then the next they're 3-4 wide. So that makes it challenging because you got to bounce in and out and be able to adapt pretty quickly. They've got some size on the edges with some of their wide receivers and stuff, and they got a pretty dynamic kid in the backfield that kind of does a little bit of everything for them. So I think offensively they present a lot of challenges. Defensively, they're just pretty solid in what they do. They nothing too crazy or exotic, but they flow well, they get to the ball well, they read stuff well. So they're going to present challenges on both sides. That we're going to have to, kind of get adjusted to really well or really quickly, and hopefully be able to kind of figure them out.
Coach, along those same lines, what do you see as the biggest key for a North Union victory?
I think it's just kind of like building on what we did last week. Defense finding a way to settle in and really limit their possessions or limit their scores and kind of shut them down that way, make them one-dimensional. Offensively, it's just kind of what we've been talking about all year. It's just we've been able to move the ball, so keep doing that, but keep wrapping up drives with scores and putting points on the board.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time today and wish you best of luck against Newman Catholic on Friday night.
All right, thank you.
That is North Union Warriors head coach Matt Ernster joining us on the Friday Night Tailgate Show. Right now, we'll step aside for a quick message. When we come back, we'll talk West Bend Mallard Wolverine football with head coach Tyson Wirtz on KLGA and KLGZ.
Tired of being another boring and generic ride in the parking lot? If you want to stand out, call Raw Customs in West Bend today. From wheels, tires, fender flares, lift kits, running boards, bed covers, to upgrading to LED lighting, no matter what your preferences are, they have all the accessories you could possibly want with quality and service you deserve. If you want to turn heads, call Raw Customs to upgrade your vehicle, motorcycle, side-by-side, trailer, and more at 515-887-2800.
More Tailgate Show right now on Hometown at Home Country Radio as we talk West Bend Mallard football with head coach Tyson Wirtz. Coach, as always, thank you so much for giving us some time today.
And thank you for having us on. We always appreciate it.
Well, Coach, certainly a great game last week for the Wolverines as you guys defeat North Iowa in your homecoming game, 69-26 final in that one. And we just talked a bit about how the team's really had a couple good offensive games, 50-plus points against Harris Lake Park the week before, 60-plus against North Iowa. So past couple of weeks, what do you feel some of those big keys to really getting some good offensive performances have been?
It's just sustaining drives and putting stuff together. I mean, I think some of the issues we had in our losses this year have been an inability to keep drives going, and it's whether it's penalties or turnovers or whatever it is. We don't need to be necessarily perfect, but we need to minimize that stuff, and that's kind of the last couple games. Our turnovers have been very minimal, our penalties have been low, and so even if we don't necessarily block everything perfectly on a play, it's not like we're in the hole. So that's been the biggest thing, is playing cleaner football.
Coach, looking for your stats on the season coming into tonight's game, one of the things that kind of jumps out and maybe has been a little bit underrated has been the play of Clint Fair on the defensive line. He's someone who has 9.5 sacks, near the team lead in tackles, a lot of tackles for loss as well. Maybe doesn't get quite as much attention as the guys who are scoring touchdowns, but he's been really effective. So what do you feel has made him so effective on that side of the ball?
Yeah, I'm not surprised it gets lost because he's the type of kid that is extremely humble. I mean, he doesn't talk about himself. It's never about him. I mean, he's not going to stand up and flex on people. He just gets back to work, and that's just kind of who he is. He's a quiet leader for us, but he's a very active leader. He works his tail off every single day. He's the type of athlete that you love to have because he comes to you outside of practice and asks you, what are some things I can work on my pass rush? What are some things I can work on with my hands? He's really a student of the game. He watches a lot of film and gets after it. And it's just that little stuff that really takes no talent or skill. It's just all about the effort and the time he's willing to put in, and that's what he's really honed his craft on.
Well, Coach, getting back to action this week are the Wolverines as you guys look to get above 500 if a win as you go up against Northwood Kensett here in this one. And they're a team that's getting a few guys healthy. They've won their past two and maybe playing a little bit better football than they did at the start of the season. So looking at Northwood Kensett, what are a couple things that jump out to you?
Yeah, they've been a team all year that I've said everybody needs to watch out for. They were a good team last year that brought a lot of guys back this year, and they do have some inexperience, and they definitely have had some injuries that have stymied them a little bit this year. But as you said, they are getting healthier. They run the ball even more than we do. I mean, they get off the ball quickly, and it's one of the things we've seen on film is they're going to fire off the ball and they're going to be in your face fast. And so we've got to be ready to get up there and make some plays. They've got a top 20 rusher in the state on their roster with Tiedemann, and he's a very physical, hard running back that you have there. And then they run a pretty nasty triple option that if we fall asleep on the fullback, then they're gonna get outside on us. So definitely been a lot of responsibility this week as far as our gap alignments and our outside contain and really trying to get this powerful running game stopped as one of the biggest things. And then defensively, Northwood's they've just always been a very fundamental team that they get up and they make tackles and they make things happen. So it's a game that I've really encouraged the kids throughout the year not to sleep on this team because I think Northwood Kensett's a very solid team.
Well, Coach, in that response, you mentioned the triple option, and that's part of what makes this game so unique because you're not going to see that a whole lot on a week-to-week basis in high school football, so maybe a bit of challenge to get prepared for that and then see it at game speed as well once the game actually kicks off. What have you done this week to get your guys ready to see that triple option?
You just drill into their head their responsibilities. You know, you have this gap, you have this person, you have the quarterback, you have the pitch man. We run it a little bit ourselves, and so fortunately our guys have seen it because we have it in our arsenal of plays, so they get the concept behind it at least. But really, that's what it is. You can't cheat to somebody else's job. You have to do your job and trust that your teammates are going to do theirs.
Coach, as we wrap up here, what do you feel one or two of the biggest keys for a Wolverine victory in this game are?
I'm a broken record with it, but it's playing clean. It's minimizing penalties and it's minimizing turnovers, playing clean that way. I think another level of it this week is we just have to be ready to go. We got a long bus ride to get to Northwood, and they're, like I said, they're going to get off the ball fast, and so we have to make sure we're awake and we are ready to go right away because they're gonna smack us in the mouth if we're not careful. We can do the same thing, and I think we've done it against some other teams, and so I'm confident that if we show up, we can beat that team, but we do have to show up. This is not going to be one that's handed to us by any means.
Coach, we appreciate your time today on the Tailgate Show and wish you best of luck in tonight's game.
Yeah, as always, we appreciate the coverage. Thanks a lot.
That is West Bend Mallard Wolverine head coach Tyson Wirtz talking about his upcoming matchup against Northwood Kensett. That'll wrap it up for the Friday Night Tailgate Show. Pre-game coverage of your matchup is coming up next on KLGA and KLGZ.
It's time to hit the field. That's it for Raw Customs and the Homestead Country Store Friday Night Tailgate Show.
Get ready for football with the Garrigan Golden Bear pregame show, brought to you by your Edward Jones representative, Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen. We got interviews with the coaches, the starting lineups, the Kimna Auto Center keys to the game, the Grassmasters field condition report, Algona Plumbing and Heating's game time temperature, eyes on Thorrington coin toss, and more as we preview tonight's matchup. The pregame is also brought to you by Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare, JDRCs of Wesley, and Van Wert Trucking of Audison. Now here's Tyler Lance on the Golden Bear Edward Jones pregame show.
Finally back at Conway Field in Algona, Iowa tonight. The 6-0, number 2 ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears take on the 6-0, number 10 ranked GTRA Titans. Winner of this game wins the District 2 title. Good evening, everyone. Tyler Lance here on KLGZ Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream for your Edward Jones pregame show. Brought to you by Representatives Bruce Keefe, Mackenzie Jorgensen, Jerry Sukup, and Brady Ross. As tonight, the Golden Bears and Titans do battle on the Bishop Garrigan gridiron, where the Golden Bears haven't been since week 2 of the football season. Of course, they were supposed to play at home on September 27th against Rockford. Rockford forfeited that game, so at long last, Bishop Garrigan returns to their home gridiron, and it couldn't be for a bigger matchup. The 6-0 GTRA Titans, who have really dominated their way throughout the football season, much like the Golden Bears have. Titans so far this season have won 5 out of their 6 games by 49 or more points. Their lone close game, a double overtime win over St. Edmund. But Bishop Garrigan, they've been dominant as well. Like we said, Golden Bears had a 48-22 win over St. Edmund. Every other game besides that has featured a running clock so far this year. So it's an unstoppable force versus an unmovable object tonight, as the Golden Bears put that 18-game win streak on the line against their toughest opponent thus far this season, the GTRA Titans. We'll talk to both head coaches, Marty Wadley of the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears coming up next, and Todd Huff of the GTRA Titans ahead of this essentially district title matchup. That's coming up next on the Edward Jones pregame show.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Brady Ross. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Contact me, Brady Ross, at 515-295-7763. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sukup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Vanward Trucking of Odison specializes in livestock hauling and flatbed freight hauling. Let them transport your livestock. If it's local hauling or long distance, they will get it there. Contact them at 515-379-2109. Located in Odison, Vanward Trucking, livestock and flatbed freight hauling when and where you need it.
Is your student athlete on the injured list? We can help. This is Wendy Wagner, physical therapy assistant at Kasuth Regional Health Center. As a former student athlete and coach, I want to help you get back in the game feeling healthy and injury-free. Our staff works closely with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all our area athletes this season. We will be cheering for you.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for healthcare.
High school football action coming up right around the corner here on Home Country Radio, KLGZ, and the Alberta Radio YouTube stream is tonight. The Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears host the GTRA Titans, and right now we're joined by Golden Bear head coach Marty Wadley. Coach, once again, thank you so much for your time on the pregame show.
Thanks a lot, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Well, Coach, last week the team won 71-20, defeating Siouxland Christian and moving to 6-0 on the season. For those who missed breakfast with the coaches this past Saturday, we talked about the fact that the team took a little bit of time in that game before they really started looking sharp later on. So, was there a particular moment or a particular adjustment you felt the team made to start turning the tide a little bit last week and getting back on track?
Not really. We just kind of, got a little bit more focus after the slow start and just started playing better and just started doing things and executing better. So, that's a good thing. And, the bad thing is you don't want to see those things happen, but they happen sometimes. They're high school kids. We hadn't played in 2 weeks. I'm not going to give you a bunch of list of excuses because you still have to be ready to play, but that obviously was a bit of it, and hopefully we've got that out of our system now.
Well, Coach, one thing you mentioned that wasn't up to its usual standard last week was the tackling and getting guys down when that first defender gets the ball. Is there anything specific this week you did to shore that up with a very elusive quarterback in Casey Huff coming to town, or is that just kind of a matter of reminding guys of what an emphasis that is?
Probably reminding guys, but yeah, we did a lot of different drills, and we do a weekly tackling circuit and do some different things with that. So we worked on that a lot this week, as we need to throughout the season to keep going. We do some live tackling in practice, but not a lot. So, we have to hone those skills and make sure that we're doing everything fundamentally correct.
Well, Coach, you're seeing back-to-back teams that really like to spread things out and put 3 or 4 receivers on the field, and that really kind of goes to a whole new level this week as far as athleticism is concerned with this GTRA team that's coming in. What are some of the things you need to emphasize defensively this week when you face a team that's going to spread things out like they do and try to use the whole field?
Well, I think number one is their quarterback, and we have to make sure that we keep him as contained as we can. And he's very elusive, does some very good things in the open field, and take as much grass away from him as we can, and put him in situations that he doesn't want to be in, obviously. And they're going to try and avoid those situations. But those are the big things, and get a good pass rush so that he doesn't have a lot of time just to sit back there and decide what he wants to go to.
Well, Coach, you've talked in the past about the kind of depth you have, and that includes at the quarterback position where you have a couple of mobile guys who I'm guessing to be on the scout team this week and try to simulate Casey Huff, the GTRA quarterback. So how did you go about this week in practice trying to simulate the things that Huff does?
Well, we try to just keep him, moving as much as we can. Daniel Mice has been playing our scout team quarterback for the majority of the season, and he's just done a great job at that. And he's athletic, and he can move back there, and he can throw the ball very well for a kid who doesn't play quarterback. So, he does a lot of different things, and he's done a very good job for us this last week preparing us for the Huff kid.
We're talking right now with Bishop Garrigan, Golden Bear head coach Marty Wadley. And Coach, on the other side of the ball, GTRA is a defense that's had some success this year as far as taking the ball away and generating turnovers for the opponent. What are some challenges you feel their defense presents to you guys, and how do you have a successful night offensively?
Well, you just have to make sure in coverages when we do throw the ball that we know what they're in. Are they in man? Are they in two? They will run a little bit of three, but not a lot. So make sure we know who the flat defender is, number one, and recognize him and see where we're at and what kind of a box they have loaded against us and how we're going to attack that if we're running the ball and how we're going to attack the perimeter and attack the secondary when we're throwing it.
Well, Coach, obviously the stakes of this game are no secret as the winner in this one will take the district title. How big of an advantage do you feel the experience of your team is when dealing with a game of these kinds of implications?
Well, hopefully it's, experience pays off. We've got a good group of seniors and hopefully they can take charge and help lead things. And, you're going to have adversity in games. You have adversity in every single game that you play. And we need to make sure that we overcome any adversity and not dwell on it. Shake it off and go on to the next play. And we emphasize that to our kids daily. Reboot yourself a little bit, refocus, and get in there. Mistakes are going to happen. Let's just not make a lot of them. Let's not make mental mistakes. And, those things are, at a higher tempo, a little faster pace. Just have to be able to adjust to it and get going with those things and play at that mental level where we're not making the mental mistakes.
Well, Coach, as we wrap up here, what do you see as the biggest key for our Golden Bear victory in this game?
We're going to have to play well up front on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And we're going to have to play well in the secondary with our linebackers and make sure we're reading keys and we're not over-pursuing. We're not rushing too deep when they run the screens. So a lot of it's going to happen up front and what we can do and can we make tackles and finish tackles when we have to make them in the open field.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time today and wish you best of luck in tonight's game.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate it.
That is Bishop Garrigan, Golden Bear head coach Marty Wadley on the Edward Jones pregame show. We will take a quick timeout and check in with GTRA head coach Todd Huff coming up on KLGZ and the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Bruce Keith. Together we can give you your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 100 North Phillips Street. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sukup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
Let Wiffles Hybrids from JDR Seed help you find the cure for the common corn yield by matching you with the hybrids that can increase your whole farm yield. Now is the time to buy to get serious savings on serious seed for next spring. See the results for yourself. Contact Rich Rosemeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit Wiffles.com. Wiffles Hybrids and JDR Seed, together we bring the yield.
When it comes to your recovery, we tackle issues head-on. Whether you're on the field, setting up a spike, or running the course, Kossuth Regional Health Center's rehab team is here to help when an injury occurs. I'm Bryce Buckle, physical therapist, and as a former student athlete, I know how important it is to get back in the game. At KRHC, our team works with local healthcare providers and specialists throughout the area for a recovery plan that works for you. Best of luck to all of our area athletes this season. We'll be cheering for you.
And we approach high school football action right now on Home Country Radio KLGZ as GTRA takes on at Bishop Garrigan. And right now we're joined by Titan head coach Todd Huff. Coach, first of all, thank you so much for your time today and joining us on the pregame show.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
First of all, let's just start off with last week's game. You guys are now 6-0 after defeating Harris Lake Park by a 58-8 final score. Can you first start our listeners off by just giving us a couple of your thoughts from last week's game and what you felt a couple of the biggest things that stood out were?
Yeah, I thought we got off to a little bit of a slow start, but our kids did a nice job after We had a few turnovers early in the game, and then we just didn't come out quite ready like we needed to be, and we made some adjustments. And I thought once we got going, the kids did a pretty good job of executing what we talked about throughout the week.
Well, Coach, you've now moved into the top 10 in the state rankings with a 6-0 start as this team is pretty clearly taken a few big jumps since when we talked last year. So as you kind of look at where the team's at right now compared to maybe where they were this time last year, what do you feel some of the big improvements your guys have made are?
Yeah, one of the biggest things is last year we had a lot of kids. It was their first varsity season, and some of the positions they're at, and that always makes things a little bit harder. We got a lot of those kids now back with a year of experience, so that they had that year to learn in some of these games, and they've all gotten older and stronger too with another year. So just that experience, I think, has been a big contributor to helping us out this year.
And, Coach, one of the big highlights for this year so far has been your quarterback, Casey Huff, and the kind of play that he's had, leading the team in rushing yards. He's thrown 14 touchdown passes as well. When you look at your quarterback, what do you feel makes him unique among quarterbacks in the area?
Yeah, he's done a good job. He throws the football really well for us. And the guys that he has around him, that always helps too. Those guys are doing a great job too. And one thing he's done a better job at this year for us is recognizing, maybe when some things aren't open in the passing area, he'll use his legs to take advantage of that and run the football for us a little bit too that way. So I'd say that's been a big improvement for him, is just seeing that when things are open, he's taking them. When they're not, he's trying to use his legs to make a play for us.
Well, Coach, one of the other things that jumps out looking at your team and some of the stats they put up so far this season is the fact you guys have a receiver with Jackson Schnell averaging almost 26 yards per catch. You've got a bunch of other guys who are also generating explosive plays for your offense. So that kind of leads into the question of just why do you feel your offense has been so successful this year at hitting all of those chunk plays?
Yeah, all the guys have been doing their jobs, and when, some games, some things are open for other guys more than, the previous game or the next game is going to be. So, our kids are pretty unselfish, and they just, whatever was working that game, and whoever gets the calls or the throws or the catches or whatever, those guys have been doing just a great job of taking when it comes to them. And when it's not going to them, those other guys, they're doing their jobs, they're running routes to get guys open, or whether they're making a key block or something like that. So, so far this year, our team's done a really nice job of that.
We're talking right now with GTRA head coach Todd Huff. Coach, obviously a big-time matchup coming up this week on the schedule as you battle the 6-0 Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears to decide the district title. As you scout the Golden Bears, what are a couple of things that have jumped out to you about them?
Just their physicality, for one, on both sides of the ball. They're just really physical. And the other thing is they're just well-rounded both sides of the ball. They're good at stopping the run, stopping the pass, and offense. They're good at both, too. So it's not like you just have to look at one thing to prepare for and say, if we can shut this down, we'll have a better chance. So they're just really good in all aspects of the game.
Coach, one word you mentioned there, physicality, definitely seems to be a key for tonight's game, as not a whole lot of teams have been able to slow down the Garrigan rushing attack so far on the season. So when you guys look at trying to control the line of scrimmage and try to slow down Garrigan's running game a little bit, what do you see as the key to being able to do that?
Yeah, biggest thing is up front, we just have to be physical, and we got to have a good pad level. If you stand up, we know we're going to get blown back a long ways, and so we got to do a good job of having good pad level up front. And then, the biggest thing is just keep fighting. There might be some plays that we don't win on certain plays, and our kids can't get their heads down. They just got to fight the next play, and we don't have to win them all. We just got to win enough.
Well, Coach, on the other side of the ball, what do you expect the Bishop Garrigan defense to throw at you, and how do you have a successful night offensively against them?
It's just going to come down to execution, whatever they're doing on defense, we're just going to have to make sure we're understanding what they're doing, what they're trying to do, and then we got to make sure we're lining up correctly and we're understanding what we're trying to do against the defense that they're doing at the time. So, just if we can line up in the right spots and make sure we know what our assignments are, I think that'll give us a good chance.
Coach, along those same lines as we wrap up for today, what do you see as the biggest key for a GTRA win in this game?
Well, you alluded to it a little bit there. Offensively, we're going to have to be able to move the ball a little bit because, Garrigan's offense is very good, so we can try to keep the ball out of their hands a little bit and have some successful drives. That'll help. And then the other big thing is going to be the turnover battle. If we can get a few turnovers, that's definitely going to help us out. We definitely got to make sure we take care of the football when we have it on offense.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time today on the pregame show and wish you best of luck in tonight's game.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
That is GTRA head coach Todd Huff as we get ready for a top 10 battle between the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears and GTRA Titans. More of your Edward Jones pregame show coming up next on Home Country Radio KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Jerry Sokup. Let's work together on an investment strategy for long-term results. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Start by giving me a call at 515-295-7766. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, together we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Vanward Trucking of Odison specializes in livestock hauling and flatbed freight hauling. Let them transport your livestock. If it's local hauling or long distance, they will get it there. Contact them at 515-379-2109. Located in Odison, Vanward Trucking, livestock and flatbed freight hauling when and where you need it.
Let Whipple's hybrids from GTRA Seed help you find the cure for the common corn yield by matching you with the hybrids that can increase your whole farm yield. Now is the time to buy to get serious savings on serious seed for next spring. See the results for yourself. Contact Rich Rosemeyer, Dale Lappy, or Mitchell Carroll at JDR Seed of Wesley, 515-341-2452, or visit Whiffles.com. Whiffles Hybrids and JDR Seed, together we bring the yield.
More of your Edward Jones pregame show right now on Home Country Radio KLGZ, brought to you by your Algona representatives Bruce Keith, Mackenzie Jorgensen, Jerry Sukup, and Brady Ross, getting ready for the number 2 ranked Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, 6-0, a perfect record on the season. But like we said, their toughest test tonight coming against the number 10 ranked GTRA Titans, who are also 6-0. So something's got to give tonight, and we're going to find out what that is once this game kicks off. Right now, though, we will look at the starting lineups for this ball game, starting off with the GTRA offense. Up front, they will have John Krager, a senior at left guard. At center, it's a junior Luke Malm, and at right guard, it's Donovan Young, another senior, checking in a robust 6'3", 320 pounds. The starting quarterback tonight, whose name we will call a lot, Casey Huff for GTRA, over 800 yards passing this year, 14 touchdowns and just 1 pick. Their starting quarterback. Their starting running back, Caleb Sweden, a junior, and out wide, they're going to have Isaiah Malm, a senior, Jackson Schnell, a junior, and Landon Dietrich, a sophomore. For the Bishop Garrigan defense at the end position, you'll have senior Keaton Helliseth and Carter Schwab. He's the junior. Carter McGregor, the junior, at the nose tackle position. Andrew Lichter, a senior, Ethan Marceau, a junior, and Matt Miller, a sophomore, your starting linebackers, and Michael Joyce, a sophomore, the lead man in the secondary with 3 interceptions so far this season. But GTRA loves those 3 and 4 wide receiver sets, so going to be a lot of other defensive backs rotating in tonight as well. Flipping around here to the Bishop Garrigan offense, the guard positions, junior Carter Schwab and senior Keaton Helliseth. At center, it's Caden Graves, another junior for Bishop Garrigan. Tate Furch, the junior, is the starting quarterback. Trayton Sink, the senior, the starting running back, with 16 rushing touchdowns so far in the season. The fullback, Ethan Marceau, a junior, 6 touchdowns on the ground himself. Out wide, it's going to be a sophomore, Michael Joyce, and the senior Wyatt Rosenmeyer, the starting tight end for the Golden Bears. Defensively for GTRA, up front, they have John Krager, a senior, and Wyatt Hafner, a fellow senior, at the defensive end spots, and Luke Malm, a junior, at defensive tackle. The linebackers tonight, junior Caleb Sweden, sophomore Landon Dietrich, and senior Isaiah Malm. And in the secondary, it's senior Casey Huff and junior Jackson Schnell. That is the starting lineup for tonight's game. The GTRA Titans visiting the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears, coming up on KLGZ Home Country Radio. Right now, a quick timeout. When we come back, it'll be your Chemnitz keys to the game. It's after these messages on KLGZ.
Market declines, unemployment, today's headlines can be scary. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor, Mackenzie Jorgensen. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to prepare for the long term. We provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Contact me, Mackenzie Jorgensen, at 515-395-4021, along with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross. We are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Cancer has affected all of our lives in some way. And Chemna Auto Center in Algona wants to partner with you to drive for a cure. For every vehicle purchased during the month of October, Chemna will donate $25 to the Kossuth Cancer Foundation in honor of your loved one, and $2 donated when you purchase a Quick Lane The Works package. Now's the time to get yourself a new ride and drive for a cure. Chemna Hope, Chemna Cares.
just about 9 minutes away from kickoff here on Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream as Bishop Garrigan hosts GTRA in a district title deciding matchup. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie, as right now we have your Chemna Auto Center keys to the game, brought to you by Chemna Auto Center, where it's not just about the car, it's about the care. Beanie, I'll start with this tonight. The Golden Bears are going to have to take their tackling very seriously. That's something Coach Wadley said last week wasn't good enough. A lot of missed tackles against Siouxland Christian, and tonight they'll face the elusive quarterback Casey Huff. He's gotten over 540 yards rushing on the season. He's always mobile. He's extending plays. He really avoids turnovers extremely well, and Garrigan really has to do a nice job of wrapping him up, not letting him break tackles in reverse field against them.
Oh, for sure. I don't know the whole family dynamics over in the GTRA area, but every time we play GTRA in basketball, baseball, football especially, if there's someone with the last name Huff on their jersey, they are going to be one heck of a football player. So I am anxious to see this quarterback. I'm sure he does it all. I saw in the stats he's received touchdowns, he's run for touchdowns, he's thrown touchdowns. This is a good football player over there, obviously, and no doubt the Bears have to be ready to go and focus on this game.
Yeah, Casey Huff has scored in all phases of the game. Like you said, he's passed, rushed, and received for touchdowns. He's also kick return for touchdowns and taken pick sixes to the house as well. So he's going to be out there scoring for GTRA tonight if the Titans are going to have a chance in this ball game. And really the other thing for Garrigan tonight, it's such a cliche the coaches always say in the pregame interview, but it's so true, especially tonight. You've got to avoid turnovers. This GTRA team has forced 26 turnovers so far this season. That means they're turning the opposing team over 4 times per game. And not only do they turn the opposing teams over, when they get the ball on an interception, they're taking it back like a punt return. They're looking to score off of turnovers, so ball security going to be massive tonight for the Golden Bears.
Oh, no doubt. This is an aggressive team. Take care of the ball. You're totally right, Tyler. Ball security. You're going to have to take care of the ball because this is going to be an opportunistic GTRA team, and they have nothing to lose. They're playing one of the top-ranked teams in this state, and that makes them so dangerous. Garrigan's got a big target on the bat, and they're playing someone that's good, that has nothing to lose. Garrigan, meanwhile, Tyler, they're coming off homecoming week. I've seen so many tired faces in the hallway this week. People were exhausted today from all the homecoming festivities. Now there's a pink out, throw pink out in. There's about as many possible distractions as there can be for these young men that are trying to focus on a football game now.
And we've got a huge crowd here tonight. The Garrigan bleachers just about filled up here as we're about 6 minutes away from kickoff. The GTRA bleachers totally overfilled. They have fans standing along the fence over there as they brought in White Rally's house out as well to this game. So it's going to be a crazy environment tonight. And that'll bring me to the final key I'll say as well for tonight's game. On the GTRA side of the ball, I'm interested to see if the Titans can be patient offensively because they're used to hitting huge chunk plays, scoring on just massive breakthrough touchdowns that go 30, 40, 50 yards. But Garrigan's defense is very disciplined. They don't usually give up those big plays. So can GTRA be content trying to nickel and dime their way down the field, control the time possession, and just take what the Garrigan defense gives them?
Oh, that's a good key to the game, Tyler. I like that. And will Garrigan be able to stop the GTRA big plays? I think we're going to see some Garrigan players that we haven't heard much from this season, haven't called their name a lot because they've been taking care of business, linemen and linebackers taking care of everything. But I think we're going to have a big game from the D-backs today. Cornerbacks, safeties, going to be big in preventing the big play and need to come up with some big turnovers on their own. Maybe a pick six for the Bears this game.
Well, those will look at your keys to the game, brought to you by Chemna Auto Center, where it's not just about the car, it's about the care. Up next, we'll have your Grassmasters Field Condition Report on KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
At Grassmasters, we believe the secret to a successful season is hard work and dedication, the same qualities that make up a winning team. Preparation, perseverance, and teamwork have enabled us to rise above the competition and bring you a championship team. So as this year kicks off, we at Grassmasters would like to wish all of the local athletes the very best and a successful season on and off the field. Grassmasters, growing satisfied customers.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do?
Let's get to the field condition report, brought to you by Grassmasters, the area's premier lawn care and tree care provider. Beanie, I'll say this Garrigan field is so well taken care of. Even though there hasn't been a varsity game here since week 2 of the season, I always see the grass being watered out here. They've got a fresh coat of paint down as well to make the yard markers look really nice. And this field is looking green. It's in great condition, not really torn up at all. One of the best 8-player fields that we see all season, and it's right here at Conway Field.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. They haven't played a lot of games. They missed the Rockford game, so that gave the field time to recover. They've got the irrigation system that's been put in. So despite the fact it hasn't rained in a half a century, it seems like they've been running the sprinklers, and it looks great here. Lines are painted beautifully as always. I assume it's the Plath family singers that have painted the lines on it again. And of course, we have great stands here at Bishop Garrigan. You don't realize how great these stands are at this lower level of high school football until you go to some of these away games. Last week at Correctionville, very little seating for the crowd, and I heard people were watching the broadcast, Tyler, because your vantage point was the best one they could get here at KLGZ and the YouTube broadcasts. So much appreciated there. But this is a great field here at Conway Field at Bishop Garrigan High School.
Yeah, the bleachers definitely sit a little bit higher up here. I know over in Correctionville, people were saying the bleachers are a little low. You know, it's hard to see over the players along the sideline and see what was going on.
It was like a dugout. It was a baseball dugout. You had to look up to see the football players running around. No, we have a great vantage point, and we'll try to bring you all the action here as well as we can, call you the plays, and let you know who's doing what out there.
Well, that is your field condition report, brought to you by Grassmasters, the area's premier lawn care and tree care provider. We are winding down the Edward Jones pregame show. Again, big thank you to Representatives Bruce Keith, Mackenzie Jorgensen, Jerry Sukup, and Brady Ross. 3 minutes away from kickoff as the national anthem's coming up. We'll get to the coin toss and game time temperature after these messages on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
With fall starting, so is seasonal allergies. This is Dr. John C. Kortenberg at Eyes on Thornton. Do your eyes itch? Are they irritated or watery? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you may benefit from a prescription for your ocular allergies. Why not feel better today? Call to schedule an appointment at Eyes on Thornton at 395-EYES. That's 395-3937.
Living in Iowa sure means we rely on our furnaces and air conditioners to keep us comfortable all year round. That's why Algona Plumbing and Heating is proud to be your local trusted Armstrong dealer. They're committed to bringing you the highest quality products in heating and cooling, and it doesn't get any better than Armstrong furnaces and air conditioners. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, give them a call at 295-5240 or stop by their Dodge Street location. Live comfortably with Algona Plumbing and Heating.
Home Country Radio presents Golden Bear Football, brought to you by Iowa State Bank, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons, Security State Bank, and the many hometown and home country sports club members you'll hear from throughout the game. Now we go live to Home Country Radio Sports Director Tyler Lance with the call.
All right, just letting the final looks of the national anthem play out there. A nice rendition by a lot of Bishop Garrigan students down there on the track. It is a huge crowd tonight here at Conway Field as the fans are excited to welcome their Golden Bears back home after not playing at home since the second week of the football season. And what a matchup tonight. The GTRA Titans visit town, a team the Golden Bears beat last year, and what people forget was one of the more exciting games of the regular season. Final score is 48-20, but that was a 4-point game going into the fourth quarter before Bishop Garrigan kind of wore down GTRA in that game. But a lot of those same GTRA players from last year are back on this season's team. It's a much more experienced Titan unit as the teams head out to midfield for the Eyes on Thornton coin toss. Before that, though, we'll give a quick mention to our game time temperature brought to you by Algona Plumbing and Heating. Your temperature tonight, 67 degrees. Beanie, a great night for football at Conway Field.
Wow, perfect weather. October weather, just beautiful lately. And what a perfect night for football. Tyler, we might have set a record already here in this game. I counted 11 football players singing the national anthem in their pads over there. I always like to see those football players participate in a lot of activities. So Garrigan wins the toss and declines.
That means GTRA is going to get the ball first. The number 3 ranked offense and 8 player with 61 points per game. That's your Eyes on Thornton coin toss as Bishop Garrigan has deferred their choice to the second half. Golden Bears wearing the all-black uniforms tonight. Gold numerals on the front and back, and the black Bishop Garrigan helmet with the BG logo on both sides. GTRA black pants, white uniform tops, the purple numerals on the front and back, and the black helmets. 6-0 against 6-0. Number 2 ranked team and 8 player versus number 10 ranked team. We're going to see a little bit of everything tonight. Some high-flying offense, some hard-hitting defense, some aerial attack, some ground and pound, some hurry-up offense, some controlling the clock. We're going to have it all tonight, Beanie.
Oh, man, people are going to be pumped to watch this game. As much as it's a paradox, and we'd love to to see Garrigan roll once again. They've rolled everybody this year. I think people are hungry for a good game. This is a great crowd. I know there's 2 class reunions here in town. A third, the 1985 championship team when Garrigan was playing two-way football. They're having a recognition tonight. Whole bunch of coaches and players came back from that crowd. Just a great, this is definitely the biggest crowd we've seen here. Lined up along the fence, stands are full. Oh, I hope it's a good game. But you know, Tyler, I'd also take a blowout.
I think the Golden Bear fans would take a win however they could get it to clinch that district title. But like we said, not going to be easy against GTRA. They've only been tested once, a double overtime win against St. Edmund. The senior Brady Garrigan has the ball lined up down to our right. As he approaches the football, he'll kick it away to the left, and we're underway as he squibs it down the middle of the field, wants to keep it away from Casey Huff, and the ball rolls away from Huff. Back to the 5-yard line as he takes it to the goal line. Huff tries to bend it to the outside. He's to the 5, he's to the 10, has a little bit of space down the sideline. Golden Bears trying to hem him in as he gets out across the 20. That had the look of a big return at first, but the Golden Bears stop him shy of the 25-yard line.
Well, the Garrigan kick cover team started off the year extremely rough, giving up a touchdown to St. Ed's to start the season on the first kick of the year. And they battened down the hatches. That time they had a chance to nail Huff down at the 1-yard line, make GTRA go the distance of the field, but everybody overran the situation and nobody made the tackle. Good job by Huff, and you can see his ability right off the bat.
This Golden Bear pass rush will have to be disciplined against the versatile Huff. GTRA trips right on the opening play of Huff in the shotgun. His running back Sweden on his right hip. He'll roll to the right. Here comes Helsef. He's gunning it down the field looking for Schnell. He makes the grab. Down the sidelines goes Jackson Schnell on the first play of the game. GTRA hits a statement touchdown. 6-0 Titans on the deep shot. That one goes to Jackson Schnell. 56 yards.
Could not have been a better pass. They broke long. At first, Huff looks like he's going to run. He's trying to get everyone to bite. They did. Miller was up there as a linebacker. He kind of bit. Michael Joyce was recovering. He was step for step with the receiver. He jumped up and just missed tapping that ball away, and it falls into the receiver's hands. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch. Joyce almost prevents that whole thing. Game of inches, of course.
That is Jackson Schnell's 11th receiving touchdown of the season, number 2 in the A-player class. On the 2-point conversion, Huff runs left. He's looking for the pylon, and he's in. What a start by the GTRA Titans. 8-0 as they've got those white rally towels waving across from us. We'll keep it right here since that happened so rapidly.
Wow.
But Schnell's the guy you've got to watch out for. He is that secondary stretcher as he's averaging almost 26 yards per catch on the season. And we saw why right there. Just ran past the Golden Bear defense, and the speed took him all the way to the house.
Boy, and we talked about this GTRA team being pumped up. You should see the energy over there on the sideline. It is electric. They are flying back to the bench. They are pumped and happy about leading off this game with a score. Now the Bears will have to answer the call, but boy, Tyler, the 8-player game, tailor-made for someone like Huff and Shell. They're both quick guys, and the 8-player game is all about speed. That's why you see these scores week after week in the upper decades, 50s, 60s, 70s. And Garrigan is going to have to put up some points today, I believe.
No doubt about that. Like we said, Titans averaging 61 points per game, but the Bears not too shabby either. They're averaging 58 per game on the season, so these two offenses can certainly produce. But now the Golden Bears find themselves in a position where they are not at too often. That is trailing, and really, Garrigan hasn't been in this spot since St. Edmund got that opening kickoff touchdown as GTRA is going to squib it. They will squib it, and Garrigan covers it up as DeLange dives on top of the football at the 25-yard line. They did not want any part of Michael Joyce or Owen Murphy, and that certainly makes sense because those two can make splash plays in special teams. But with that, the junior quarterback Tate Furch leads the Golden Bear offense out. Furch completing 64% of his passes so far this season, 7 touchdowns and no picks, and trying to answer that opening GTRA touchdown.
Yeah, going back to that touchdown play, such a pretty play. I really thought Huff was going to run it, but he just pulled that ball out of his wing and chucked it down the field. Like I said earlier, like D-backs are going to be huge this game, and they're going to have to adjust right away to that elusive style.
Golden Bears go I formation with Murphy out to the right. They'll put the ball into the belly of Sink. He tries to make a man miss in the backfield. They grab him around the ankles, though, and they stop him. What a tackle by Luke Malm, hanging on to the ankles of Trayton Sink and limiting him to a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, Sink dancing around, and they're very, very good at moving laterally in the hole. Just couldn't get his ankle loose there. And you saw at the end of that play, GTRA got their hands in, was trying to rip that ball away from Trayton Sink as his ankles were hooked up.
Sink's averaging 11.1 yards per carry, number 4 in the 8-player class, 16 touchdowns on the ground this season. Same formation for the Golden Bears. They'll fake to Sink play action. Back to throw Furch. He's taking a deep shot himself, looking for Joyce. He stumbles, though, and the ball's over his head, incomplete. Out there in coverage for GTRA was Jackson Schnell, and Joyce just stumbled a little bit about 3/4 of the way through that route, which made that ball look more overthrown than it was.
Yeah, I like that. Garrigan tried to answer right back with a big pass play of their own. Furch throws the ball very well. Like you said, Joyce just tangled up a little bit there. But the D-backs did not bite on the play action. And another concern, Marceau, excellent blocker. He was hit pretty hard there. He usually runs people over there.
3rd down and 7. Furch boots out to the near side of the field, has some pressure from behind, throws to Marceau, passes behind him, off his hands, and incomplete. Marceau was jarred loose on that play as GTRA is able to get off the field. Caleb Sweden was able to dislodge that ball, but again, a little bit behind him and might have been a bit short on the 1st down as well.
Well, I'll tell you what that play tells. And when Furch rolls out on that play, Garrigan has 3 receivers, short, medium, and long. GTRA, unlike other teams, has very well studied. They had every receiver covered. They'd seen that play a million times, obviously, on film. Knew exactly what Garrigan was doing.
GTRA is going to play safe on the punt. They don't have anyone back to return. They almost block it as Dietrich came off the edge. And this is a huge punt unloaded down the field. It's bouncing to the 10-yard line, and it's going to settle at the 11 as it takes a GTRA roll. Michael Joyce with the rocket wake to start off.
Holy moly. Michael Joyce getting some action here. He was the D-back on that touchdown play. They tried to throw deep to him, and now he punts the ball deep. We need players like him to play well, and the Garrigan line is going to get tested like they have not been this year. Look at big number 59 there, Tyler. Who is that beast?
That is Donovan Young, the 6'3", 320-pound right guard for GTRA, who's really a road grader, but you got to watch for the Titans to pull their guards as well. Even though Young's big, he can move. Titans really love to pull their guards more than any other team that Garrigan has seen as they go 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. By the way, that last punt by Joyce, just his 5th punt of the season, as Garrigan really has not had to punt a whole lot. Huff is going to send Schnell in motion. He will fake to Schnell. Huff looks right. He's going to pull it down. He's hit in the backfield, and he's knocked down. Bear hugged on the play by Keaton Heliseth. And that's our first high-V sack of the night, as Huff will be dropped inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark him at the 7.
Well, this is going to be interesting because we just talked about 320-pound lineman on the line for GTRA, and he's not the only big fella up there. Garrigan answers with quick, fast guys. Carter McGregor, nose guard, small little wrestler in there. Keaton Heliseth, real honey badger of a player, small, powerful guy.
Joyce is covering Schnell. GTRA trips to the right, 1 receiver left. They throw into the flats. What a grab on the play by Sweden, but what a tackle by Madden Miller. Wraps him around the shoulders and rips him down after a minimum gain, maybe half a yard, and it's 3rd and 13.
Madden Miller always wanted to get real excited after plays. He plays with a lot of energy, makes a good coverage there. That ball thrown just on the fingertips of the receiver. I thought it was going to go overthrown, but boy, that receiver had rubber hands. He just stretched out those fingers, snagged that ball. Miller makes good tackle. Avoids the horse collar tackle by hitting him, but not grabbing the shoulder pads.
Trips to the left for GTRA. Teagan hands in the lone receiver to the right. They'll throw it out to Schnell in space. Schnell's trying to make a man miss. Spins out of a tackle. But Marceau finally grabs him from behind and knocks him down. That will go for about 5 yards, but they needed 13 as Schnell was spinning and twisting and turning, but the Garrigan defense wouldn't let him out of jail that time.
Tell you what, like that goes to Marceau, of course, but the big guy was Andrew Lichter. Andrew Lichter fought through the block and snagged those ankles and held on for dear life. That Andrew Lichter, homecoming court guy, he is rock solid linebacker. Now he's going to play cornerback here.
Here's a punt by Casey Huff. He takes a couple steps to the right and sends a wobbler near side of the field. That punt is not going too far. Does take a GTRA hop across midfield, but Bishop Garrigan is going to start at their own 36-yard line. So Golden Bears force a rare GTRA punt, and after a 3-and-out on their first drive, will try to drive down and score, trailing 8-0.
Ooh, a nice favorable spot for GTRA on that punt. Looked like it went out of bounds about 5 yards previous, but it's always hard to tell if you're the official where it goes out, if the ball sails out of bounds in the air. Hard to tell where it goes.
Golden Bears have Trayton Sink split out to the right as the wide receiver. 1 tight end each side of the line, and Furch in the gun of Marceau on his left hip. It's going to be a draw to Marceau. Marceau through the right side, breaks a tackle, dives forward. And he's across the 40-yard line, ridden down at the 38 as Marceau gets those tough yards. Tackle made on the play by Luke Malm.
Well, interestingly, nobody for GTRA went out there with Trayton Sink. Trayton went about as wide as you possibly can in the receiver spot, and GTRA just looked at him over there. Furch fires the ball over there to Sink. If they audible out of that, Trayton's going to run for a while.
A lot of Golden Bears wearing the pink socks tonight for Pink Out Night, as it's going to be 2nd down and 4. They'll give Marceau 6 on that last play. 8:33 and ticking here in the first quarter. Titans allowing 18.2 points per game. As this time Golden Bears will go power, a couple of tight ends, a couple of backs. Furch, he's going to turn and give it to Sink. Sink runs left side, breaks a tackle, drives forward, gets across the 30-yard line, and bangs his way down to the 29. Tackled on the play by Caleb Sweden. A couple other white jerseys in there as well, but easily enough for a first down.
Well, Garrigan tries to pass on their first series on second down. They tried to go deep. This time they're saying, let's go back to the bread and butter. Marceau and Sink pounding it up the middle. Let's make them tackle us.
And looks like they're going to stave some power here. We see Nate Lear, number 52, in the huddle for the Garrigan. He was the tight end on the left side that time. And, of course, Wyatt Rosemeyer, the tight end on the right side. Garrigan really relies on those tight ends to be extra linemen and get a great push up front.
Caden Graves, the center, and, of course, Schwab and Helliseth doing the dirty work.
Hand off to Marceau this time. The fullback dives through the middle, and he's knocked down by Caleb Sweden. Went low on him, but Marceau gets forward for a 3.5-yard gain.
That's a little trap play. I love it. Left guard Schwab pulls, goes right behind Caden Graves, the center, and then Marceau comes right behind that pull. And, boy, if you're not ready for that, you're going to get trucked. But GTRA seen that one on film, too. But that play gets Garrigan 3 yards every time they run it.
8-0 GTRA, but Garrigan patiently executing this drive. They're going to continue pounding the ball until GTRA stops it. 2nd and 7 from the 27-yard line. It's going to be a pitch near side to Sink. Sink cuts it inside. Sink drives forward to the 20-yard line, and he's knocked down by a combination of Sweden and Malm, and he's right at the first down sticks. They're going to say about half a yard short, setting up 3rd down and inches.
That's just straight-ahead blocking for Garrigan. They didn't pull any guards. They just blocked it out, let Trayton find the blockers to follow, and, boy, if they can do that to GTRA, that's good for the Bears because GTRA has quick defensive backs. Huff's back there. They got a lot of good tacklers, and they were still able to pick up a big gain.
3rd down and 1 from the 21-yard line. Tate Furch going to sneak it for the middle. He follows Graves. He breaks a tackle. He's to the 15. He's to the 10. He's down to the 9-yard line. Casey Huff makes the stop, but Tate Furch, the second effort on the quarterback sneak, got for the first wave and got inside the red power red zone.
Yo, Tyler, you're not going to believe me. I was sitting in the tractor earlier this week thinking about the game coming up, and I thought, you know what? Tate Furch has not run the ball very much this year. He was instrumental in the run to the state championship last year, running the ball in key situations, and I thought he really hasn't done that much. And there he does right there to big, big success.
Guess what? 2 tight ends, 2 backs for Garrigan. They're going to try to pound the ball forward. 1st and goal from the 9-yard line inside the red power red zone for the first time tonight. GTRA trying to buckle up against the run game. And a little trouble on the handoff, a busted play. Furch tries to run near side, and he is plastered. Casey Huff knocks him backwards. Furch wanted to hand the ball to Sink. Sink wanted to block, and a misplay on the Garrigan side.
Yeah, definitely a misplay. I think you're right. I think maybe Trayton was supposed to follow behind Marceau on the straight ISO, but who can be sure? Only those players know. And they might not even know who screwed up that time, but definitely a blown play. Now they're going to have to recover from that. But you called it, Tyler. GTRA, all 8 players inside the box here. They know Garrigan's trying to pound it. Nobody, everyone's up in there.
This is just hat-on-hat, smash-mouth football. You know what they're going to run. Can you stop it? Sink jumps over the pile. Sink gets pushed backwards, and they'll give him forward progress to about the 7-yard line. He got a couple, but GTRA did a nice job of stopping that initial wave, and it's 3rd and goal for the Garrigan Bears.
Yeah, the defensive line for GTRA is giving the Bears a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. The defensive line is small and quick, and they're getting really low. The giant behemoths that are on the offensive line for GTRA, not all playing on defense, and they submarined the Bear blockers, and in fact, submarined Trayton Sink as he tried to jump over some people. But that usually doesn't bode well when running backs leave their feet.
This Titan team is one of the deeper teams Garrigan's going to face this season. They have 32 men on the roster, so they can sub a little more than most teams. In the backfield is Trayton Sink. Marceau's over on the left side. They will stretch out and give to Sink. Sink bending it to the outside. Lost the football, but it rolls out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. A near disaster for Garrigan. It's going to be 4th down and goal, but that fumble, fortunately for Garrigan, went out of bounds.
Hey, that's the best type of fumble you can have. As long as that ball flies out of bounds, I think he might have actually picked up a yard. Of course, if you intentionally do that and fumble into the end zone, you lose the ball, and it's touchback for the other team. So very lucky that that ball didn't bounce into the end zone for Garrigan, and they're going to have it at the 2.
4th down and 2 from the 2-yard line, so 4th and goal for the Bears. Can the GTRA defense stand up, or will Garrigan punch it in? They come out in the same formation. Lear, the tight end on the left side. Marceau's over to the left as well. They will fake to Sink. They'll roll to the right with Furch. He throws to the end zone. A diving attempt. and a touchdown for the Bears. It's pulled in by Rosenmeyer, and the Bears strike back.
Oh, man. Furch could have had a nap. He was so wide open, Rosenmeyer was on that fake. I was just thinking they might do a naked boot and let Furch run it, but Rosenmeyer went to the back of the end zone. Marceau was in the front of the end zone. Furch had his choice of receivers. Goes to Rosenmeyer. Both guys wide open. Everybody bought on the run up the middle, and why wouldn't you? That's what Garrigan does. Good play call by the coaches there. Wadley and crew getting it done.
Now a 2-point conversion attempt to tie the game at 8. Furch is in the gun. Motioning across is Murphy. They'll fake to Murphy on the jet motion. He runs into Furch. Furch tries to break tackles and drive for the middle, but he's ridden down at the 1-yard line, and a 2-point try is no good. Sweden on the stop, combining with Hafner for GTRA. Titans have an 8-6 lead over the Golden Bears. 4:45 on the clock on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
The Wrenchman Truck and Trailer Repair, full-service repair shop in West Bend.
Tango Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Algona Chiropractic Clinic, it's your future. Let's make it healthy together.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona's senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840.
All bringing you this ball game.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
TAFE Wellness Center in Algona and Armstrong, keeping athletes in the game with chiropractic care. Take charge of your health.
Lichter's Garage Door Service and new installations. A reputation you can trust. Call 515-295-5988.
Ed Service Station. Service you can trust.
J&J Custom Meats, continuing the traditions in Whittemore.
Ulrich Construction. Let them do the work.
Sports club members bringing you this game.
The ball is squibbed over the middle by Brady Galligan and covered up by GTRA's Riley Vanderhoff, and the Titans will have great field position because that first line of the kick coverage team stops the football at the 37-yard line, so Titans beanie are going to be set up right near midfield.
What a great play by Riley Vanderhoff there. He treated that like it was an onside kick, and he just stopped the ball with his foot and fell on it. Very risky. If he doesn't secure that ball, Garrigan had a chance to recover, but excellent field position for GTRA.
GTRA goes Trey Bunch to the left side. They're going to send Student Body to the left in the backfield, trying to escape as Huff. Rosenmeyer got him, and he knocks him down. And what a smart play by Rosenmeyer. This was going to be a horse collar, but Rosenmeyer took his hand off the horse collar, reestablished contact, and knocked Huff down for a 4-yard loss.
Oh, good point, Tyler. Yeah, I thought he was going to horse collar him down, and I was getting ready for the flags to fly. But he doesn't. He readjusts and drops him. He came through untouched off the left end. He's going to get a break now. Rosenmeyer just scored that touchdown here. And now he's going to get a break after that great defensive stop. Set up second down and long as Garrigan defense is doing a great job of moving to the strong side. GTRA overloading the left-hand side.
This time it's going to be run up the middle. Huff trying to pick his way through, and he is met, and he is pushed back. Casey Huff planted after no gain, flying in there. Lichter and Schwab to drive him backwards, and it's 3rd and 13.
Great job by Schwab of being aware of where Huff was, because that's hard to do. If you're Schwab, you're getting blocked. You've got a big old guy right in your face with hands all over you, but Schwab kept an eye on the quarterback, fought off the block, and did a great job of getting to that quarterback. You know, Schwab's just a major workhorse for the Bears, offensive line and defensive line. And he's not a huge rah-rah guy in there usually. He just is a workhorse, just does his job, which is different because he is a rah-rah guy on the basketball court.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and in the shotgun it's Huff. Huff back to throw. He's looking right side. He's going to gun it deep for Schnell again. Near the sideline. He jumps, and he makes an unbelievable grab. He brings the ball to his body, and he boxes out Furch in coverage. GTRA down to the Garrigan 17-yard line on an amazing catch by Jackson Schnell.
What a terrible pass, and I usually don't say such things, but that was a wounded quail. That was a pheasant that you shot on your first time hunting, Tyler, and you just winged it, and it was anybody's ball, but Furch was trying to find the receiver. It was anybody's ball. I thought it was going to be an interception. Unbelievable that the Titans hauled that in.
Well, so far tonight, one-on-one against Schnell has not been a great combination for the Bears. We'll see if eventually they have to start devoting fewer resources to that junior wide receiver. Joyce is covering him one-on-one on the left side right now. In the shotgun, it's Huff. Huff bobbles the snap. He has a little trouble. He escapes in the backfield initially, but he is eventually met by Lichter in the hole as Huff does a nice job of just getting 3 yards out of that play.
Boy, good job by Lichter there. I thought Huff was going to break that one. There was an opening to his left. There was a big hole open there, but Lichter, such great closing speed. He hits like a linebacker, but he's got the speed of a defensive back, and that, he's a wrestler, and he knows how to bring people down. He is always tackling someone that's bigger than him. He's smallest linebacker you've ever seen.
And he averages 7.2 yards per carry, has 12 touchdowns on the ground this season. He's back to throw. Golden Bears bring a blitz. He throws to Sweden. Sweden coming near side. He's near the goal line, and he fumbled.
He fumbled. No,
but
that's not a
across
touchdown.
the goal line for a touchdown. They're going to say touchdown.
Rats.
Garrigan is yelling that he fumbled first, but Sweden broke the plane, and GTRA answers back.
I guarantee if this was Sunday and the replay would show that he was coughing that ball up as he crossed the line, and Garrigan would have it on a touchback, but that's the way it goes. I'm fine with that. The refs call what they see, but the Bears do not catch a break there. GTRA goes up with another score.
And a nice call to beat the blitz. They had Sweden crossing across the field, and, Garrigan, I think they said 5 guys on that play after Huff, but he was smart. He's a senior. He recognized the blitz. He unloaded quickly and got the ball to one of his speedsters. So much speed on this GTRA team. Now, they do not kick. They always go for 2, so here's a 2-point conversion attempt. Huff is back to throw. He's looking left side. Sweden wide open. Makes the grab. He'll waltz in. What a start offensively for the Titans. 2-point conversion good. 16-6 GTRA on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Central Financial Group, where you belong.
Down to Earth Tree Service, your local Algona tree service.
Styles Salon, your salon in Algona. Create yourself.
Farm and Home Services. View their listings at farmhomeservices.com.
Holmes Animal Clinic, animals large and small. They love them all.
Dance Connection and Tumbling by Michelle. Passionate about teaching, creative about dance. Visit their studio or danceconnectionbymichelle.com.
All bringing you this ball game.
We've got more sports club members making this broadcast possible on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Algona Frame and Auto Body. We meet by accident.
Water Connection, from softeners to bottled water and service. Call 295-SOFT.
Algona Pizza Ranch. There's so much to love.
Cotton Grave Farm Management and Land Realty, downtown Algona. Trusted for farmland service needs since 1960.
Algona Livestock. Sales every Monday.
Countryside Barbecue Sauce. 2 sauces for all seasons.
All bringing you this broadcast on the radio.
Hayden Gilmore squibs the ball down the middle of the field, and once again, Isaac Delane covers it up for Bishop Garrigan. The special teams ace recovers the ball at the 30-yard line, and the Golden Bears, Beanie, have gotten punched in the face so far to start this game, and the offense now has a little more pressure to start responding.
Yeah, well, Garrigan, they're playing it safe. They're being careful. Perfect example, Isaac Delane there, the special teams ace. That's the second time he's just got the ball on a squib kick and didn't fall into the turf. Both times he had room to run, but I know the coaches say, hey, secure that ball and fall down. But he's on the depth chart in the running backs. If Garrigan takes some chances, Isaac DeLang might break that.
Michael Joyce out to the left side. Furch is in the gun. He will give it to Sink on the draw. Sink is dropped in the backfield. Knifing there to make the stop. The linebacker, Landon Dietrich, and GTRA pumped up early in this game. That's a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, they are fired up, and hats off to them. They're playing great. I love their playbook. Offensively, they're getting all kinds of creative, and defensively, they're also opening up their playbook. They're taking chances. That was a blitz all the way. That linebacker hit the gap. No one could pick him up, and they predicted it right. It's like if you played Tecmo Bowl, Tyler, you called the right play, and they did there.
Second down and 13 from the Golden Bears for their own 27-yard line. 1:42 and ticking left in the first. Furch, play action. He'll roll to the right side, looking down the field as Rosenmeyer, and it's incomplete off his hands. Rosenmeyer ran the intermediate route that time, and ball was just a little bit too far.
Oh, yeah, he was wide open, would have caught it and ran for the first down, but he had his left hand on it but couldn't haul it in.
So now Golden Bears in a situation they don't want to be in. Third down and long from their own 27-yard line. They have to get the ball all the way to the 40-yard line. Attempting to cross midfield here against the GTRA defense, a defense that forced 5 turnovers last week in a 58-8 victory over Harris Lake Park.
Well, Rosemeyer comes out, other personnel changes. Joyce comes in, Owen Murphy comes in, and Nick Lear comes in. So different package here of receivers, Murphy, Lear, and Murphy.
Golden Bears are going to have to hustle 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and they're going to have to use a timeout. No, GTRA calls a timeout first. I'm not entirely sure why they did that because Garrigan didn't look like they were going to get the play off, but a timeout by GTRA. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout as well on KLGZ 98.5 FM and AM 1600.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
AK's Chrome Kitchen. When you come in, your family.
Farmers State Bank is proud to be part of our community. Offices in Algona, Whittemore, and West Bend.
Stroman Dental, giving you something to smile about.
Phil's Auto and Truck Repair. Service is the difference.
Trend Salon, your complete family hair salon. It's all about you.
Oakcrest Funeral Services, celebrating a life lived.
All bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
Bishop Garrigan facing 3rd down and 13 from their own 27-yard line as Beanie GTRA takes their first timeout. But now a long conversion attempt upcoming for the Golden Bears.
Well, I think GTRA probably called a timeout for the same reason I was curious. I saw a different set by Garrigan, and they saw the receiver set up and thought, hey, we haven't seen this one on film yet. Called a quick timeout to make sure that everyone covered.
Now Furch is in the shotgun. Sink is on his left hip. One receiver each side of the formation and one tight end along the offensive line.
GTRA showing blitz, Tyler.
They are showing blitz. We'll see if they actually go for it. They drop out. They only rush 3. Furch is back to throw. He's going to step up and run. He's to the 30. He's to the 35. Lowers the shoulder. Breaks the tackle. And there goes Furch. He's to the 30. He's to the 20. He weaves. He jukes. And he's knocked down inside the 10-yard line. Making the touchdown-saving tackle is Jackson Schnell. But Furch lowered the shoulder and put on all the moves in the playbook.
And Tate Furch showing some emotion. You know, I spent some time with Furch this week in homecoming week. I don't see him very much. He's not in any of my classes. And he's so calm and collected. And Furch, he's on the stage at Garrigan. He does it all. That kid's tired, but when he wants to turn it on, boy, he can go.
I'll be honest, when Furch took off, I thought there was no way he's getting to midfield on that, but he ran, he broke some tackles, and he showed some elusiveness and agility as well. He said, right back at you, Casey Huff. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Sink runs behind the right guard, and he's knocked down at the 6-yard line by a brigade of Titans. Hafner at the bottom of that pile stops him after a 2-yard gain.
Sink doing a good job running the ball, but I'm just wondering when they're going to call the number on big number 11 out there. Ethan Marceau, a captain of this team as a junior with tons of seniors. They think so much of Marceau, they voted him as a captain out to go out there at the beginning of the game. I'm looking for that big fella to get the ball here.
Bishop Garrigan 1 for 1 inside of the Red Power red zone so far tonight. It's 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Here's Marceau right for the middle, just a diagnosed, lunges for the goal line, and he's just short.
I don't know what they didn't see. I'm pretty sure that ball crossed the plane easily. He just dove in there, did he not?
They're going to say he's down at the half-yard line, but the good news for the Golden Bears is you still have Marceau, and you can try to do the same thing again.
Yeah, same thing again. That is questionable. Maybe his knee hit there.
Well, it's 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. You really have 2 chances to try to pound this in. GTRA stuffing the box. Furch under center. He's going to sneak it. He stood up at the line. Did he get far enough forward? And I don't think he did. GTRA gummed up the right side of that line, and Tate Furch did not break the plane. The first quarter is over. Golden Bears face a 4th and 1 from the 1-yard line when we come back on KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game.
Runkey Brothers Full Service. Experience the Runkey Brothers difference for all your auto service and repair needs.
Nutrient Ag Solutions of Irvington and Laverne for all your crop input needs.
Erpelding Void & Company CPAs. They're not just about taxes.
Hy-Vee. Use the Fuel Saver card. Fill your cart, fuel your car.
North Iowa Appliance Center, Highway 18 East in Algona, where they sell the best and service the rest.
Erpelding Excavating Enterprises. Let them take care of your grading, excavating, and drainage needs.
All bringing you this ball game.
GTRA 16, Bishop Garrigan 6 as we head to the second quarter on KLGZ Home Country Radio. Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodies. The teams will switch sides. Garrigan now heads towards the right side end zone. And Beanie, 4th and 1. Do the Golden Bears just go straight back to Marceau, or do they try something fancier here?
I just sneak it again. It's on the 1-inch line. Those referees are putting the ball with the nose touching the goal line. I really think Garrigan crossed the plane twice those last 2 times. And I'm getting grouchy, Tyler. It's been a long week. I want to see a touchdown here, and I think the Bears had it there. Now the chain gang has to walk clear to the other end of the field. Denny Kolash with the yard line marker. Boy, he's dragging down there. It took him a long. He did some sprinting earlier this season, but this time he took a long time to get down there. But the other guys, they just drop the chains because you don't need them. There's no first down. You just got to punch that ball across the goal line.
So here we go, Bishop Garrigan with Furch underneath center, Marceau and Sink right behind him. And they're going to whistle here and stop the play before it gets started. They're telling the band, hey, the second quarter's starting here, guys. Talking to the Garrigan coaching staff as well.
Well, they're doing a little cheerleader shout out. They invited all the cheerleaders of the alumni past to come down here and cheer. And it took a little longer. Usually that quarter break's about a minute long, and they milked it for about 2.5 minutes there so they do their cheering.
All right, folks, second quarter underway. Furch turns, gives to Marceau, plunges for the left side, and he's in. That time he clearly got across the plane, and the Golden Bears do answer. 16-12 right now with the try coming up.
Now Garrigan has worn teams down in the past with that young man right there, Ethan Marceau. You keep giving him the ball, and he will wear down this defensive line, and those linebackers will get tired of hitting him. Garrigan just biding their time with that beast in the backfield.
And it does look like Garrigan's going to go for 2 here. They've got to chase a few points against GTRA, who has successfully converted on their 2-point tries so far in this game. 2 seconds into the second quarter, 16-12 in favor of GTRA in a battle of 2 of the top 10 teams in the state rankings for Class A player. Golden Bears once again, 2 backs in the backfield as they will pitch it near side to Sink. Sink gets a block from Marceau, and he turns the corner for a touch for a 2-point conversion. 16-14.
Important 2-point conversion as these points start to mount up in these 8-player games. Those 2 points, they really compound some interest there towards the end of these games.
And Beanie, how big was that when Garrigan went to state last year? We saw Coach Wadley kick a lot of extra points during the regular season, but once he got to the Dome, Coach Wadley was going for 2. And I think that just goes to show partially, too, how big this game is and how much you have to respect GTRA. You're going to go for 2 a lot. You're going to respect GTRA's offense. You've got to go get those extra points so you can get them.
Yeah, for sure. It also shows that the intensity of this game. Neither coach wants to concede the fact that they might be willing to just take 1 point. A couple greedy coaches out there rolling the dice, going for some big points here. And rolling the dice offensively, GTRA really opening up their playbook. All their big plays have been risky passes that they've gotten away with. Like I said before the game, the key to the game are the D-backs going to step up and stop that GTR passing game. And if they do, Garrigan's going to be okay. But if not, this game's going to be some high-scoring action.
16-14 in favor of GTRA right now. Titans starting 6-0 for the first time in the Bound era, which dates back to 2008. Had a couple of 5-0 starts in 2022 and 2021, notably a team led by Max Huff. But now they have Casey Huff at the quarterback position, and Casey Huff back deep to receive right now as Galligan tried to keep the ball away from him last time, but he will squib it down the middle. It's going to roll back to Huff. He picks it up at the 15-yard line. They'll fake the reverse to Schnell, and they do give it to Schnell. Huff pretended he still had the ball, and the Golden Bears weren't fooled. Trayton Sink makes the stop shy of the 20-yard line. They did the little reverse/fake reverse, and it was a reverse that time. It stopped shy of the 20-yard line.
I love it. Our special team favorite player, Isaac DeLang, he's in on every play. That time, he tackled Huff anyway. Huff fakes the reverse, and, well, he acts like he still has it. DeLang said, I'm tackling you anyway, just in case. And I'm sure the coaches told him to do that, and good job by DeLang.
Yeah, hey, when you get a shot at the quarterback, you take a shot at the quarterback, even if he's acting as the returner.
And ever the sportsmen, they helped each other up, gave each other a pat on the head and say, see you later.
Well, now GTRA has Tegan Hansen in the shotgun. Casey Huff is out to the left side as a wide receiver. Hansen, a capable quarterback who's completed 20 out of 28 passes, and Landon Dietrich jumped. Dietrich jumped from the left slot, and that's a false start on GTRA.
Oh, right away, Andrew Lichter, the senior captain out there, points his finger and says, hey, he moved, you got to throw a flag there. And the referee agreed after half a second. He's like, oh, I guess I do. I'm going to pull that laundry out of my pocket and throw it in the air.
So we'll see what GTRA has cooking up here, because Tegan Hansen would be the starting quarterback for most teams in this district, but because he's behind Casey Huff, he's more of a situational quarterback, but he has thrown 8 touchdowns compared to only 1 pick, and he is lining up as the quarterback right now of Casey Huff, the wide receiver on the left side, guarded by Trayton Sink.
Big matchup there, Sink on Huff on the outside.
They will motion Sweden back to throws. Back to throw is Hansen, and he throws out to the right side, incomplete. He was looking for Sweden, covered by Madden Miller on the play.
Yeah, good job by Miller. Miller is the outside linebacker, and he's doing his job well. He's making the read, and he knows that if that running back, tight end, whatever you want to call it in 8-man football, X-wing, back, whatever, if he goes through the line and goes off for a pass, Madden Miller has to stay with him. GTRA is gambling that their guy can get a step on Madden Miller and get behind him, but Madden, nice job staying with him. But it is concerning. We have seen some receivers get behind the Garrigan defense so far this game.
So this appears to be Tegan Hansen's drive as Casey Huff's out to the right side as the receiver this time. Trips left for GTRA. Garrigan showing blitz of Marceau. And Marceau's going to drop into coverage. Garrigan's only rushing 2. Hansen steps forward. Flag in the backfield. He's thrown deep down the field. Sink has a beat on it and almost picked it off. Out there was Caleb Sweden for GTRA, but Sink had a better shot at that than him. The flag in the backfield is holding against the Titans.
Yeah, Keaton Helliseth is matching up against a 320-pound guy, and I'm guessing Keaton weighs under 200 pounds. But Keaton's got the quickness on him, and he got around him, and that big fella just put the mitts on him and didn't let him get to the quarterback. So good call by the officials on that hold.
Yes, Helliseth with 7 sacks on the season so far. Had a big game last week against Siouxland Christian, and may have had his 8th sack of the season if it weren't for that hold, as GTRA is now inside of their own 10-yard line.
You know, that is a key matchup as this game goes on. Helliseth is a motor that just doesn't quit. He's a worker. And Schwab, his counterpart on the other side, those guys, if they have a good game here and keep their energy up, they're going to get to that quarterback as the game continues and they wear him down.
Ball's on the right side hash. Trips left to GTRA of Huff, the lone receiver to the right. Hansen back to throw. He throws over the middle. Has the easy completion. Driving forward is Malm. He's across the 20. He stood up, and Matt Miller finally drives him backwards. Joyce held him up. Miller pushed him back, but that is going to get a lot of that yardage back and set up third down and very manageable.
Wow, all the other 8-man teams in the state are jealous because GTRA has 2 quarterbacks that throw beautiful footballs, and a lot of these small schools can't find one guy.
Yes, third down now and 7 yards to go from the 21-yard line. A nice pass by Hansen on that one, completing to Malm. Malm's 16th reception of the season, and now Hansen will be in the gun. They'll go trips to the right, with Casey Huff out to the left, Sink guarding him, and Golden Bears trying to keep an eye on the quarterback as Titans will take a timeout here at the 10:57 mark.
Well, they've got Sink on an island with Huff. That's a really key matchup. Trayton Sink, excellent athlete for Garrigan. Huff, excellent athlete for the Titans. Yeah, they're one-on-one coverage here, and sometimes if you're a high school quarterback, you know, you are locked into that receiver, and in this case, of course, it's Huff. He's out there. You want to give him the ball. So what a key matchup here with Trayton Sink guarding Huff on that outside wing. I think GTRA is calling a timeout because they realize how crucial this third down conversion is. If they don't convert and have to punt, it's going to flip the field in favor of Bishop Garrigan.
This is going to be a big third down, 3rd and 7 from the 21-yard line, and this is a game of momentum, and neither team has held the momentum too long so far tonight. We're seeing teams respond to each other. 16-14 is the current score, but if you're GTRA, you want to find a way to keep the foot on the gas pedal here. Coach Huff talked on the pregame show about controlling the clock, not letting Bishop Garrigan have the football, and part of that is finding a way to convert on these third and intermediate situations and keep the ball away from Trayton Sink in this very ground and pound Garrigan offense.
Well, I'm sure glad you're listening on the radio, listeners at home, but if you're here in person, you get a chance to catch a T-shirt out of the T-shirt cannon by Steyr Ag. But that cannon is launching at the Northern Lights because that last T-shirt sailed clear. I had no chance. It went clear over the booth here. I think it's out on the pitcher's mound. Some little sweaty's running after right now.
This has been an ongoing issue for the T-shirt cannon, launching over the press box, but back down on the field, GTRA has 3rd down and 7. Hansen alone on the gun. It's a 2-man rush. Hansen stepping forward. He escapes the tackle. He's going to run to the left, and Marceau knocks him down. Hansen got 1 yard, but not enough, as Heliseth and Schwab contained him on the pass rush, and then Marceau came in to clean him off.
Boy, you thought the quarterback was going to run for 20 yards. At least I did, but the closing speed of those linebackers, Marceau staying home, drop back into coverage. A good open field tackle there by the junior captain.
And now Owen Murphy is back deep to receive the punt. He is standing at Garrigan's 30-yard line as GTRA is 4th and 7 from their own 21. Casey Huff also doubles as the punter as he will have his heels back right around the 11-yard line.
You know, Owen Murphy has added a left knee brace to his uniform.
Low snap to Huff. He runs to the right Australian style and kicks it away. Fair catch called by Murphy. He drops it, but he dives back on top of it before Hansen gets down there to recover it himself. So a little bit of a dropsy so far for Garrigan. We saw a Sink fumble earlier go out of bounds, and then Murphy almost lost that punt return, but fortunately didn't take too much of a bounce there.
Well, Murphy put his hand up to fair catch it, but he hardly had any time to put his hand up because that was kind of a line drive, end over end, coming at him. Very hard ball to catch, so he quick throws his hands up to say fair catch, and right then the ball hit him in the gut. And good job by Murphy. Keep that ball covered.
They'll start with Tate Furch in the shotgun. 2 receivers out to his right side. As he gets trouble with the handoff, got it off to Marceau, though. Bends to the left side. He's across the 30. Marceau to the 35. He's near the 1st down 6, fighting along the sideline. He has 9 as Casey Huff knocked him out, but a nice punishing run by Ethan Marceau, dragging defenders with him.
Yeah, boy, I'm calling for that recipe in the playbook. A little more Marceau, please. That time Huff only got him down because he did the old hip drop tackle, which they are outlawed in the NFL, but you can't get Marceau down any other way one-on-one other than just dropping the anchor and hoping he falls.
Nick Lear will be the wide receiver for the Golden Bears out to the right side. Rosemeyer, the tight end, on the left side of 2 backs right behind Furch. Line of scrimmage is the 31. Or make that the 36 as Furch. Hands off to Sink. He rumbles left side, and he easily has the 1st down as he crosses midfield and gets to the 39.
Good churning of the legs by Trayton Sink. He kept those legs pounding. No mess around that time. Good north-south running by Trayton here on this east-west field.
So ball's on the left side hash. Sink, who has 652 yards rushing so far in the season, trying to continue that early production. Joyce running in right now for the Golden Bears. 9:36 and it ticking in the 2nd quarter. And a 16-14 GTRA lead as Bishop Garrigan wants their first lead of the game. 2 receivers to the right, Sink and Joyce. Furch lifts his right leg in the shotgun. He's going to throw quickly out to the right side to Joyce. Great block by Sink. Joyce running down the sideline to the 35, to the 33, and he's banged out of bounds by Chanel. Near the 1st down marker, depends on the spot. He appears to be just shy of a quality pickup on 1st down.
I like that play design to get it to Joyce out there in the wing. You've got Marceau lined up in the backfield, and he immediately runs out there to start blocking. However, he and I think his Sink blocked the same guy. So a little more repetition on that play, and they get a little better blocking on that, and they'll pick up even more yards.
Now Owen Murphy's out to the wide side of the field left. Second down and 3. Under center is Furch. Gives to Sink. Patient run right side. Has the first down before he's driven back. Tackle made nicely on the play by GTRA, stopping the momentum of Furch, but Sink that is, excuse me, but Schnell made a nice stick on the tackle after the first down.
Good form tackling by Jackson Snell. Didn't give Sink any time to dance, just got low, kept his head up, and just like you practice on Monday through Thursday, drove through the legs of Sink. Good tackle by the Titan.
Bishop Garrigan is marching, though. 27-yard line will be the line of scrimmage. Ball's on the right side hash. 2 tight ends, 2 backs for the Bears. Furch underneath center, as will take the snap from Caden Graves. Gives to Sink. Sink runs for the middle. Sink falls forward as he's across the 25-yard line. Give him the 23 and a 3-yard pickup on a first down.
Well, great job by Rosemeyer, Schwab, Helliseth, and Caden Graves. Those 4 guys on the line, just straight ahead blocking, can pick up 4 yards, no problem. In fact, Ethan Marceau went through as the lead blocker and didn't have anyone to hit. He could have kept going downfield, but as it is, sometimes those guys just get an arm around the legs, and if it wasn't for that arm, it'd be a touchdown.
Caleb Sweden, that last tackle for GTRA, their leading tackler of 28.5 so far this season. Furch is in the shotgun. He's looking left side, fires out to Joyce. Joyce makes the grab. A good block by Marceau out in front of him. Joyce stumbles forward, and he has about a 4-yard gain. That looked like it could have gone for more, but GTRA able to contain it before the first down, and it'll be 3rd and about 3.
Yeah, Marceau took care of the outside. He did a great kick-out block. Joyce made the right read, cut right inside the block, but those backside linebackers were flowing really fast for GTRA. You just keep looking at that play design on film and figure out a way to block that guy coming across, and Joyce knifes through for a touchdown right there.
3rd down and 3 from the 21-yard line. Bishop Garrigan right on the edge of the red zone. 1 tight end each side of the line. Furch underneath center. He will pitch it to Sink. Sink running right side to the wide side of the field. He's got Marceau in front. Sink has the first down as he's tackled from behind. The stop is made by Caleb Sweden. Maybe saving a touchdown there because Marceau was leading the way, but a first down and the ball inside the Red Power red zone.
Well, you know, I love this line play. I love watching offensive linemen do their dirty work. Lots hitting up front there. Keaton Helliseth pulls all the way across the field. He was just looking for someone to hit. And boy, Garrigan, it's just, they've had a few plays here where they don't quite find the guys to block. And they make the tackle. They're going to make some adjustments here, get those key blocks, and these big gains will turn into touchdowns.
The ball's at the 12-yard line. 2 tight ends, 2 backs again, and a flag before the snap. 7:04 on the clock in the second quarter. The flag came from the near side official, and offsides against GTRA.
So Rosemeyer thinks it's on him. Relax, Wyatt. You're okay.
Now offsides against Garrigan. They initially pointed towards GTRA, but they redo the signal, so it is against Rosemeyer,
so
I believe.
Well, if it's not against Rosemeyer, he's making everyone believe it's against him because he got his hands up saying, what did I do? Which is a dead giveaway that you did something wrong. I think what happened, I think he went down into a stance, and I think he put his hand over the line, and immediately the flag came out.
So back Bishop Garrigan up 5 yards. They are still inside the Red Power red zone, which is brought to you by your Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwolf, West Bend, and Humboldt. But now at the 17-yard line, 1st down and 15 for the Golden Bears. They can get a first down without a touchdown. Furch under center will give to Sink, runs behind his right guard, barrels forward, but he runs into a brick wall at the 15-yard line. Try to get a second effort there, but the officials blew the play dead first at the 15-yard line.
Now, I see some Garrigan linemen and players coming back, and I think they all knew that wasn't going to work. And GTRA knew the play call. They had the box packed, so it's kind of a wasted down there because now Garrigan's looking at 2nd and long again, and now they're going to have to be creative.
Bishop Garrigan has tried to pound the ball down the field, and it worked throughout this game so far, but they will have to put the ball in the air again at some point. They've done a couple of long handoffs, but at some point you do think they'll have to push the ball down the field against this GTRA defense as Joyce is out to the left. Schnell shadowing him over there as Furch will roll out to the left side. Furch throws back across the field. Ball got tipped. It is picked off. Tipped and intercepted. Garrigan turns it over inside the red zone as the ball was tipped by Isaiah Malm and intercepted by the Titans. Caleb Sweden on the pick.
Oh, great defensive flow into the ball there. And that's where Garrigan might want to tweak things. You know, it's tough when you get in the Red Power red zone. Your playbook gets a little smaller because the downs and distance are a little bit different. You found yourself behind the chains there, 2nd and long, and you had to try something. But GTRA knew you were doing it, and they were in the spots here. Just like on 1st down, they had that play read. GTRA, very well-prepared defense.
And it's tough. Furch rolled out to his left side, so he had to kind of throw back across his body and turn his body, but with a man in the face, Malm got a hand on the ball, and Sweden comes up with the pick. Huff is back at quarterback. He runs left side. They're trying to kick Miller out, but Marshall will wrap him up and knock him down for a loss. Miller was trying to set the edge. GTRA was trying to kick him out, but Marshall just knifed in there, and number 11 on number 11 makes the tackle.
Yeah, Marshall, great job at that middle linebacker spot. Such a big fella, but he's got good speed. He gets to that outside corner so well. So now we see, Tyler, this is a huge last 5 minutes. It's 16-14 Titans. These 5 minutes, Garrigan needs that ball back. They want to go into the half. They want to stop a score and get a score. And this is the perfect setup for Garrigan if they can just get the job done and stop the Titans here deep in their own territory.
Casey Huff's taken a lot more negative runs than he's used to as he throws quickly out to Schnell. Schnell weaves to the near side of the field, goes against the grain, and Garrigan knocks him down across the 15-yard line. He's close to the first down, didn't quite get there, but he started weaving across the face of the defense and gained positive yardage.
Well, they threw it out to the right wing, and the receiver immediately cut it back to the middle of the field and exposed all of his linemen to blocks in the back. And referees decided not, they kept their hankies in their pockets because no one really hit him really hard, but there was a lot of hands on the backs of Bishop Garrigan players, but no call there because the receiver kind of set that up.
Schnell came into the game with 580 yards receiving. He is tacked on tonight. Dietrich motions across the formation. They'll hand off to Sweden. Sweden breaks a tackle in the backfield, tries to escape left, and he got the first down. Golden Bears should have had him behind the line of scrimmage, but he escaped, and he got 3 yards to move the sticks.
Well, this Garrigan defense just giving up a foot too much on some of these plays. Now as the time ticks, it's 4:30 left, 16-14. Garrigan wants to get that ball back. Beware the big play here. Watch out for Shell, that receiver, and Huff, as we saw, started the game with a fake run and ended up throwing deep to get that first score for GTRA on the very first play from scrimmage to wake up this Bear defense.
And it's impressive how many of the GTRA runners, receivers, and quarterbacks, they're all good at change of direction as they run, which is something that Garrigan has to be able to just plant the flag in the ground and make the stop. GTRA max protects, they throw it on the right side. Schnell open again, he makes the grab, gets past Joyce, he's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Jackson Schnell, 59 yards, he threw Joyce right by him, and Casey Huff hits another big play for the Titans.
Oh, that was just playground football right there. You could see it a mile away. Huff was looking at Shell the whole time. It was just two kids out on the playground. They just looked at each other and they knew exactly what they're going to do. I was watching it. I just knew it was going to happen. Shell goes out 5 yards, slams on the brakes, and that made Joyce slam on his brakes, and then Shell just lit him up and just took off deep, and Joyce could not recover. As fast as Michael Joyce is, Shell got faster than him on that play and beat him deep. Great throw. Good connection by those two players for the Titans, but Garrigan has got to prevent that, give more of a cushion.
GTRA has Trey bunched to the right side. They'll throw back to the left. Schnell makes the grab in the end zone. There's the 2-point conversion as Joyce slams him down. Frustrated after that last touchdown he gave up, but Schnell got the last laugh, and the Titans are up by 10. 3:53 to go until halftime. 24-14 at GTRA on home country at KLGZ.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bacon at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
Signworks Inc. For all your signage needs and printed apparel, stop in or call 295-9544.
New Way K&H Co-op, delivering exceptional value through knowledge and innovation.
West Bend Ford, meeting your service, new and used vehicle needs.
Tom Eischen Sales, your store in the country, carrying steel and Toro products and Green Mountain pellet grills.
PMC Advantage Insurance Services, insuring our neighbors for over 80 years.
All sponsors of this game broadcast.
Ethan Marceau trying to get the Bishop Garrigan crowd fired up, but right now it's GTRA who's fired up 24-14 over the defending state champions as the Titans will kick the ball off to the Golden Bears. Approaching the football right now, Hayden Gilmore to kick it away. He squibs it, and it's picked up by Joyce. Joyce to the 30-yard line, and he's upended right there. A nice tackle made on the play by GTRA's Riley Vanderhoff. When we talk about delaying being the special teams ace for Garrigan, Vanderhoff's made a couple really nice special teams plays for GTRA.
Yeah, GTRA has got it in all the places they need. They've got speed, and as we've talked in the past, speed in the 8-man game is a premium. GTRA has got it. But Garrigan, on the other hand, they've got this power. They've got some good blocking. Garrigan's got 3 minutes and 51 seconds until half. They're down by 10 points, 24-14. They need to take up all this time, I think, unless they want to get a quick one and get the ball back again, but march that downfield with powerful running.
They give it to Sink on the left side. Sink gets met in the hole. He breaks a tackle. He's able to get to the 38-yard line. He got hit hard in the hole that time, but got an extra 5 or 6 yards after initial contact to gain 8.
Yeah, Sink's so slippery. He got stood up, and he was really high, but then he slips right off tacklers and keeps going. Very elusive running by Trayton Sink, but that Garrigan offensive line and Trayton just pick up 8 yards. Keep pounding it forward. Clock's down to 3:25.
Titans have gotten 2 touchdown catches by Jackson Schnell so far tonight, 57 yards and 59 yards. Titans coming tonight with 7 players with 2 different touchdown catches, but Schnell has 2 tonight as well. Sink spins forward, and he gets across the first down sticks. Garrigan gets across midfield with 3:15 to go until halftime. And remember, Garrigan did defer as well, so they could potentially double up here depending on how quickly this drive takes.
Once again, Sink was just an arm away from breaking that into the wide open field. Someone down there on the ground just stuck their right arm out, tripped him up. Otherwise, he's off to the races. All right, Lear's coming out here. Joyce coming in, so they're going to go with their, I'll call it their lighter package. Lear, a big sophomore blocker for the Bears, and Furch grabbing Joyce and making sure everyone knows the play.
And these are the harder earned yards by Sink. So many games this season, Garrigan has blown the opposing defensive line so far off the ball that Sink has had huge holes. But tonight, he's had to physical his way to a few yards as Furch is back to throw. Deep shot on the right side. There's a flag. Joyce tries to come back to the football, but he can't work his way through Schnell. There was a flag from the near side officials. Garrigan cannot connect on the deep shot.
Well, they didn't blow it dead, so it's not offsides on the Bears. Although it did look like there was a movement down there on the near side towards us, so the officials are really talking this over.
And they're going to say illegal formation on the Bears. So this is going to be a 5-yard penalty against Bishop Garrigan and bring them back across midfield.
Ooh, shooting themselves in the foot there. Clock will stop with 2:35 left until halftime. Bears down 10. It's going to be 1st and 15 here. I believe that perhaps that play started before Garrigan was all set. I think the receivers for Garrigan maybe were not set.
Oh, yeah, it could have been a man in motion at the time of the snap. That is something that Garrigan got called for a couple of times in recent weeks as Sink will check out of the ball game here briefly. 2:35 to go until halftime. Garrigan has to get it to the 29-yard line of GTRA as Murphy's the receiver out to the right side. That is the Bishop Garrigan senior right there as Furch takes the snap, gives to Marshall on the draw. Marshall gets stood up, and he only gets 1 yard before he's pushed back. Gang tackling by GTRA. It's Dietrich and Sweden combining.
Boy, I can see why Sweden is the leading tackler on this team. He knows how to get low, and he knows how to wrap up the legs. You can't run without your legs, folks, and everyone loves the big old hit where you smash shoulder pads and you hear it in the stands and there's lots of cracking. But if you just want to win the battle, you tie up the legs and the ankles, and they're not going anywhere. Sweden does that really well.
Bishop Garrigan is behind schedule right now, 2nd and 14 from the 37-yard line. They'll send it trips to the left, and Furch will be by himself in the shotgun. Furch facing a 3-man rush. He's back to throw, fires over the middle, catch is made by Sink right at the 40-yard line before he's knocked down as Dietrich comes out fired up. That's going to be about a 3-yard gain for Trayton Sink, and still 3rd and quite long for the Golden Bears.
2 plays in a row that Landon Dietrich is just pumped up and all over that play. He seems to know what the Bears are doing before they do it. GTRA looks like they're playing 8-man football with 11. They are all over the field right now.
It seems like so many great teams have a linebacker who plays with a lot of emotion. That's one of those sports cliches, but Dietrich really is that for GTRA, their emotional leader, pumping his fist and firing up the unit. Trips to the left for the Golden Bears, Furch back to throw. Here comes Krager. Furch steps forward as he climbs the pocket. He escapes to the right, and he gets along the sideline. Furch has the first down. He's inside the 30, down to the 25. He did a great job escaping to the right, and Sink did a nice job of not blocking in the back as he kept his hands up. First down, Bears.
Great job by Furch. There's that running that Furch is so dangerous with. He stops the clock by getting out of bounds. The clock stops with 1:13 left until halftime. Bears trying to score and cut into this 10-point deficit they find themselves in.
Ball will be at the 25-yard line. 1:13 and ticking until halftime. Garrigan wants to score, obviously, and they also do not want Casey Huff to touch the ball again before halftime. Last time Golden Bears got to the red zone, they threw an interception, and GTRA turned that interception into 8 points as we've got a whistle and a timeout called by Coach Wadley and the Bears. So timeout by Coach Wadley. We will take that timeout as well. We'll step aside for 30 seconds on KLGZ and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
More Sports Club members.
Lusher Family Dentistry, serving your family since 1965 on Call Street in Algona.
Algona Plumbing and Heating, where a good flush beats a full house.
Kasuth Regional Health Center, your home for health care.
Walker Chiropractic and Wellness, caring for Algona, Sway City, and surrounding areas with chiropractic, nutritional, and physical therapy services.
Reeves Wicked Good Bar and Grill, for wicked good food, drinks, and service, you've got to go to Reeves.
High Point Land Company, your trusted land partner in Algona.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
Bishop Garrigan down by 10 against GTRA. 1:13 to go until halftime, but the Golden Bears are driving. They have the ball at the 25-yard line, a first down and 10. Got out of a second down and 15 situation on the previous set of downs, and now they'll try to score before halftime. Golden Bears have 2 timeouts left. Titans have 1 timeout as the Golden Bears go trips to the left, and Furch by himself on the shotgun. Rosenmeyer, the tight end, on the right side. Furch lifts the right leg in the air, and he's back to throw. 4 men in the pattern. Furch standing, great pocket, fires downfield. Murphy by himself, massive breakdown, and the touchdown for the Golden Bears. They lost Owen Murphy, and Furch hits it for 25 yards.
Oh, what a toss by Furch. Beautiful catch by Murphy. Murphy got great speed. We set out 3 receivers. As good as GTRA has been defensively in their speed, they can't stay with all 3 of those fast guys. Great play design. Murphy all alone, wide open. Almost too open, Tyler. When you're that wide open, bad things happen. But Murphy concentrated, hauled it in, and the Bears are on the board again, 24-20.
GTRA 3 for 3 on 2-point conversions. Now can the Bears get a 2-point conversion? First rolls to the right, has Dietrich in his face, lobs the end zone, and he overshot Rosenmeyer, incomplete. Dietrich, the linebacker, did a nice job of busting that play for the Bears as he was sprinting right at the face of Furch. And the 2-point conversion beanie, no good. 1:06 to go until halftime.
Boy, Dietrich has been great this drive, and he lit Furch up there and then realized, I better go help that guy up. And he did, went and helped up the Garrigan quarterback. Too bad that 2-point conversion didn't happen. They wanted Marceau there, Tyler, and he got kind of held up. So Furch strung the play out, waiting for Rosenmeyer to get open in the back, but couldn't make that pass.
So 24-20 is the score right now. 1:06 to go until halftime, and GTRA has shown so far tonight they don't need 1:06 to score. So if you're Garrigan, you've got to be very smart about what you do on defense. Force GTRA to drive the ball down the field deliberately. You can't afford another 50-yard catch by Jackson Schnell.
No kidding. We're going to have to make an adjustment on that play. That play's burned us twice. Just a Huff and Shell hooking up like 2 kids in 5th grade, throwing it deep. And now Garrigan starts to realize these 2-point conversions are adding up. They're down 4. Even though the touchdowns are even, GTRA has this 4-point lead with a minute to go in half. Now, are they going to kick it deep? They might as well, because Huff is creeping up anyway.
Here comes Brady Galligan. The Bishop Garrigan senior squibs the ball, and I think Garrigan was offsides.
Yeah.
They blow the kickoff dead as one of the coverage men went past Galligan before he kicked it.
I think it was a few guys where, I mean, Galligan squib kicking, and that does change his footsteps a little bit. And a couple of the guys got way ahead. In fact, I think the whole left hand, everyone that's left of Galligan, I think, was over in front of him on that play. They were eager to get down the field now. I'd say to see if Galligan could just put a leg into it and put it over the head. There's no wind here tonight to block that ball, I don't think. The flag's not moving anyway.
Yeah, see if you can get Huff going in reverse instead of getting up and down the field. Now, Huff is backing up a couple steps. He may be anticipating a deeper kick because Huff is backed up all the way to the 10-yard line. So we'll see if Galligan tries to leg this one down the field. The Garrigan senior approaches, and he's going to kick this one deep. Huff is going to run towards the far side of the field, and that ball will creep along the goal line, and it rolls into the end zone.
Beautiful.
Boy, that ball almost deadened inside of the 5-yard line. It should have been great, but Garrigan will certainly take the touchback.
That was a great kick by Galligan. He kicked it to the corner, but it did not go out of bounds. So regular old touchback. Galligan puts it right on a good spot right there. Too bad the Bears couldn't get down there a little bit faster. Had a chance to down that ball.
Well, if Garrigan got down there, too, without GTRA getting it, that would be a recovery by the Bears.
Oh, that's right, of course. Boy, that would have been huge.
Which that could have been massive before halftime, but the ball did go out of bounds, and Huff had that ball well. He knew it was going to get out of bounds before, or into the end zone, I should say, before Garrigan saw it.
Yeah, they didn't want any part of that. Now, who's the quarterback? It's going to be their passer.
It is Tegan Hansen. Huff is a receiver out to the right side, and Hansen is in the gun. Golden Bears will rush just 2. Hansen back to throw. Here comes Schwab. Hansen's got to unload over the middle. He's got Malm open, but jumping the pass and almost picking it off is Tate Furch. The ball, Malm, and Furch all arrived at the same time.
Wow, Furch was way up in the air. He elevated. Malm got his bell rung a little bit by Furch's knees. And, boy, you look in the replay on that. Malm, he was definitely left early, but the flag stayed in the pockets there, and he's sitting down over there. He got his bell rung. Someone's going to have to check that kid for a concussion. He can't sit down like that and just get a pat on the head from his coach. The referees are going to have to take a look at that kid.
So he's on the GTRA sideline right now as Hansen's in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers, back throws Hansen. Here comes Schwab again. Hansen throws near side, and it's tipped away, incomplete. Diving in there was Lichter on the coverage as that averted a big completion to Casey Huff, the intended target.
55 seconds left to go till half. It's 3rd down. It's not outrageous to believe that the Bears can get the ball back. If GTRA tries another pass, the Bears have a timeout. They can stop the clock. So Bears might be getting a little greedy here. Want to get that ball back before half, down 24-20.
And look, Beanie, Tegan Hansen's a good quarterback. He came into tonight completing 20 out of 28 passes, but I think it's disrupted the GTRA offense by trying to sub quarterbacks in and out. I think it's been a disruption not to just have Huff back there and let him ride it, because he's thrown the ball well tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Now, one thing we've seen happening tonight here, timeout is called here. The crowd's getting into it. Garrigan's feeling some momentum here before half. But you don't see Garrigan subbing tonight. They have subbed at will all season. But tonight we've got Furch playing more defensive back, not keeping him fresh. They've got all guys on deck, down 24-20 here in the second.
So Titans take the timeout. That is their final timeout of the half. So if they do convert on this 3rd down and 10, that does mean that they're going to have to go into hurry-up mode. But the good news for Bishop Garrigan right now, you stop a 3rd down and 10, you force GTRA to punt, and we know how dangerous those special teams returners can be for Garrigan. Even if they kick it away from you, there should be decent field position if you can get a stop here on this very big 3rd and 10 before halftime.
Well, it is a big down, but why not just try what's worked for them for 2 scores tonight? Just put Shell out there as far out as you can, one-on-one with one of the Bears, and see if Huff can hit him on a little bit of a move. That has worked for him twice before. Is the 3rd time the charm? I hope not, because I'm a Bear fan. But the defense is out there. GTRA still huddled up.
How about the pass rush generated by Garrigan the last 2 downs as well? Carter Schwab has gotten through in spite of Garrigan trying to go 2-on-3 against the line. Garrigan has more guys dropping into cover. You've got to spy the mobile quarterbacks of GTRA, so there's only so many men on defense to do all those assignments. Garrigan looks like they're going to rush just 2 again. Hellesuff and Schwab.
Huff is on the inside position, matched up with Madden Miller. Madden's going to have to be sharp.
That's one to watch. Now the motion, 4 receivers to the right. Flag on the play. I think GTRA was in motion at the snap. Wide receiver screen to the right. And they're short of the 1st down as Marceau drives the receiver out of bounds. They'll say the clock was running as his forward progress stopped. Sweden was driven backwards, but I think GTRA had guys moving at the time of the snap.
Now, if they do, Tyler, typically don't they blow that play dead? If there's movement,
I think illegal shift they do let you go, because that's not a false start. Okay. Illegal shift is separate. So Garrigan will accept this penalty, and they're going to force GTRA to try a 3rd down and 15 now.
Now they were short of the 1st down. Marceau threw him to the ground about 2 yards short of the 1st down. So had Garrigan declined that, GTRA would have had to decide whether to punt with 4th and 2. But Garrigan's making him go 3rd and long, try to get that field position.
That would have been a fascinating decision, and now we have a whistle here into stoppages. They're pointing towards the Garrigan sideline as if Garrigan called a timeout, but I don't know what Garrigan actually did.
I think Coach Wadley is maybe insisting it should be, was it a loss of down? Is he saying that should be a loss of down?
That shouldn't be a loss of down.
Or maybe he's just clarifying. He's clarifying the down.
We've got a clock change here. They put 48 seconds on the clock instead of 44, so that may have been. Garrigan wants to conserve every possible second here, folks, and for good reason.
That is why Coach Wadley had the 4 up, saying it's not 4, it should be 8.
24-20 in favor of GTRA. It's going to be Huff at quarterback. He runs near side. Huff trying to turn the corner. Doesn't have a whole lot of room. He can't squeeze through, and he's knocked down. And he's out of bounds, too. Garrigan threw him out of bounds, and that's going to stop the clock. Huff had to get down in bounds when he realized there couldn't be a 1st down, but Sink and Lichter set the edge, and they throw him out of bounds with 41 seconds left.
Yeah, Lichter down low, and Sink kind of came in and helicoptered him out of bounds, grabbed him around the shoulders and threw his legs around like a helicopter and flung him out of bounds. That's going to preserve some time. 41 seconds left in the half, and probably a safe call there by GTR. See if Huff can do it, but he did not anticipate getting thrown out of bounds by the Bears. Marshall going to come in and try to block this kick.
This crowd has been fired up today as Huff rolls right and he sends the punt away. It's a wobbler to the near side of the field. It rolls to the 30. GTRA bounces to the 25-yard line. The Titans will let it settle down at the 23 with 31 seconds left to go until halftime. So can Garrigan hit a couple of plays here? Golden Bears do have 2 timeouts. They're down 24-20, and they'll have the ball at their own 23-yard line.
All right, Tyler, I have a ridiculous question that could only come from me, your color commentator. GTRA went and downed that ball right away and stopped the clock by downing it with 31 seconds to go. how long can they just stand and look at that ball dead in the grass before the referees blow it dead? Could they have milked a few more seconds there just by looking at that dead ball?
They could have, just from the standpoint of maybe the referees would have taken an extra second, but when the ball totally stops moving, that is when the referees should blow the play dead. But if the ball's still wobbling, they can let that go. 31 seconds left until halftime. Furch back to throw. It's a free-man rush. Great blocking by the Bears. Furch lobs near side. Sink makes the catch along the sideline, and he tiptoes out of bounds. First down Bears, 13-yard gain, and 26 seconds to go until halftime.
Great route by Sink. It's a mismatch. Him coming out of the backfield, you know he's going to get picked up by a linebacker, and Sink likely going to have better speed to get open there heading towards the sidelines. Good 2-minute offense. 26 seconds left. 24-20. Bears behind.
And Carter Schwab, Caden Graves, and Keaton Helseth, the Garrigan offensive lineman, really just built a wall in front of Furch that time. Nobody could get through for GTRA, and now Golden Bears are approaching midfield. They still have their 2 timeouts. They still have 26 seconds till halftime, and they have trips to the left. Rosenmeyer, the tight end, on the field as well. He's on the right side of the line, and Furch by himself in the gun. Ball's on the near side hash. Furch looks out to his left. Snap is to Furch. He'll throw out to Joyce. It's a screen. They're getting blockers in front. Joyce across midfield down the sideline, and he got out of bounds again. Hansen forced him out after a 4-yard gain as Garrigan preserves those timeouts.
Going to get to the 40, midfield here in the 8-man game. I thought Joyce picked up a couple more, but that's on that far sideline. He must have stepped out earlier. I guess those little yards are irrelevant now when you've got 40 yards to go in 21 seconds. You need some big chunks here.
So now second down from the 40-yard line, 6 yards to go. As Marshall's going to check in, Furch will run into the play as well. Sink runs out.
This is typically where we see Furch pull a little magic out of that hat. We've seen him do it last season. What's he going to find here?
Trips to the right for the Golden Bears, 5 on the play clock as Furch lifts the right leg in the air and he's back to throw. He rolls out to the right, keeps his eyes down the field. He pulls the ball down, he's hit in bounds, and he's driven sideways near the boundary, and he did get driven out of bounds with 14 seconds left. The Titans sandwich Furch that time as nothing was open downfield. Dietrich right in the middle of everything again as well for GTRA as John Krager.
Well, no magic to be had there. Furch was stringing out that play. He was looking for someone deep, but everybody well covered. That's why he was probably able to dance for so long back there. GTRA dropping everybody back in coverage. And 14 seconds left. That play took a solid 7 seconds of all that running around. Third and long, but it's irrelevant. Garrigan's looking for something deep.
Rosenmeyer split out to the right. Furch is back to throw. Furch looking. Here comes the rush. Furch is trying to escape. His mom chases him. He's down the sideline. He's to the 35. He's to the 30, and he runs out of bounds. First down scramble by Tate Furch. And just as he called Beanie, he's making more plays with his legs tonight. 7 seconds till halftime, and Garrigan's at the 29.
Well, that certainly makes this last play of the half. Maybe we have time for 2. Probably the last play makes a 30-yard throw a heck of a lot easier as Furch picks up 15 there. Now he has a chance to throw a ball to the end zone. We saw him throw that ball to Murphy a second ago from this distance. Might as well try that same play again, see what happens, but Bears are going to call timeout and try to design something nifty.
And we will keep it right here. And this is really that no man's land as far as the clock is concerned. 7 seconds until halftime. Now, what you can do if you're Garrigan is try to throw a quick route here that picks up 5 yards, and then even if you don't get out of bounds, you have your 2 timeouts. But do you really gain that much by trying to run a play for 5 yards? I think you probably just throw it to the end zone. You don't risk anything crazy happening here. GTRA trying to hold your guy out for 7 seconds, anything like that. So this may just be a one-and-done route to the end zone.
Yeah, I think you go for the end zone, but if I may, I don't think you throw to the end zone here. I think you send Murphy and company deep, kind of as a illusion, a decoy, get those guys in the end zone and let GTRA drop back. And then you put someone like Andrew Lichter in the backfield, drapes in across the middle, about the 10-yard line. If you hit Andrew Lichter in the middle of the field, he's going to be wide open and he'll get you the touchdown. Yeah, it doesn't have to be Lichter, anybody here. You just need you need 2 guys deep in the end zone for the jump ball, but then you throw that drag across the middle and see if you can run that thing in after catching it. If you don't, it'll be exciting, but I think it's got more of a chance than a jump ball in the end zone.
It's a battle of the unbeaten tonight at Conway Field as 6-0, number 10 ranked GTRA leads 6-0, and number 2 ranked Bishop Garrigan 24-20. Titans started 3-0 last year, lost 6 in a row to end the season as Furch has 2 receivers to the left, Lear's out to the right. Furch back to throw. It's a free-man rush. He's going to lob it up to Lear. Lear near the goal line. He jumps, and he almost made the grab. Casey Huff swatted the ball away as Lear tried to box him out, and there are 0 zeros on the clock. Garrigan had the right idea there, though, Beanie.
Yeah, you put the big 6'6" guy in. Nick Lear got his hands on it, but he had 2 defenders on him, and they swatted it down. They knocked it at the same time he did. Good effort there by Bears. Some good 2-minute offense, but it comes up empty. They're down 24-20 at half on a good, exciting game, and hey, that's what we called for.
Both of these teams really needed it, that great competition, this playoff-type atmosphere, this homecoming night for the Golden Bears, and at the half, GTRA has a 24-20 lead. We'll step aside for a couple of quick messages. We'll get to your Murphy Realty Management first half recap and Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call at halftime after this on KLGZ.
That's it for the first half of play. Now get set for the Edward Jones halftime show featuring Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call. And the Murphy Realty and Management first half recap. Your Edward Jones representatives are Bruce Keefe, Jerry Sokup, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Jerry Sokup. Let's work together on an investment strategy for long-term results. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Start by giving me a call at 515-295-7766. Along with Bruce Keith, Brady Ross, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, together we are your local Edward Jones Financial Advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Safe and affordable housing. Those are words we like to hear. And Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides just that. With properties in Algona and several surrounding counties, Murphy Realty and Management Incorporated provides safe and affordable apartments at a time when everyone could really use it. They pride themselves as a local entity that aims to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Give them a call at 515-295-2927 or stop in their office located at 208 East State Street in Algona. This institution is an equal housing opportunity provider.
Halftime from Conway Field in Algona, Iowa is the defending state champion Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears right now, trailing the number 10 ranked GTRA Titans 24-20. I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie as this is your first half recap brought to you by Murphy Realty and Management. Looking at the scoring plays so far, GTRA drew first blood. On the very first play of the game, Casey Huff linked up with Jackson Schnell on a 57-yard touchdown pass. 2-point conversion was good, making the score 8-0 GTRA. Garrigan would respond with 4:45 left in the first quarter. It was Tate Furch finding Wyatt Rosenmeyer for a 2-yard touchdown pass. 2-point conversion, no good, as GTRA continued to lead 8-6. After that, to end the first quarter, GTRA got a touchdown with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the quarter, as Casey Huff connected with Caleb Sweden on a 17-yard route, and the Titans went up 16-6. And Ethan Marshall, a 1-yard touchdown run, made Bishop Garrigan a little bit closer, 16-14, as they got the 2-point conversion on that one right at the start of the second quarter with 11:58 on the clock. Then GTRA turned a red zone interception, reeled in by Caleb Sweden off a tipped pass, into a 59-yard touchdown pass. Once again, Casey Huff linking up with Jackson Schnell, making it 24-14 with 3:53 left in the first half. And then before halftime, Bishop Garrigan got another touchdown pass. Tate Furch threw his second of the ball game as Owen Murphy caught that 25-yard pass to make the score 24-20. 1:06 to go until halftime. Golden Bears did get the ball back, and they got a good Hail Mary off as Nick Lear tried to box up the defender in the end zone, but couldn't quite reel in the ball, as that is where we settle at halftime. GTRA 24, Bishop Garrigan 20. Again, I'm Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie as we are at halftime from Conway Field. And Beanie, what a first half. So many different things happened in that ball game, but I'll start here. Jackson Schnell really leaving his fingerprints all over this ball game. Those 2 50-plus yard receiving touchdowns. It's the senior Casey Huff finding the junior Jackson Schnell, and Garrigan has got to find a way to cover him because not only is he a fast receiver, but he's a physical receiver as well, and that combo has been lethal.
Well, he has done some incredible shake and bake out there on the sideline. He's been lining up about as far wide as possible on that play, and that draws one-on-one coverage. It's just him and Michael Joyce out there, and the Bears wouldn't want anyone else guarding him. Michael Joyce is a fantastic athlete, but Schnell has been better today. He has put some great moves, stop-and-go moves, where he slams on the brakes, and Joyce has to respect it, and then he just turns on the jets and gets behind him, and that's resulted in 2 scores. 2 plays, 2 scores, and that's the way it goes. You can't take away scores, but you like to think about it. If you take away those 2 scores, Garrigan's looking a lot better. And as it is, the touchdowns are even, but those 2-point conversions, boy, they're a devil. And Garrigan has not converted on 2 of theirs. and GTRA, it's very successful on their 2-point conversions, and that's making a big difference right now in this game.
It is making a big difference, and that GTRA speed, we think of it as stretching the field, but that speed is also really good moving laterally, which is big on the 2-point conversions. It's hard to set the edge from the 2-yard line against a team as fast as GTRA, and they've been able to find the edge on a couple of those 2-point conversions. So like you said, that's huge right now because those 2-point conversions have GTRA up by 4. The other thing I'll say as well, Bishop Garrigan, they're used to gashing teams in the run game. I mean, there have been so many games this season where the offensive line and the Titans have just overwhelmed the opposing defense. This game's a little more representative of what you're going to see in the playoffs going forward. You're not going to run for 15 yards every carry. You've got to get those 4- and 5-yard gains. These GTRA linebackers are hanging so tough against Garrigan, especially Landon Dietrich. He's made a couple of big plays tonight. So Garrigan, again, you've got to be patient in the run game, work forward for those 4- and 5-yard games, and know you might have to stretch out a few long drives in the second half.
Well, if we want to go back to last year some more, we can remember how Garrigan wore teams down in the second half, controlled that ball with their run game, and just overpowered teams until they were exhausted, and then Garrigan took over at the end and won the games. Could that happen against GTRA? We'll find out, but it's moot if Garrigan's defense can't stop this GTRA big play offense, which we talked about before the game, and I knew it was going to be an issue because in your interviews with Coach Wiley in preparation for this game, I noticed he was talking a lot about what the Bears need to do on defense. Now, Coach Wiley's got great defensive coaches, got great offensive coaches, great staff at Bishop Garrigan all around, but if the head coach is really concerned about the defense, that means he's seen some things on film that he knows are a concern, and I think Marty Wiley definitely saw that GTRA was going to cause them some problems and knows that the defense had to be elite tonight. Can they come back in the second half? We'll see. I also know Coach Wiley, he wants to play a good, hard game. These boys want to play a good, hard game. No one wanted to have this be the homecoming. You could tell GTRA, boy, they are up. They are well prepared. They knew it. Garrigan has not been sharp. They've had a few penalties. They have not played as clean as they usually do. They have not made their blocks as well as they usually do. So I'm sure they're in the locker room right now pointing out all those things they have done that are not clean, and I expect to see a much cleaner second half played by the Golden Bears.
And Bishop Garrigan's also going to have to make some plays for the air, which he did in the first half. Tate Birch, 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception off the ball where his arm was hit. The ball was tipped and it was intercepted in the red zone, but that was a big red zone turnover because eventually GTRA turned that red zone turnover into 8 points. But Birch has had to push the ball into the intermediate and even deep range a couple of times tonight, as he did last week. And again, we're seeing it more and more. Early in the season, you have a couple of games where, it's 74-6 and you're not going to be throwing it a whole lot. Birch is going to have to complete a few more balls in the second half, and especially if you get into those third medium, third long situations that GTRA is trying to force.
Yeah, I don't disagree, Tyler, but I'll push the envelope a little bit and say Garrigan's going to get that ball to start the second half, and I don't think they're going to throw it till they have to. I bet the first run, that first series, they're going to run the ball a lot, but I don't disagree. I think you're right. Garrigan is going to have to pull out that pass, and we saw Nick Lear come in there for that final play. He was in a couple plays earlier. Lear's coming back from an injury. He's a playmaker. We saw him make some dynamite plays. They have a lot of skill players out there, a lot of weapons on that Bishop Garrigan offense that if they want to open it up to, they can get real gamey and open up this field. But it's so hard to do that when you've got Marceau and Sink back there doing their job so well and picking up big chunks of yards. You don't want to necessarily go to that pass, but if you don't go to the pass, you don't open up the run, and that's just the dilemma these coaches have to go round and around with in their heads.
Well, this will be fascinating because last season when these two teams matched up, GTRA played 3 very good quarters against the eventual state champion Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. Titans only trailed 24-20 heading into the fourth, but Golden Bears, like you said, really wore them down in the second half. Caden Roffler scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, or Caden Roffler. Garrigan scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth. Caden Roffler had a huge rushing game, well over 100 yards against GTRA last season, and Garrigan ended up winning that 48-20. So that's the thing you've got to worry about and try to avoid if you're the Titans. You can't wear down on the second half in this game. You still got to be firing off the ball up front. You've still got to be controlling the time of possession as best as you can. And, well, if you hit the big plays, you'll take them, certainly. But this is certainly going to be a war of attrition later in this game to see which team kind of wear the other one down.
It's also going to be the adjustments that those coaches on both teams are making in the locker room right now. It seems like it would be easy for Garrigan to just stop giving up those big plays, but GTRA is right in there crafting more plays. But they were ready for every one of Garrigan's bread and butter plays. Garrigan is going to have to make a few tweaks. You don't have to rewrite the playbook during halftime. That's impossible. You just got to tweak a few things. I noted that there were a few missed blocks that GTRA was able to get in front because they're faster and the Bears aren't used to that speed. Make a few adjustments, get somebody out there earlier instead of using the pulling guard, maybe a block with the tight end. You know, anything those coaches can do with the X's and O's right there, we're going to see in this second half. And that's going to be a behind-the-scenes discussion for you tomorrow on Coach's Corner is what were the adjustments at halftime? Will Garrigan make them? And if they do, all confidence in the world that they're going to pull out this game, because as GTRA, I don't think is as versatile as Garrigan offensively, and Garrigan defense is going to figure it out. And I'm going to say GTRA scored 24 points the first half. I'll give them 2 scores the second half.
Well, we'll see what happens. This is going to be a fascinating second half as GTRA leads Bishop Garrigan 24-20 right now on KLGZ Home Country Radio. We'll step aside for a couple of messages. We've got your Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call coming up next.
Market declines, unemployment, today's headlines can be scary. Hi, I'm Edward Jones, financial advisor, Mackenzie Jorgensen. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to prepare for the long term. We provide the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Contact me, Mackenzie Jorgensen, at 515-395-4021, along with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sokup, and Brady Ross. We are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
It's time for You Make the Call as we test your knowledge of the rules. You Make the Call is brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit. Our referee this evening is Tom Claude.
With 4th and goal from B's 1-yard line, and runner A1 is pushed at the line of scrimmage from behind by A2 in an effort by A2 to get him into the end zone. Is this a legal play at this high school level? You make the call.
Make the call with AMU Telephone Service. AMU local and long-distance telephone provides the call clarity and reliability you expect at an affordable price. Enhance your AMU telephone service with calling features like caller ID and voicemail. When you switch to AMU telephone, you can keep your 295 phone number and you get friendly local customer service. Make the call to AMU to install AMU telephone. Algona Municipal Utilities, community-owned for community benefit.
This would be a foul by A2 by helping the runner. The foul carries a 5-yard penalty. Pushing the pile is legal, but direct contact and pushing, pulling, or lifting of the runner is not. Keep in mind that the high school rule is different from the college or pro game when it comes to helping the runner.
And this has been You Make the Call, brought to you by Algona Municipal Utilities, where they are community-owned for community benefit.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Bruce Keith. Together we can give you your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 100 North Phillips Street. Contact me, Bruce Keith, at 515-295-5173. Together with Jerry Sukup, Mackenzie Jorgensen, and Brady Ross, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, members SIPC.
Halftime from Conway Field in Algona, Iowa, as the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears trail the GTRA Titans 24-20. You just heard Algona Municipal Utilities. You make the call. We've got this extra long halftime here of homecoming going on, so for those of you watching on the YouTube stream, we're going to go quiet here for a few minutes. For those of you listening on the radio, we'll play the Radio Iowa Sports Update. We'll also have the weather forecast, so we'll be back here in a little bit, as again, we have about 7.5 minutes to go until the start of the second half, so we'll get to all that after this message on KLGZ 98.5 FM and AM 1600.
Don't let concerns about current events derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Brady Ross. We can work together to understand today's financial landscape and make sure you achieve your goals. While you can't control market volatility, you can control your financial future. Let's connect. Contact me, Brady Ross, at 515-295-7763. Together with Bruce Keith, Jerry Sukup, and Mackenzie Jorgensen, we are your local Edward Jones financial advisors. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
And we are about 3 minutes away from the second half of football action on KLGZ Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream. Tyler Lance alongside Beanie Bodie is right now the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears getting all they can handle from the GTRA Titans. Titans with a 24-20 lead at the half. Well, Beanie, it's been a good half so far. Again, homecoming week here, so a huge crowd for the Bishop Garrigan team, but really a great turnout by GTRA as well. A lot of people coming over from Palo Alto County for this key district matchup, and a lot of fun things going on at halftime as well. They honored some of the All-State summer athletes. Hannah Marin and Abby Capacious on the softball diamond. Justin Bauer and Benji Trainer on the baseball field. They got a little halftime recognition, and of course, the homecoming court being introduced as well to all the fans here. So very festive atmosphere at Garrigan tonight.
Yeah, this is a true homecoming. I see a lot of faces out there from the recent and distant past. We've got some gray hairs out there that graduated from Garrigan, and we've got some people that just graduated last year running around out there. So a very true homecoming here at Bishop Garrigan. And I for one, am very glad it's happening here in October because it gives plenty of time for people to realize what's going on and make plans and get back for the game. Sometimes schools like to knock out that homecoming right away at the beginning of the year, and Garrigan is no different. I think they would have liked to have had the homecoming there in September, but it just didn't work out. They could have had a game against Rockford be homecoming, but that game ended up getting canceled. So good foresight by Garrigan not to plan the homecoming for that game. What do you do if you have to cancel the homecoming game at the last second? That would have been awkward. So, but as it is, they're going to have to play their district challengers here in GTRA on homecoming. Now, what does that mean for the football team? You'd like to think nothing, but it is a different mentality here homecoming week. You know, the students do activities almost every day. For instance, today they had a class lip sync battle. They had Black and Gold Day. We had a student mass today. Yesterday was a game day where the kids are having competitions all day, class versus class. So just a different feel to the week, and that is a different feel for these young high school kids. You know, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, we're talking about 15, 16, 17, and sometimes 18 years old. And, you know, it wears on them differently. Plus, they prepare for the game the same way every day. It's just all about the mentality and the focus. And, Tyler, I don't think you'll disagree with me. Did GTRA come into this game, like, ready to go or what? Right off the beginning here? Boy, talk about energy.
GTRA has had this game circled on their schedule for a long, long time. This is one of those situations where if you want to prove you're one of the best teams in the state, you have to win this game, especially if you're GTRA. Right now, Garrigan, they have that accolade of being the state title last year. You know, we said the underdogs are underdogs no more last season. Well, that's true because you come in and you get every team's best shot. And now GTRA, they played a schedule so far this season that hasn't featured a lot of close games. Their only close game, like we said, a double overtime win over St. Edmund. Besides that, they've won by 49+ every game. And in fact, if you look at the schedules that Garrigan and GTRA have played so far, these two teams are tied for the second easiest schedule in the 8-player class up to this point. Both teams have opponents with a combined record of 17-31. Obviously, that changes tonight. One of these teams is going to have that win and say, well, the schedule is no problem. The other team will have a loss and maybe some questions about their ability to beat a playoff caliber team. But this game has lived up to the hype. Like you said, GTRA, they came up ready to play. And, you know, certainly I think it was a bigger question for GTRA. Can you play with a good team like Garrigan? Because they were a 3-win team last year, whereas Garrigan was a state title team. So this was a Titan team that was looking to get back to the playoffs, looking to really establish themselves among the best in the state and prove that they earned that number 10 ranking and potentially even more if they hang on to win tonight. And so far they've done that.
Well, Tyler, you're dropping some great research right and left. Slow down. You're coming at me with all kinds of stats and figures here. So this team won 3 last year with these athletes. That's hard to believe. But yeah, that record is that record of the opponents is impressive. I did not know that these two teams have played the weakest schedules in 8-man. So yeah, big wake-up call for both these teams that it's time to get real here because things are going to get real here real quick in the playoffs. Now, let's look back to last season, Tyler. Garrigan could have lost any of those games on the playoff run. They played very good teams, and they had to come up with something special to win every single game, all the way to the state title game. You know, and that's you don't get state titles with something special happening. They're going to need something special here in this second half, I think, against GTRA. This second half very much going to have the feel of a playoff game. Will Garrigan have the stamina and energy? Because I assume GTRA also has been playing with reserves in a lot of second halves, but I know for sure that Garrigan starters have not played a full game yet.
That's right. Garrigan has really taken it to the opponent so far this season, much as GTRA has. If you look at the scoring margin so far, Garrigan's beating opponents by an average of almost 46 points per game. GTRA's beating opponents by almost an average of 43. So it's a very similar situation for both teams where you get different guys in the second half. This is going to be the first long-term endurance test because I don't see either team running away with the game in the second half. You know, maybe one team gets up by 2 possessions, but it would be very surprising if this turned into a blowout at any point.
Yeah, I mean, typically if you're Schwab, Heliseth, Graves, Marceau, all those guys, you're starting the second half usually thinking, oh, how long do you think coach is going to let us play before he takes us out here since we're up 30 points, and they try to get as many plays as they can. Now they're not thinking about when they're going to get taken out. They're going to be thinking, can we possibly win this game? And it's a whole different mentality going forward here.
Bishop Garrigan deferred on the opening coin toss, meaning they will get the ball to start the second half. GTRA has had 6 different players handle kickoffs at some point this season. The man doing it right now is Hayden Gilmore, the junior. He's been the kickoff man tonight as he's going to kick it end over end down the field. He sends it deep to Murphy, the lone receiver back for Garrigan. Murphy bobbles to the 10-yard line. The ball rolls out of bounds. Murphy was trying to pick it up and run with it, but he couldn't get a clean grip on the ball, and Garrigan will start pinned back at their own 10-yard line.
Well, that's just an epitome of how this game has gone. Nothing bad happened. Just things just haven't gone quite as clean for Bishop Garrigan as they usually have.
So we'll see if Garrigan's offense can put a good drive together here to start off the second half. Tate Furch threw 2 touchdown passes in the first half. Ethan Marceau ran for 1 touchdown. Those have been the 3 scores tonight so far for Garrigan. Titans have gotten all 3 of their scores through the air as 2 were to one was to Caleb Sweden, I should say, and 2 were to Jackson Schnell. As Furch comes out in the shotgun on the first play, has Marceau on his right hip. Furch is going to pull down and run it on the draw. Has some space in the middle. He's across the 20, lowers the shoulder, drives his way forward, still chugging the legs, and he's across the 26-yard line. First down run, Tate Furch, a 17-yard gain.
Oh, there is the little Irishman at work there. Great pass fake, throws the linebackers, and then he just goes on the quarterback draw and tucks that ball and protects it, keeps his legs going. They were ripping at that ball, trying to get that ball out of Furch's grasp, but he also wouldn't go down either. He's fighting in there. A great first play to start the half by the Bears.
He went straight into some bigger defenders too, not afraid to challenge them and really drive the legs. Furch will give to Marceau. Marceau runs right side and he has a hole. Marceau across the 35, breaks the tackle to the 40, down the sideline, and there goes Marceau. He's to the 20, runs over a man. He's to the 15-yard line. Why go around the defender when you can go through the defender, Beanie?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't contain myself. That is a highlight reel. He had no business going around that guy. He was going through him. I'd love to see that on film over and over again. Ethan Marceau just putting the stiff arm out and steamrolling the defender in the open field. That's some fun stuff.
Was at the receiving end of some serious punishment from Ethan Marceau.
The best thing about Marceau when he does that is there's no apologies. He's not trying to run around you. He's just going over you. Fantastic.
Well, Bishop Garrigan's inside the Red Power Red Zone, brought to you by the Red Power team in Bancroft, Corwolf, West Bend, and Humboldt. Here is the handoff to Marceau again. Marceau runs left side. This time he's wrapped in the backfield. He's spun around, and it takes 5 Titans to stop him, but they do stop him for a half-yard loss as that team tackling is led by John Krieger.
Yeah, they stopped his forward progress, but he never went down. Marceau clearly came out at halftime ready to roll. Him and Furch, 2 juniors taking care of business so far.
Well, when things were looking bad in the first half for Garrigan and they were down by 10, Marceau was the guy waving to the crowd, hyping the fans up and saying, let's go. And now he's providing that energy on the field as well. He did lose 1 yard, so he's back to the 16 now. 2nd down and 11 for the Golden Bears.
You know, Tyler, I had the pleasure of talking to Grandma Marceau during the JV game. Talk about someone who gets excited about Ethan running over people.
I would imagine as Golden Bears have 2 tight ends, 2 backs. It's a pitch to Sink, running near side. Sink trips forward, he's to the 11-yard line. A nice ankle tackle made by Caleb Sweden, and Golden Bears have 3rd down and medium.
Good vision by Sink there. Saw the blockers, read the blockers well. Again, just kind of snared by an ankle tackle. Grettinger Terrell Titans, very good at snaring ankles there of Trayton Sink as he tries to duck and dive in between blockers to find an opening. But that is a kind of a rough spot there. I thought he got past the 10, but they're going to get the ball at the 11.5.
The Golden Bears and the Titans, 2 of the 10 undefeated teams left in the A-player class. There's going to be at least 2 less after tonight as Remsen St. Mary's and Woodbine, both undefeated, also playing tonight. 3rd down and 7 for the Golden Bears. They fake the pitch, they give it to Marceau, straight for the middle, picks away across the 5, falls forward to the 2-yard line. Golden Bears get enough to move the sticks. They faked the pitch to the right to Sink, and Marceau took it through the middle.
Good play call and good execution by Tate Furch. My eyes went with his arms on the pitch. I thought Sink was going to get it. Tough to fake someone out on a pitch, but Furch faked me out. Marceau gets the ball up the middle. Beautiful.
First down and goal from the 3-yard line. Nate Lear, the tight end on the left side. They'll get to Marceau. Marceau up the middle. Marceau into the end zone. He's not going to go down, folks. Touchdown, Bishop Garrigan. That was an Ethan Marceau drive. His second score of the night, and the Bears have their first lead, 26-24.
And that time, Ethan Marceau doesn't get up and flex or do any crowd hyping. He's just leading by example there. That's the junior elected captain with a team with 13 seniors. That's what his peers think of Ethan Marceau and his ability to play football here. Garrigan going to set up the swinging gate. They're going to kick the PAT because they're down 2. This would make it 1 point. I'm sorry, they are up 2. This would make it a 3-point game. Not that GTRA's got a field goal kicker.
Galligan so far this season, 14 of 17 on PATs. It'll be the senior Sink to hold with the senior Galligan to kick and the senior Drew Mahler to snap the ball. 9:03 left in the third quarter. GTRA was getting ready to come. They're going to fake it. Sink running, holding, reversing field. He wants to throw it. Sink is fading backwards, flips it into the end zone. A jump ball, and the catch is made. The catch is made by Carter Schwab for the 2-point conversion. Trayton Sink on the pass. Carter Schwab on the catch. How about that, Beanie?
Wow. Trayton Sink was running for his life. He waited until the last second and just chucked it up, I thought, to anybody. Anybody going to call on this phone? And Carter Schwab goes up and gets it. Now, Tyler, the referees are talking. Is Carter Schwab an eligible receiver there? Or does it matter on a PAT or what?
I think he was. I think he lined up on the end of the line. I'll have to go back and watch the film on that one, but I believe he lined up on the edge, which would make him an eligible receiver. So that is...
Well, they're giving him the points. Points are on the board. Carter Schwab showing athleticism. We'll say it again this basketball season. The only offensive guard that plays point guard on the basketball team, or off guard, whatever you want to call it, but Carter Schwab getting on the scoreboard with a 2-pointer. He never scores 2-pointers. Only 3s for that guy.
That's right. Give the big men some touchdowns, Golden Bears. Ethan Marceau gets one. Carter Schwab gets one. That's what you love to see.
Boy, talk about...
Well, I should say 2-point conversion for Schwab, but in the end zone. He gets to the end zone.
That's right. Talk about a different Garrigan Bear team coming out here to start the second half. Not a lot of razzle-dazzle, just a lot of authority there.
Well, Beanie, your prediction at halftime is right. Garrigan would run the ball until GTRA stopped it, and they did not stop it. So Golden Bears score the touchdown. They're up 28-24. Here's Galligan kicking it away. He sends it deep. Back deep to receive is Huff. It takes a hop to him. They're going to fake on the reverse to Schnell. Huff has the ball behind his back. Look out. Huff reverses field. He's to the 15. He's across the 20 as he breaks a tackle down the sideline, and Galligan finally wraps him up. Joyce was on that play, but he was well blocked, and eventually a nice tackle by the kicker at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, our man DeLange slowed him down, and Huff ran out of the DeLange tackle. DeLange tried to swipe the ball, didn't get the legs. Boy, scary every time Huff gets the ball, isn't it? So shows you how elusive it is. Now GTRA, they got to answer right away, Tyler, because if Garrigan gets the ball back, they're going to get another dose of what they just had. Because the Garrigan kids, they haven't played a full game yet, but boy, they sure do train hard in the offseason. And they are going to be conditioned to go the distance.
Okay, Casey Huff had a few more pass plays. He completed 63% of his passes last year. He's at 73% this year as he throws to Sweden near side. Sweden hit immediately by Miller and wrapped up after a 2-yard gain. Matt Miller makes another stop, flowing sideline to sideline, and Sweden limited to 2.
Well, Sweden's a little short guy and gets low both on defense and offense, and Miller ends up trying to kind of smother him there. Miller likes to tackle high. Ends up kind of just cocooning Sweden and riding him to the ground.
We'll call it second down and 9. We'll call it a short 9 from the 25-yard line. 8-22 and it ticking for the Titans. Huff in the shotgun, trips to the left for GTRA. Schnell's out wide to the left. Sink giving him a good cushion over there. As Huff's going to flip it out to the left, Schnell makes the catch. He's near the first down sticks. He's dancing along the sideline, and Sink wraps him up and drives him out of bounds with the help of Lichter as a flag comes in late.
I think there's an inadvertent face mask there.
So this would add on extra yardage for GTRA if that is, in fact, called against Garrigan. But that was smart play calling by GTRA. They saw the big cushion Sink was giving Schnell. They sent him out about 6 yards on the route and let him just run the rest of the way for the first down.
Kind of gotten a sandwich there with, I believe, a Lichter
and Sink.
Lichter and Sink, and one of them's hand just kind of got up there and snugged the face mask a little bit. So they're going to wave off the flag. Yeah, I think it really was an Oreo with a Titan in the middle. And both guys, I think there was just hands everywhere, and I think the official said, no, there was really no tug on the face mask there.
No flag, play on, folks. First and 10 from the 37-yard line. 8:07 on the clock as Huff is alone on the backfield. Trips to the right, one receiver to the left. Golden Bears will rush just two. It's a flip out to Schnell. Schnell backs up and catches, and he's drilled in the backfield, and he's knocked out of bounds. Flying in there is Tate Furch. Schnell was too close to the sideline that time and couldn't get back to the middle.
Good read by Madden Miller there. He knew that play was coming. He flew up. He took on two people, two blockers, and that allowed Furch to come in and be the hero, make the big impressive tackle. All right, 2nd and 12, we'll call it. And GTRA, as predicted, is really scrambling here to put some offense together. The Bears defense really making adjustments in the defensive backfield. They've got Michael Joyce now playing deep safety, and Furch and Owen Murphy sync the cornerbacks.
Orbit motion by Schnell. He takes the pitch, running left side. He breaks a tackle. He's down the sideline. He's across the 35, has the first down. They gave it to him on the run that time, using the motion to give him some momentum, and he rumbles his way for a first down.
Well, he is an impressive athlete, is he not? We've seen what he can do in the open field, and that time he gets the ball on the run and shows the same shake and bake ability. Boy, he is a player. GTRA's got to get him in the offense as much as possible.
Titans are digging a couple of pages deep into the playbook of that one as Schnell will now line up to the right side. Huff in the gun. Golden Bears continue to go up the 2 down linemen as they try to contain Huff, the multi-talented threat, running and passing. Malm is just off the line to the right. Orbit motion this time for Dietrich. They fake the pitch. Huff reverses field. He's up the middle. Huff across the 30, spins forward, and he's down to the 26 as he's spun around by Lichter after about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, I'm not doing my job very well here, Tyler. I've neglected to point out that Garrigan's defense has really changed up a lot here. They're going with 2 rushers. They're letting Schwab and Helliseth do all the rushing on the line. Carter McGregor has played most of the season as a nose guard on a 3-man line, but he's barely played tonight because Garrigan has gone with a different defensive look. Just the 2 rushing linemen, everyone else dropping back.
Yeah, you have to match speed. If more speed, Titans will pretty much always use at least 3 wide receivers, if not 4. Right now they have 3. Sweden, the running back on the left hip, now moves to the right hip of Huff, and they're going to motion him over to the right side of the line. Huff is now by himself in the backfield. Golden Bears rush 2 again. It's a pitch to the right, and Sweden is drilled immediately on the catch. He is driven out of bounds by Madden Miller, who's flying around and pumping his fists. A 1-yard gain by the Titans, and it's 3rd and 5.
You know, Madden Miller, he gets so pumped up after a big play. I don't remember seeing that energy in the classroom, Tyler. Some of these guys, I think, just like the sports.
He's saving it for what really matters, Beanie, the football gridiron on Friday night.
I'm just teasing the young sophomore on the air here. It's fun stuff as the Garrigan defense is all looking at the sidelines now. They're looking for answers from the coaches, and they're getting them. This defensive adjustment is working so far. They're bending, but they haven't broken yet.
Trips to the left for GTRA. Titans are down by 4. Back to throw is Huff. Golden Bears bring 3 this time. He steps forward, and he throws incomplete over the middle as that ball is grounded in front of the intended receiver. He couldn't find Malm as the rush got to Huff that time. 4th down and 5.
Well, they changed it up. They brought a little heat there. Marshall came in off the edge. Marshall getting blocked after the call, and Coach Kesselring still riding the official about it. You know, they had played a game in the homecoming skits the other day. They asked the coaches, they asked the players, the coaches questions. They asked the players which coach is most likely to get mad at the refs. Guess who put his hand up?
Kesselring?
He put his own hand up right away.
He volunteered. He said, "That was me." 2 receivers on each side. It's 4th and 5. Crowd making some noise here behind the Garrigan Bear defense. Back to throw is Huff. Huff lobs it near side. Man wide open. Sweden makes the grab, and he's going in. Touchdown, GTRA. A breakdown in coverage, and Sweden has the 2nd touchdown catch of the night.
What a magical pass by Huff. I don't know how he found him. The heat was coming from the defensive line of Garrigan. He was about to get drilled, and he somehow had the vision to see his compadre running for the end zone and got the ball to him. What a play by Casey Huff of the Titans. Fantastic quarterback there.
That is our 2nd lead change so far for the 3rd quarter. So the Titans are back in front, 30-28. What a ball by Casey Huff. What a catch by Caleb Sweden, who now has 8 touchdown catches on the season, or make that 4 touchdown catches on the season with his 2 tonight. Now it's a 2-point conversion try for the Titans. They've gotten them all so far tonight. Huff is back to throw. Huff rolls to the right side. Helseth pursuing him. The throw to the end zone is caught by Sweden. 2-point conversion as the feet went out from underneath Lichter. He slipped on the grass, and Sweden makes the grab. It's 32-28.
Wow, it looked like Lichter was in perfect position. I thought he might intercept that ball, and suddenly he hits the deck. I think there might have been a little push off there or whatever had happened. The Bears just can't seem to stop these 2-point conversions. That GTRA has taken the lead with us 2-point conversions once again. Boy, Tyler, I'm getting whiplash with this momentum going back and forth in this game.
Yeah, back and forth, and Casey Huff, now 4 touchdown passes tonight. He has 18 touchdowns compared to 1 pick this season, and we don't see this often with Golden Bear games. A lot of times it's a defensive game when 2 great teams are playing, and whoever scores next is going to win. This might be one of those games where whoever makes the first stop is going to win.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I'm just impressed how Casey Huff is able to extend plays and then find receivers that I think Garrigan has otherwise covered. Every big pass he's made, the Garrigan coverage has been very good right up to the point where it's not. And Huff finds someone that's wide open, just keeping the play alive. Very impressive. Now, I just keep thinking these D-backs are just one play away from getting that interception or breaking up that pass. But Huff continues to put the ball right on the money. GTRA going to kick that ball again. Murphy deep. He's got the ability to take one to the house. A special teams play might be another thing that flips this game.
Well, Golden Bears only sending 1 deep returner back as Hayden Gilmore will kick it away again, left to right. He sends it deep. Murphy can return this one. He catches at the 14-yard line. Murphy up the middle to the 20. He's the 25, and he trips forward. Nice tackle by GTRA as Murphy is going to be out to the 27-yard line.
Well, talk about a gut check for both teams. 5:50 to go in the third quarter. 32-28 Titans here on the Bears' home field on homecoming night. Big gut check for the Bears here. Are they going to finish this game out in a special way? You know, you work so hard all offseason. It's hard to imagine how fast these games go by, but this clock at this point in the time for these young men just starts to move incredibly fast.
It's been a playoff atmosphere so far tonight. A great crowd and a great game. GTRA up by 4. A draw to Ethan Marceau. Big time hole up the middle. Marceau across the 40. It's a 4-race to the 30. He's to the 20. He's a stiff arm to the 10. 5. Trying to tiptoe the sideline as he's out of bounds. Marceau out of bounds inside the 5. He stiff arms Jackson Schnell. Tried to tightrope the sidelines and almost dove to the end zone, but a huge field flipping run again by Marceau, who's having a massive night.
Wow, that hole opened up. Kudos to the line. They opened up a hole for Marceau, and he was off to the races, showing that sprinter speed. He does run the sprint relays in the track season, your favorite sport, Tyler, and shows his sprinter speed there. That stiff arm almost got him in the end zone, but he was dancing the tightrope along the sidelines, and his left foot just touched that white paint a little bit, and unfortunately the referees were right there to see it.
When Marceau gets going downhill, it's a scary sight, and he's broken a couple of big runs so far tonight. Now the Golden Bears go for some power here. They'll hand off to Sink. Sink trying to plunge for the middle, and he is knocked down. Sink got about 1 yard, and Garrigan got a little bunched up inside that time, and second down and goal from the 4.
Yeah, that was another situation here where Garrigan has not looked clean tonight. That was kind of a broken play, and Furch was barking out some orders afterwards, not happy with how his team ran that one. Did not go correctly. Unless it was Furch's fault, but in that case, he made everyone believe it was everyone else's fault. Good job by Furch on his acting skills there.
2nd and 4 from the 4-yard line. Golden Bears have to score a touchdown here. Hand off to Sink. Sink running right side. He's tripped up again. He's tripped up after maybe a 1-yard gain as GTRA went low, and he tripped over the bodies along the grass field over there. We'll call it 3rd down and goal from the 3-yard line.
Well, to my unrefined eyes, that looked like the exact same play. Didn't run it right the first time. They're going to run it right the second time. But here we are. 3rd down is the 3rd time the charm here as Garrigan started this drive with the big Marceau run. Now GTRA has adjusted. They've got 8 players in the box here.
Golden Bears will try the same formation again. Will it be the same play? No, it's a pitch. Marceau's leading the way. Sink trying to get to the outside, and he's in for a touchdown. Trayton Sink crosses the plane. The Golden Bears respond. They're back in front. That's our 3rd lead change of the 3rd quarter, and it's 34-32 Golden Bears.
Yes, another pat on the helmet there goes to Rosemeyer along with Marceau. Rosemeyer running well on that tight end position. He's blocking 2 people along the way with his legs. He's very fast and strong, and no one could get around Rosemeyer. You put Marceau out there between Rosemeyer and Marceau. All Sink had to do was turn on the jets and race for the pylon.
GTRA has gotten every 2-point conversion. Garrigan's missed on a couple of tonight, but now they'll try to get a 2-point conversion right here to go up by 4. It's 34-32. Golden Bears have Marceau and Sink in the backfield as they try to get lined up. They'll put Lear, the tight end, on the right side. That's Nate Lear. Rosemeyer, the other tight end, on the left side, and Furch under center. He will fake to Sink. He'll boot out to the left side. Has 2 men wide open, and Marceau makes the easy catch in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. He could have thrown it to Rosemeyer or Marceau. He got it to Marceau, and the Bears are up by 4. 36-32 with 4:30 left in the 3rd on KLGZ 98.5 FM and AM 1600.
When you need cash on the go, there's no need to pay a surcharge fee with MoneyPass. Iowa State Bank is proud to be part of the MoneyPass network of surcharge-free ATMs found nationwide. Look for the green and blue MoneyPass symbol on over 32,000 ATMs across the nation. Or find an ATM near your vacation spot or travel destination at MoneyPass.com. MoneyPass, another way that Iowa State Bank helps people succeed. Member FDIC.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown Home Country Radio.
CB Grain Solutions, satisfaction guaranteed.
Dump It, Kossuth County's local and reliable waste service provider for commercial and residential customers.
Albert Electric, flip the switch to Albert Electric.
Billy Offerman, your State Farm agent in Algona. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Greg Penning and Company, certified public accountants where everyone counts.
Daylight Donuts, open early with delicious donuts and great coffee.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
3 lead changes so far in the third quarter as the Trayton Sink rushing touchdown gives Bishop Garrigan a 36-32 lead over GTRA in a battle of 2 undefeated teams in this 8-player class. Brady Galligan to kick the football away for the Bears. He kicks it bouncing over the field. It rolls all the way back to Huff, who fields at the 9-yard line. Huff is going to keep it himself. He'll run left side. Huff has a seam. He's to the 20. Tries to spin to the outside. He falls forward to the 30-yard line, and he has a good return. Casey Huff weaving with that slippery running, and he gets GTRA a good starting field position.
Yeah, he is slippery, but Bears have got to find a way to hem those guys in. They're getting down the field. They're staying in their lanes, but, you know, all that technique and coaching is all well and good. Someone's got to make the tackle. And that's the ultimate goal there. Bring that guy to the turf. Well, Tyler, what'd you say a few minutes ago? The first team to get a stop might win this game?
That's very possible, and it's looking more and more like it. 4:22 left in the third quarter. Garrigan has scored twice in the second half. This is GTRA's second drive. Look up to Sweden. Sweden coming near side. He's to the 31-yard line, and a great ankle tackle by Furch. Sweden never could get to the edge, and Furch flying in, making a stop after a 1-yard gain.
Well, that one was a little like the kickoff. There are a lot of bodies there, but I was waiting. Is someone going to tackle that guy? He strung that play out forever. It was going to the sideline again and again and again, and finally we knife in there and make the tackle. But GTRA continuing to show off a very extensive playbook. I don't think they've run the same play twice except for those big touchdowns throw to Shell, who once again is going out wide. Trayton Sink one-on-one with him this time.
Casey Huff back to throw. It's a 2-man rush. Bull rush for Garrigan, but they got too far up the field. Huff escapes to the right. Great block by Hansen. Huff jumps over man, and then he gets popped. A flag comes in as Marceau put a big hit on. Huff's out to the 35-yard line, but we'll check that flag coming from behind the play.
A lot of the refs are talking. The players are talking. I see a lot of good sportsmanship. Schwab's talking to Huff. It's always fun in the modern day and age. The kids know so much about sports.
And it's going to be a personal foul on GTRA. I think that might have been some sort of crackback block or something behind the play.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think that's the sign for a crackback block. Someone got smoked. You can't do a crackback block. Can't hit a defenseless player when he doesn't see you coming. And that's going to be a huge penalty because that's going to march off a big chunk of yards, making this 2nd and a quarter mile here for GTRA. That's going to help Garrigan get this stop. But, Tyler, I was watching the D-backs there. Guess who beat the defense once again?
I'm going to guess it was Schnell.
It was Schnell. He was behind the Garrigan defense, and the only reason it's not a score for GTRA is because the defensive line flushed Huff out of the pocket. But Garrigan has got to lock down that Schnell, who, when he splits wide on the wide side of the field, they have to give him some cushion. Don't let him get deep.
GTRA has 2 receivers over to the right side, 2 to the left. Huff rolls to the right. He's got time. He lobs down the field looking for Schnell, and it's incomplete as he threw it into the sideline. Physical coverage by Tate Furch, but that ball was also thrown about 3 yards out of bounds.
And that was Furch, Joyce, and Miller all getting back on defense. And I'll say it as it is. Garrigan may have gotten away with some holding there, and no flag called. And we'll take it. Take the breaks when you can get them, because now it's going to be 3rd and 20.
3rd and 21 from the 19-yard line for GTRA. They have to get it across midfield in order to pick up a first down. So Garrigan's got to make sure they have Schnell accounted for here, because Schnell's the one guy who can really beat you down the field at any given moment. He's going to split out to the left with Malm. Over to the right side is Dietrich, and in the backfield is Sweden, joined by his quarterback Huff. Sweden on the right hip of Huff as he'll take the snap. Golden Bears rush 2. Hellstuff comes stumbling through. They'll throw a screen to Sweden. Off his hands, incomplete. Schwab had that sniffed out anyways, but Sweden couldn't haul it in, and it's 4th down. Titans have to punt.
Great read by Schwab. Boy, Coach Kesselring was down there deep couldn't scream at his D-backs loud enough to get further back, give more of a cushion. Michael Joyce was 30 yards deep, and Kesselring kept saying even deeper. Trayton Sink was the one on Schnell, and he was saying get deeper, and don't want to get beat deep. And they succeed here. GTRA going to punt deep to Owen Murphy.
Owen Murphy has his heels at the 30-yard line, lined up on the near side hash as Casey Huff will punt it away. Huff rolls out to the right. He unloads a line drive kick back to Murphy in the middle of the field, takes a high hop at the 30, and it takes a friendly Garrigan roll as GTRA dives on top of it. Sweden covers the ball up at the 32-yard line, and now a chance to go up by 2 possessions. Titans had a 2-possession lead earlier at 24-14. Garrigan now can get a 2-possession lead of a touchdown here.
Boy, these punts by the Titans have been line drives, really, really low. I wouldn't be shocked if one of those punts ends up going off the backside of one of their own players one of these days, or a helmet.
Well, Garrigan gave GTRA a steady dive at Ethan Marshall on the last drive. We'll see what they decide this drive. Titans last game defeated Harris Lake Park 58-8. They held HLP to just 48 yards rushing and 1.8 yards per carry, but this Garrigan team a different animal. Furch is in the gun, has Sink on his left hip. He lifts the right leg, and he'll give to Sink. Sink straight for the middle, and he stood up. He is stood up by Malm as he tries to fight his way forward anyways, but that play is not going to go far, maybe 1.5 yards.
Well, and Johnny on the spot this whole game has been Landon Dietrich. He was actually the first one on the ground around the ankles of Sink. He gets really low, submarines, and has been getting the ankles of Sink all night. As this, Sink still picks up, too, with some good hard running there. It looked like it was going to be a play for nothing as Garrigan goes away from that I formation and are going with their different shotgun set with Sink on the left-hand side of Furch.
Sink will get the handoff, and he slips in the backfield and falls down. Malm falls on his back, and Sink will lose half a yard there, setting up 3rd and about 8.
He tried to cut, and his left foot just kind of slipped, and he went down. Comes out frustrated, gets a water bottle, and going to tune himself up to get back in there again. So typically, Lichter has come in to replace Sink as he's going to get stretched out. Might have cramped up a little bit. I thought he was favoring his right leg a little bit. He's going to get stretched out by Moose.
And Trayton Sink, homecoming king this week for Bishop Garrigan, and a king on the football field as well, with now 17 rushing touchdowns, if you count for the one earlier tonight. Furch is by himself in the gun. GTRA brings pressure. Here comes Sweden. Furch escapes to the right. He's going to pull it down and run. Furch to the 40, gets drilled along the sideline as the ball popped out and went backwards out of bounds. Furch did not appear to get the first down, and there's a Titan lying flat on his face along the far side of the field. That was a big collision as Furch has taken some big hits tonight, and also he's given some big hits.
Well, you could see that collision coming because Furch was trying to get the first down. If it wasn't a 3rd down and he had another down to get that first, Furch might have just gone out of bounds, but he wanted to pick up that first down and created a big collision there on the sideline.
And Furch is down as well on the GTRA bench. Didn't see him initially because he's buried back there amongst a wall of white jerseys, but we've got one Titan down who we have not identified yet, and Tate Furch also down for the Bears as well. So that collision took out a couple of guys over there.
Boy, it was a big collision. I wonder if they hit heads. Perhaps, yeah, both helmets are coming off. They're helping Furch up. They took the helmet off the GTRA guy. Could be some big-time bell ringing. And Furch is definitely going to have to sit out a play here. We've seen C.J. McGregor take a lot of snaps at QB so far this year, but we're going to have some time here because the GTRA Titan player is still down getting attended to.
So while they do that, we will step aside for a quick timeout. We'll step aside for a quick couple of messages on KLGZ, Home Country Radio, 1:49 left in the 3rd quarter.
High school sports on Hometown and Home Country Radio, brought to you by these fine sports club members.
American Glass. For all your glass needs, think American.
Farm Bureau Financial Agents Dave Beisch, Daniel Foth, and Michael Tull.
Chemco Tires. They're all you need to know about tires and service.
Wykert Realtors, the 515 Agency, a fresh approach to real estate.
Grassmasters. Growing satisfied customers.
Iowa Lakes Community College, your community, your college.
Glenn's Green Thumb. From a small seed, something beautiful will grow.
All bringing you this game on the radio.
As we come back here on Home Country Radio KLGZ, it was Tate Furch and Landon Dietrich colliding on a massive collision. Tate Furch did not get the first down. Both players are banged up, and now we'll have to set out a play. 4th and 3 from the 40-yard line for Garrigan.
Yeah, talk about a huge 4th down. They're right at midfield. They're right at the 40-yard line, midfield in the 8-player game, and this is a huge play. They're going to go for it on 4th and 2. Joyce is coming in with the play.
6 seconds on the play clock as Joyce is underneath center. Michael Joyce barking out the hard count. Joyce trying to get them to jump, and they do not jump. Garrigan tries to call a timeout, and they did get it off before the end of the play clock. So now the question is, was Garrigan just trying to get them to jump, and will they punt now, or will they line up again and go for it?
Boy, I don't know. Tyler, I love to roll the dice, and I think Coach Wiley does too. I think he's going to say, this is 4th and 2, home field, midfield, minute 18 to go in the third quarter. We got a guy named Ethan Marceau in our backfield. We're going to pick up this first down and show some authority. But gambling is risky.
It is, but now if my understanding of the rules is correct, if Furch is okay, if you use a timeout, he can now come back into the game because he used a timeout, I believe. So, again, we'll see. Furch has his helmet on the sidelines, and we'll see what the play is here for the Golden Bears. 4th and 3 from the 40-yard line, and a 36-32 lead.
Furch looks fresh as a daisy, but he could just be faking it because everyone knows that if you get your bell rung a little bit and you want to stay in the game, you better look like you're fine. So he's dancing around out there, but Joyce staying in the game. I do not see Furch.
Say, perhaps my understanding of the rules is not correct.
No, well, yeah, you know, maybe they just want to make sure this guy's okay. Coach Wiley's got Furch on his right hand right now talking to him. And are they going to go for it? Joyce behind under center. Double tight end, Marceau in the backfield.
GTRA packing line of scrimmage. They pitch near side, looking for Marceau, and he's tripped up. Or check that was Lichter. He's tripped up in the backfield, and a huge stop by GTRA. Titans came knifing in there and blow that play up for no gain. Lichter cannot get the first down, and now the Titans have great field position at the 39-yard line.
Oh, they only made it back to the line of scrimmage. Good pitch by Joyce. The backup quarterback came in. First time I've seen him play quarterback all year. But choosing to pitch the ball back 6 yards, that means Lichter's got to get 6 yards plus the 2 you need, and that gives a lot of time for this fast team of GTRA to get to the ball. So the risk does not pay off.
Well, Furch is back in the game on defense as he's in coverage to the near side against Tegan Hansen. Back to throw Casey Huff, throws a screen out to Schnell. Schnell trying to get to the middle of the field. He breaks one tackle, and he swims forward for a 3-yard gain. Garrigan had that pretty well contained as Schnell couldn't break loose.
Well, that was unfortunate that Garrigan could not capitalize on that drive. That was a chance to, they got the defensive stop. It was their chance to take control of the game. They're up 36-32 towards the end of the third quarter, 50 seconds and counting. Had they been able to get that first down, oh, that would have boded well for the rest of the game. Now, there's a lot of pressure on the defense to keep GTRA out twice in a row, which would be something to a team that scores 60-some points a game.
Well, GTRA made a stop and Garrigan made a stop. Both teams made one stop in the second half as Huff is back to throw. Schwab coming off the edge of the throw right side to Schnell, and that time blanketed by Joyce. Nice job blocking on the left side by Krager as he had Schwab contained, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8.
Well, Joyce summons the who, and he won't get fooled again there. That time he step for step, doesn't get beat deep. Watching Schnell the whole time playing the body. Now this Joyce, just a young player here, just a sophomore. Now he gets his body turned around the next time they run that play. He's going to intercept that ball and start running the other way.
Ball's at the 37-yard line as GTRA has to get the ball to the 29. We have 26 seconds left in the third quarter. This has been a classic game so far. 36-32 Bishop Garrigan. 2 receivers out to the right for the Titans, 1 to the left, and Huff is in the gun. Casey Huff back to throw. Huff looking, holding, firing. Has Dietrich open, but he missed him. Dietrich coming across the field to the near side, and Huff couldn't find him. 4th down and 8.
Big hold there by the Garrigan defense. Now forcing 4th down. GTRA in 4th down territory in this 8-man game. The defensive backs aren't celebrating yet because they know each play is a dangerous one with Casey Huff in the backfield there. Marceau getting signals from the sideline. This is the time, Tyler, where it's time for Schwab or Heliseth, the only 2 guys Garrigan's been rushing this whole game. It's time for one of those guys to get through and make the big sack of the game. We need a Hy-Vee sack right now.
Golden Bears will have Schwab and Heliseth, their lone 2 defensive linemen, and there will be a timeout called with a 4th and 8 coming up. Titans will take the timeout here before we go to the 4th quarter and before they run this 4th and 8 play. With 22 seconds left in the quarter, we will keep it right here. And that is Coach Huff on the GTRA side, realizing what a huge play this is in the ball game. You got great field position. Your defense got you off the field on a 4th down and 3, and now you've got to find a way to capitalize on offense. Now, a 4th down stop isn't a turnover, but it kind of feels like one. Garrigan turned it over once early in the game. GTRA turned that into a touchdown. Now, can they turn a 4th down stop into a touchdown as well?
Boy, it does sure feel like it. Every time your team doesn't get these 4th down conversion, it feels like a big momentum swing. I'll tell you, these linemen are playing really hard for both teams here. But there's going to be a moment here in this game where the line for Garrigan pulls a switch. Marceau comes on a blitz. That's going to be a chance for Garrigan to blow up this play. I think it's coming right now, Tyler.
So 4th down and 8. What the offense dials up will be fascinating, but what the defense dials up will be fascinating as well. Does everyone drop back? Do they bring a blitz? How do they defend this play? Ball's at the 37-yard line of Bishop Garrigan as GTRA has it. They'll send Dietrich and Schnell out to the right side. One receiver to left, and Sweden, the running back, on the right hip of Huff. Huff back to throw. Garrigan rushes to Huff. Clean pocket. He steps forward. Eyes down the field. He flips it near side, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. Matt Miller. Great coverage. He was covering Casey Huff. That was actually Tegan Hansen who threw the ball, and Matt Miller with the coverage stops GTRA on 4th down. Hansen might have been better off just pulling that down and running it as back-to-back 4th down stops.
Great job by the sophomore, Madden Miller. Huff went downfield and tied up with Madden Miller. They started hand fighting there as Madden Miller gets a big high five from his teammates, and that hand fighting resulted in a pass incompletion. Immediately, Huff turns to the referees and say, hey, I was being interfered with the whole time by Madden Miller, but he initiated the contact, and the referee's going to let that go.
So on 4th down, they put Huff in as a wide receiver, and it doesn't work out. Now Garrigan has the ball, 15 seconds left in the third, and a 4-point lead. His line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line. Handoff goes to Marceau. Marceau, big hole left side. He's to the 35, to the 30, down the sideline, dishing out punishment again. He's to the 22-yard line. Ethan Marceau is taking this game over.
I have been trying to figure out how Marceau's getting through that line, and now I figured it out. Caden Graves, the center, is getting an excellent seal block, and that time it was Nate Lear. Nate Lear throws a beautiful block as he comes across and opens up a little seam there. Heliseth, Schwab, Lear, and Caden Graves going to get a steak dinner from Marceau later on.
And the third quarter is over. 36-32, Bishop Garrigan, 12 minutes of football left on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
For over 40 years, Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons have maintained one mission: to provide excellence in orthopedic care. Their team of 9 physicians offers specialized care in everything from arthroscopic same-day surgery to joint replacement, as well as hand and foot surgery, and have an orthopedic surgeon on call 24/7. Healthcare isn't about appointments, it's about taking care of people, and that's their specialty. Visit Northwest Iowa Bone, Joint, and Sports Surgeons on the web at nwiabone.com.
Where you bank matters. Hi, I'm Sherry Bacon at Security State Bank, and we're relationship bankers. We get to know our customers and understand their financial needs. We're locally owned and operated, which means family, community, and service always comes first. So come to Security State Bank. We'll treat you like family. Security State Bank in Algona, Burt, and Laverne. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Security State Bank.
What a game it's been so far. Bishop Garrigan 36, GTRA 32 as we head to the 4th quarter. Ethan Marceau gobbling up yardage on the ground right now. 1st and 10 from the 22. It's a quarterback run by Furch. He goes to the left side. He's off the edge, and he's down to the 15. Tate Furch inside the Red Power red zone picks up 7 yards on the 1st down carry.
Well, we should note Furch has fully recovered from that big hit he took just about 5 minutes ago on the sideline. He's looking good here running the ball there, fresh as can be. Now Garrigan's got a whole quarter here to run that football. They're going to run it until they have to pass, I believe. And is this the moment where we start to see that GTRA defense get worn down?
2nd down and 4 from the 15-yard line, 11:26 in ticking. As Furch goes underneath center, he'll give it to Marceau. Marceau trying to cut to the left side, and he's tripped up. He falls forward, and he's near the sticks. I think he got the 1st down, and he did. Marceau got just enough. He needed 4. He got 4.
Good blocking again by Lear and Graves and Schwab there on that left-hand side of the line, letting Marceau sneak through there. Good adjustment by the Bear coaching staff. That play by Marceau that he's been getting yards is not the typical trap play we've seen. I think they put a little wrinkle in at halftime. I'll have to talk to the coaches about that later. Well done.
Bishop Garrigan moving throughout the red zone. Ball's at the 11-yard line as Furch calls out the signals. One tight end on each side of the line. If Nate Lear on the left side and Rosenmeyer on the right side. They'll give to Sink. Sink blown up at the line of scrimmage. Still fights forward though. Almost broke loose as Huff jumped on his back. 4-yard gain for Trayton Sink, who got out of a straitjacket at that time and gained positive yardage.
I don't know how he did that. It looked like Sink was going down at the line of scrimmage. Ends up picking up 4. Wow, that was a magical run there by Trayton. That's the hardest 4 yards he's earned all season. And hey, they're big. This is a big, big drive for Garrigan. They're up 4 points, 36-32 in the 4th quarter, 10-18 and change. And GTRA, Tyler, they're getting that look that we saw last year so many times. Those defensive linemen are looking a little worn down, hands on their knees. They don't want to see this Marceau guy running at him anymore.
And Garrigan having trouble getting the right guys on the field. Joyce comes in, Sink comes out. They get the play off. They give to Marceau. Marceau tripped up in the backfield, and he still fights forward. He broke the initial tackle, and he got 2 yards on the play. Sweden had him dead to rights in the backfield, but Marceau pulled his leg out from Sweden's ankle tackle.
Sweden said, hey, why didn't the whistle blow? I tackled him there. He really did get the Marceau ankles, but Marceau put his arm out and kept his knees off the ground, yanked those ankles out, and kept his momentum going. That's great balance there by the big Marceau.
3rd down for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. They have 3rd and 6. They can get to the 1 yard line and pick up a 1st down as the line of scrimmage is the 7. Joyce to the wide side of the field to the right. Furch in the gun. He has Marceau on his hip. He'll keep it himself. Furch looking for space, dives forward inside the 5 yard line, but he did not get the 1st down. He needed the 1 yard line, and he got to about the 4. So now a big 4th down and goal situation coming up for the Bears.
Oh, wow. Furch wanted to race to the outside, but he saw John Krieger for the Titans there staring him eyeball to eyeball and didn't think he could win a foot race to the corner. So he cut it upfield, and good job by setting the edge there by John Krieger of the Titans. But this is a huge 4th down play. What do they have dialed up? They're going to call timeout and talk about it. That's how big they think this play is.
36-32 Bishop Garrigan, a timeout called. We'll take a quick timeout as well. Back in 30 seconds on KLGZ and the Algona Radio YouTube stream.
Thank you to these Sports Club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
The Wrenchman Truck and Trailer Repair, full-service repair shop in West Bend.
Tango Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Algona Chiropractic Clinic, it's your future. Let's make it healthy together.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona's senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840.
All bringing you this ball game.
A big call coming up here for the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears. 4th down and 3 yards to go from the 4 yard line of GTRA. Garrigan clinging to a 4-point lead, but every stop on defense feels huge, and if GTRA could get a stop here on 4th down, once again, that would keep them in this ball game. Otherwise, Garrigan goes up by 2 scores, and then Titans really have to chase points.
This is a tough call if you're the offensive coordinator making the call here. You got a lot of plays you could go to. So it's such a big one. You want to go with something you got a lot of confidence in. Garrigan is going to keep 2 tight ends, no wide receivers, so there's no slant here. Furch is moving people around, and now they're going to have an illegal procedure called on him.
Oh, man. Garrigan just had trouble getting lined up that time, and they were trying to align in a different formation where Rosenmeyer would be the right guard, and one of the normal offensive guards would be an eligible receiver. There was something fancy coming up there for Garrigan, but they didn't get lined up right.
Furch was moving Helliseth over to the left side to go double tight end, and I think they were going to have Schwab be an eligible receiver again. And now, boy, this changes everything. Now it's 4th down, goal to go from about the 9.
Ball's at the 9 yard line. Bears have 4th down and 8. So they can get a 1st down without a touchdown, but essentially you need a touchdown here. It's going to be hard to get to just the 1 yard line.
They're looking discombobulated here. Still looking confused as they hustle up the line as play clock's down to 10.
Couple of plays this drive. Garrigan's had trouble getting lined up. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Marceau moving to the left hip of Tate Furch. 4 seconds on the play clock. Furch gets the snap off. He's back to throw. Free-man rush. Furch escapes to the left as the pocket was crumbling. Buying time, thrown to the end zone. Joyce opening, makes the grab for a touchdown. Schnell fell down, and Joyce makes the catch. Tate Furch extending the play, and Garrigan's up by 10 with 8:35 left in the 4th.
Well, Michael Joyce was running around out there. He was going left. He was going right. He was trying to shake the playground open. Schnell was all over him, and finally Schnell slips, and Furch keeps it alive long enough. Oh, boy. Schnell has burned Joyce earlier in this game, but now here in the 4th quarter, Joyce gets the last laugh as he shakes Schnell loose for a big, big touchdown to put Garrigan up 10.
If the temperature's cooling off, we've seen a few players slip on the grass tonight, and that was a big slip there. Now a 2-point conversion attempt. Furch is in the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. He's back to throw. Quarterback drop the middle. Furch breaks the tackle, spins into the end zone. 2-point conversion. They didn't wrap him up. He escaped, and he got into the end zone as Garrigan Garrigan's up by 12, their largest lead of the night.
I thought Furch was going down, but he does a nifty spin move. He shakes loose his right leg, which was all wrapped up, and he just yanks it out of the hands of the tackler, spins free, runs back for the 2-point conversion. Beautiful football there by the Bears. 2 fantastic drives here in the second half for scores. They've scored 3. GTRA's got 1 score since halftime. So 3-1 on the second half scores. Bears continue to show that they are the second half team.
Boy, wasn't that the identity of this team all throughout last year, especially in the playoffs. You look at the way they trailed in several of those playoff games late. That included a game at the Dome against Winfield Mount Union. They trailed at halftime here today, 24-14, and now they've turned this game around. 44-32 Bishop Garrigan in this top 10 battle between 2 of the 10 unbeaten teams left in the 8-player class. This has felt like a playoff game all night long, Beanie, and boy, the Garrigan Bears have made the plays when it's counted so far.
Oh, this is pretty fun. And like we talked earlier, these starters have not gotten to play a full game yet this season, so I'm happy they're getting to play 4 quarters here. And you know, I don't see any of these reserves on the sideline begging for the coaches to think and get in the game. This is a big game, and this is an upper level game. They're not ready for this level yet. Those freshmen and JV guys are going to bide their time on the bench.
Garrigan kicks it away, end over end, balls down the middle of the field as it'll deaden at the 15. Huff's got to pick it up. He's looking for space to go, and he can go nowhere. Golden Bears put him in a cage at the 15-yard line. That ball just deadened. Huff had to sprint up and get it, and then nowhere to escape, right or left as the Bears contained him.
Whew, finally, that is how you corral a good kick returner. You deaden that ball, everyone surround that guy, nowhere to go. Finally, that's a breath of fresh air, Tyler, because, you know, Huff has the ability to return that kick all the way, and then we'd be looking at a 44-40 game with 8:30 to go. As it is, 44-32, 8:30 left to go in the game.
You'd feel a lot better against other teams, but GTRA can score so quickly. 8:31 still seems like an eternity, even though it's a 12-point game. Huff, empty backfield, he's throwing. Here comes Schwab. Huff runs out to the right as Schwab falls down. Huff trying to turn the corner. He gets 11 yards, and he has the first down, scrambling into the GTRA sideline and avoiding the defense.
Hey, that is a great play by Huff. I don't know if they called that, but they put Schnell clear out wide, and you know what that means? He's going deep. Tate Furch was on him, and he sure did go deep, but the Bears have made an adjustment. They've put Michael Joyce as a deep safety, so nobody can get behind. But that meant that there was a whole lot of real estate over there on the right, because that one D-back is back. Huff immediately takes off and had all kinds of room to run.
Huff ran for 591 yards and 10 touchdowns last season. With his total rushing tonight, he should be over 600 on this season as he's in the gun right now. Huff back to throw. It's a free-man rush. He steps forward and he escapes to the left side. Huff across the 30 trying to outrun Marceau, and he's forced to the sidelines at the 32-yard line.
Oh,
and a late flag. Huff was contacted over there, and this is going to go against Bishop Garrigan. Marceau was running step for step of Huff trying to chase him down, and Huff just escaped into the Garrigan bench.
I think it was mostly in the intent there. That was a bad play by Garrigan. Huff was clearly running for his life. Marceau was right behind him, and he was just trying as hard as he could to get to the sideline. It was either Sink or Halaseth, I can't remember which one, but they put their hands on him out of bounds. It wasn't a hard hit, but you just don't do that. He was clearly sacrificing his body, trying to get out of bounds. You don't even nudge him out of bounds. You just let him sacrifice himself. Now they're in great field position after that 15-yard walk-off.
Well, what's lost in that play, Marshall, the linebacker, was so fast. He was truly running step for step of Huff, because normally against most teams, Huff turns it upfield, and that's a bigger gain. Now he's back to throw. He's scrambling again, and he's escaping left side. Marceau grabs his ankles and knocks him down. That's a 4-yard gain for Huff, but once again, against a lot of other teams, you're escaping, you're getting a lot more, but Marceau's just really flowing sideline to sideline.
Yeah, Marceau's job right now is just to watch Huff, and it's going to be Marceau versus Huff here this whole drive, as GTRA is content to run all the receivers deep, hoping something opens up, and then let Huff run for it when nothing does. So that's it's mano-y-mano, Marceau versus Huff when that happens. But now with 2nd down and 7, they're going to actually run a little offense here.
Ball's at the 29-yard line of 7:41 and rolling on the clock. Trey Bunch to the right side. Huff steps forward through pressure, spins away from Halaseth. He hangs onto the jersey, though, and down in the backfield goes Huff. He loses 2 yards, a high V sack for the Golden Bears, and it's 3rd and 8.
There we go, Keaton Halaseth. We've been needing that for many minutes here. Let Huff hit the dirt here without picking up a big gain.
That is credited to Halaseth. That'll go as his 8th sack of the season, as he was hanging on by that undershirt that's underneath the jersey. And if he had one of those old tearaways, he would have been escaping.
That's right. All right, clock continues to tick. 7 minutes left here in the game. 44-32 Bears.
Titans will throw. Huff out to the right side, throws back across his body, and a diving catch by Sweden. Did he get his hand underneath? Yes, he did. First down to the 22-yard line. He needed 8. He got 9 as Sweden cradled the football.
Well, there's some disagreement between the two stands here. GTRA fans say yes, a catch. The Golden Bears fans say, of course, that's not a catch. That's what you would expect on a play like that, but Sweden did a good job of getting his arms underneath and selling it.
Now 6:45 left as the Titans are on the brink of the red zone. Hansen splits out to the left wide side of the field. Huff, he's going to run to the right. Young in front of him. Huff trying to get a burst of speed. He escapes the tackle of Furch. He gets to the sideline, and they'll run the clock, but he got inside the 20-yard line and gained about 4.
Well, Furch swept the legs out from underneath Huff, and somehow he got his feet back underneath and kept going for 3 more yards. What an athlete this Casey Huff is. He's been showing it this whole game here, and he's leading his team down the field. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the game. Bears are up 2 scores, and the defense doesn't just want to stop here to win the game. They want to stop for a sense of pride here. They've stopped them twice this half. Want to get them again.
Trey Bunch to the right side and Dietrich to the left. Huff is looking Dietrich's way, but he's hit the backfield and he's knocked down. Carter Schwab got him. And Huff back behind the initial line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Well, what a great play by Schwab. He jumped up to get his hands in the air and tried to block what looked like was going to be a pass, and he didn't give up. Huff faked the pass, and then Schwab went right down low and wrapped up his legs. Good, persistent continuing by Schwab and Hellseth. Boy, we talked about it, Tyler. We knew that those guys were going to make something happen eventually. They're workhorses, and it's been nothing but Schwab and Hellseth this whole game. No breaks, only 2 defensive linemen trying to get at Huff all day. They finally did.
A couple of sacks on this drive. Huff standing in the pocket, great pocket this time, has a man wide open. Mullen makes the catch, and he's going in for a touchdown. GTRA, when they needed it the most, a 23-yard strike as Isaiah Mullen hauls it in. He got open over the middle of the field, and he'll waltz in. It's 44-38 now as the Titans get a much-needed score.
What a catch by Mullen. He couldn't get any more outstretched. He's got some serious stickum on those gloves he's wearing because he just snagged that really well-thrown ball by Huff. No one around him. Beautiful catch by Mom. He was the player that got his bell rung in that collision with Furch earlier in the game. Where I
think that was Dietrich, right?
They both of those guys. Or no, Mom was even earlier in the game. I'm sorry. It wasn't the Furch play. It was even earlier in the game where he had to sit out.
It's a quarterback draw, and Huff is going to be contained in the backfield. Schwab jumps on his back as he came in off the edge and stops the 2-point conversion, but a big touchdown by GTRA. 44-38 is the score, and now another huge drive up coming for the Bears. Well, in any case, Malm makes the catch on the touchdown, and when Huff first released that ball, I thought it was going to be overthrown and Malm wouldn't make the catch, but so it stuck on his hands for his 3rd touchdown reception of the season.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to be a harmless incompletion. I was so surprised, but that failed 2-point conversion is huge because Garrigan has a 6-point lead. Now, let's say Garrigan gets stopped. Well, GTRA has to score, and then if Garrigan stops the 2-point conversion, we're tied. So these 2-point conversions, like we talked about earlier, are so key in this game, whether you make them or don't make them. But as it is, it's a whole new situation. Bears clinging to a 6-point lead, 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game.
Titans have been so good on 2-point conversions so far in this game, but Schwab on the last one just got into the backfield and jumped onto the back of Casey Huff. So much is being asked of the Garrigan defensive lineman, Schwab and Hellseth in this game. You're talking about 2 guys rushing the passer. You're saying, hey, you've got to contain the quarterback Huff, but you can't get too far up the field on your rush. You've got to be so disciplined if you're Schwab and Hellseth with this assignment against the most mobile quarterback in the district.
Yeah, boy, this last 5 minutes and 20 seconds is going to be intense. Garrigan is going to have a lot of pressure on this offense to run some time off the clock. So you know what that means, some hardcore running of the football.
I think there's a guy named Ethan Marceau and a guy named Trayton Sink who may be up to that challenge as Gilmore will kick the ball away right to left. Gilmore approaches the football and he'll squib it down the field. Diving on top of it and covering it up for Bishop Garrigan is Ethan Marceau. So Marceau making the play on special teams and starting the Golden Bears at the 33-yard line.
Very good field position. They're already just 6 yards away, 7 yards away from midfield here. So can the Garrigan running attack leg this out and secure a victory here? Are they fresh enough? This is the first game that the Garrigan players have played all 4 quarters. Hellseth, Schwab, Caden Graves, the front 3 for Bishop Garrigan, along with tight end Rosemeyer and tight end Nate Lear, the big lineup.
This is a big drive. Can the Garrigan Bears put this game away as Marceau goes on the draw up the middle? He gets across the 35, and Marceau out to about the 37-yard line as he'll pick up 4 yards on the first down carry.
Well, the Titans are sending the house. They know Garrigan's going to try to run it. They sent the linebackers. They sent everybody. Boy, it's a big roll of the dice here, but a little flip of the ball out in the flats after a play action, a little tight end pop pass. Could be a risky thing to do here, second down, if it's not successful. But Owen Murphy's entering the game here. He's splitting wide right.
Murphy wearing that knee brace on the left leg, but it hasn't diminished his speed a whole lot as he caught a touchdown pass from Furch earlier tonight. 2nd and 7. Furch puts the ball into the belly of Marceau. Marceau rumbles right side, and he falls forward just shy of the 40-yard line. Only picked up 2 on that play, and now the Golden Bears are in that 3rd and medium situation where everything's on the table.
Furch is coming over to get the play directly from Marty Wadley's mouth every game here, or every play here. They're not going to run in the play. They're taking their time here. 3rd down. This is, of course, a huge 3rd down because if they pick up 3rd down and 4, if they pick up 3, they'll go for it. If they pick up none, they might punt it. So they got to get some solid yardage here to keep this drive going. Clock down to 3:57.
This play will illuminate what you do on 4th down if you don't get the first down here. 3rd and 5, Garrigan needs the 35-yard line. Furch is back to throw. Furch, he's going to take a deep shot to Joyce. Down the seam, and Joyce dives, and he can't make the catch. He was blanketed by Casey Huff and Jackson Schnell as the Golden Bears took a big-time shot, but they couldn't hook up on that pass.
Oh, he dove for it. He did have a step. He was open. Just couldn't haul it in. The Bears went for the big play with 3rd down and long. Now they're going to punt it away. With 3:45 to go in the game, they're going to put the pressure on the defense.
So Joyce will be the punter, averaging 34.8 yards per boot this season for the Bears, but had a big punt earlier tonight. Titans don't send anyone deep. They're going to play it safe and make sure Garrigan doesn't fake it. Here's Joyce, does punt the ball away. It wobbles towards the near side. Mice back there in coverage, trying to down the ball. Mice is there, and he stops the ball inside the 5-yard line. Mice downs the ball at the 1, and GTRA in field position jail to start the drive.
Boy, senior Dan Mice, homecoming court, makes a huge play. Oh, he's getting all kinds of love from his teammates now. He got a high five from Coach Wadley. That does not happen very often here. Garrigan punts the ball and pins him right inside the 1. Nice punt by Joyce. And what a play by Mice.
So 1st down and 79 to go for GTRA. Titans are down by 6. They have 3:35 to work with. All the time in the world, plus 2 timeouts. Casey Huff by himself standing in his own end zone as over the ball is the center, Luke Malm.
Oh, now they got Joyce one-on-one on Schnell again.
Back to throw is Huff in his own end zone, being chased by Schwab. He's got to get out. He throws and it's incomplete. Looking out to the right side to Sweden, who's covered by Lichter, but Schwab was bearing down for a potential safety, and Huff had to release that ball.
Great coverage by Lichter and Joyce on that left side. Huff looking on that side of Sweden and Schnell all the way. Boy, they are buried here. Bears, Tyler, have they had a safety yet this year?
Not that I remember. I don't think they've had a safety yet.
Oh, that would put them up 8 points. We'll see if they can dial something up here. Perhaps they risk a blitz by Marceau in between Heliseth and Schwab, the lineman.
Marceau, the middle linebacker for the Golden Bears. Trey bunched right for GTRA. Here comes Marceau. They pick him up. They throw left side to Sweden, and he's plastered by Lichter. 1 yard gain for Sweden as Lichter puts his helmet into the rib cage of the running back.
Oh, they give a very favorable spot there as he was tackled almost into the end zone, but the referees bring it back out to the 3.
So 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Ball's at the 3-yard line as the Titans have to get it past the 10, out to the 11 for the 1st down.
Well, I assume they're going to run people deep, but I tell you, the one to watch out for is Casey Huff. We're going to have a matchup here. Huff's going to take off running if the coverage is good.
They're going to put Huff at wide receiver and bring Tegan Hansen in as quarterback. Huff, the lone receiver on the left side, covered by Sink, and now they'll send him in motion. And the play's blown dead. Flag in from way behind the play.
Delay a game. They ran out of time.
I think you're right, Beanie. Double zeros on the clock. It was the official standing all the way back at the 26-yard line to throw the flag, and half the distance to the goal is not going to make too much of a difference here, so instead of 3rd and 8, you're talking about 3rd and 9. But it does allow the Golden Bears to get a look at what the Titans line up with offensively, and rather call new play here, or maybe you tipped your hand.
I think they did tip the hand there. I think that ball was going to end up going to Huff, who was then going to throw it deep. They were going to try to pitch it to Huff to draw in the defense, perhaps, and then he was going to throw it deep to Schnell.
Boy, that'd be a risky play to run in your own end zone, but they might have tried it. Now Huff's the quarterback. Huff back to throw, unloads quickly out to the right side to Schnell. Schnell weaves, he's wrapped up, and he escapes from Schwab. He's still fighting his way forward. He's to the 10, and he almost has the first down. I think he may have it. No, he's a half-yard shy.
Wow.
Schnell didn't quite get there, but escaped all kinds of tackle attempts. Well shy of the line of the line to gain, and nearly got there.
What running, and now with 2 minutes to go in the game, they have to go for it with 4th and inches. So he should have been tackled 5 yards short of the line to gain, but Bears just did not get him to the turf. Boy, Schnell has been the player of the game for the Titans all night.
Slippery running by Schnell. Now we're under 2 minutes. Clock is rolling. Titans have 2 timeouts. They're down to 10 on the play clock as they break the huddle. Schnell makes a 4th down and inches of that great catch and run. And now Coach Huff is running in for the sideline. He is sprinting in, and he's calling a timeout. 1:49 left. He saw something he didn't like, and certainly he can't take those timeouts to the grave.
Well, Garrigan switched back to their 3-down lineman. Carter McGregor, they had Wyatt Rosemeyer in there playing nose guard, and they had Schwab, Hellseth, and Rosemeyer there ready to rip and snort their way into the backfield, and I think their coach has not seen that lineman front all night. It's just been a 2-down lineman, and I think he wanted to talk that over.
So we have 1:49 left. Both teams now have 1 timeout remaining as Bishop Garrigan clings to a 44-38 lead against GTRA.
Well, I think this play call for GTRA is quite simple. You got a guy named Casey Huff in your backfield, and you just let him run out into space and say, get out there and pick up the first down, Casey. He'll probably do it for you. And if he doesn't, you don't look bad. Because Garrigan's going to come with those down linemen. You got to get Huff out in open space to pick up that first down. Garrigan can stop this 4th down. It's over.
Yeah, I think the question is, how will they run Casey Huff? It's not if they will run Casey Huff. I think it's what the run will look like and what the blocking scheme is. You know, do you do that student body to the right play where they have the Trey bunch to the right and you try to run behind that? Is it a quarterback draw straight for the middle? Do you try to just run some sort of counter here? How they kind of drop the blocking here will be fascinating, because I think this is an obvious Casey Huff run situation. When you only need 1 yard, you can get your slippery quarterback out there.
Yeah, this 8-man game is wild and crazy. You never know what they're going to do. I wouldn't be entirely shocked if they try to throw deep to Schnell here. It's a wild and crazy game.
The whole crowd is on their feet right now. 4th and 1 from GTRA's own 10-yard line. Huff back to throw. Huff flips it out, and the catch is made by Malm. First down, Malm across the 15, and he's out to the 17-yard line. That ball is behind him as Malm had to make a tremendous catch, reaching back behind him. Tackle made by Marceau, and the Titans move the sticks.
Well, they're going to stop the clock. They initially let the clock run, but then they stopped the clock to move the chains. And so they're going to want to put the clock back and give GTRA as much time as they can. They're going to put 1:44 up, it looks like, on the clock.
Yeah, you're now in the situation where if you get the first down, the clock is going to stop. So the difference between a 9 and a 10-yard gain is important here.
Gives a big breath for GTRA, who is still going to have to hurry. When the clock stops to move the chains, they wind it again as soon as those chain gang gets quick. And we've seen that chain gang crew for Garrigan. They can move pretty quick. So a nice little break there for the Titans to get reestablished.
Huff alone in the backfield as he'll be back to throw. Quick pass out to the right side looking for Schnell. Schnell cuts back to the middle of the field. He's trying to escape to the sideline. He's driving his way to the edge, and he didn't get out of bounds. He only gained 5 yards. He had an opportunity early, but tried to run to the middle. And now the Titans will hustle to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Madden Miller was flying over there from his outside linebacker spot, made the initial hit, and then was holding on to his jersey for dear life. Because, boy, I'm telling you, this Schnell, he is an impressive player.
2nd down and 5 from the 23. 1:10 left in the 4th quarter as the Titans need a touchdown. They're down by 6. Huff has 3 receivers left. Low snap, picks it up, throws right side, incomplete. He had Dietrich open for the first down, but because that ball was on the ground, that threw the play off, and Huff throws it low and incomplete.
Boy, I like this GTRA offense, what they're doing. They're not trying to get it all right at once. They're sending 4 eligible receivers out, 3 of them on one side, 1 on the other, and they're going to the 1 receiver side. And it's working pretty well for them, picking up small chunks.
So 3rd down and 5. Remember, the Titans have 2 plays to get this. They have 1 timeout left as there's 15 on the play clock when the Titans break the huddle.
All right, let's go Schwab and Hellseth. See if you can get yourself in that play. Get in that backfield.
Schnell out wide to the left. Huff looking, throwing over the middle. Tempted, intercepted. Here comes Ethan Marceau. Marceau's going to take it for a house call. 54 seconds left, and Ethan Marceau puts Bishop Garrigan up 50-38. He brought it into his body with one hand. He secured the pick, and at the worst time possible for GTRA, a turnover, a backbreaker by Marceau.
Ethan Marceau makes a one-handed snare out of the air. The entire crowd got whiplash. We were looking to see who was going to catch the ball deep. Marceau jumps up and snares it out of the air. I think Schwab might have missed. He made that pass go inside. Schwab was all over the quarterback like we called for. Ethan Marceau, holy smokes, this kid's doing it all tonight.
What an incredible play by Ethan Marceau. He's doing it on the ground. He's doing it on defense. He's trying to shadow Casey Huff. And that time it was a pick and a wide, wide open route to the end zone. What a night. A career night by Marceau as Golden Bears will go for two, 50-38. First play action, rolls right, has Rosenmeyer open and he makes the catch. 2-point conversion, 52-38 Bears, and a flag comes in after the play. Rosenmeyer's saying, "What did I do?" I wonder if he may have said something after that catch.
Rosemeyer, that's the second time tonight. Rosemeyer's had his hands out as the "what did I do?" I better give that kid a little lesson in acting, what to do or not to do after a play. Well, boy, as it is, Tyler, what excitement here at the end of the game. What an unbelievable, the Bears need a defensive stop in the worst way. You had just said GTRA's got 2 downs to get the first. It didn't matter because Ethan Marceau picks off the pass and takes it back to the end zone. What a pick six at a right time. Nothing more exciting than a pick six, Tyler.
Well, the 2-point conversion counts. It'll be a dead ball penalty against Bishop Garrigan. Now 54 seconds left, 52-38, and that may be the game sealer, the homecoming winner, and the pick that sends you to a 7-0 record if you're the Golden Bears. What a night here at Bishop Garrigan High School. An intense moment. GTRA, Beanie was being patient. They were picking their way down the field. They were looking for those short plays, 5-6 yards, and try to get out of bounds. And eventually they tried to get it over the middle of the field, and Ethan Marceau just lurking back there in coverage, brings it in for a highlight reel pick six.
Well, Ethan and company, Lichter, Miller, those linebackers, they've been so good all year. They've been really challenged tonight because they've had to do more than what's usually asked. They've had to cover sideline to sideline even better because they've had to recover receivers, and sometimes they show blitz and drop back and pass, and that's what happened there. Marceau lined up, faked like he was coming in, dropped back into coverage, and I don't think Huff even saw him there, but even if he saw him, he didn't expect Marceau to jump up and snag that ball out of the air with one hand.
So the penalty will move Bishop Garrigan all the way back to the 15-yard line for the kickoff. So Casey Huff back to return for GTRA. He'll try to break one here and score quick because now Titans are going to have to score a touchdown, get an onside kick, and then score a touchdown again. Down 52-38. 54 seconds left. Galligan approaches the football, and he'll kick it away deep to Huff. Huff will have a chance here to return. He's at the 19-yard line, returns right side. Huff looking for blockers. He's looking to throw it back, but he'll keep it instead. Huff is finally bottled up just shy of the 30. He's looking to throw it back to the near side to Schnell, but thought better of it and just kept it.
Yeah, DeLang stayed in his lane as well as Joyce. I think that's Joyce over there. But when he looked to throw it back to Schnell, Schnell just waved it off, said, "No, I'm covered." Good job by the kick cover team for Bishop Garrigan. Good special teams tonight. I thought we might see a special team score one way or the other, but as it is, it was a good job by both schools' special teams not making that error that gives the game away. Garrigan was always at risk of letting Huff break a big kick return, and they did a fantastic job tonight of not letting that happen.
46 seconds left. Empty backfield now as throwing his Hansen. He'll throw right side. Catch is made by Schnell as he tiptoes out of bounds after an 8-yard gain. They put Casey Huff in as a receiver that time as Hansen completes for 8 yards.
Well, GTRA doesn't look like they're going to come back and win this game, but boy, Schnell and Huff are going to continue to have one heck of a fun season because these guys really can light up the stats offensively. Very good football players here for the Titans.
So ball is going to be at the 37-yard line. Second down and 2 for the Titans with 42 seconds left. As Hansen's by himself in the backfield, 2 receivers each side, and a flag comes in.
Well, Tyler, these flags are slowing down what's been an incredibly exciting game. It's been so exciting, in a full 4 quarters of excitement. I have not had any time to give you trouble about sports, your running career. It's been a very, very ecumenical game by me. I've done no foul talk.
You stayed focused tonight, Beanie, but, you know, this game has been so good, we don't have time to talk about anything else besides how good this game is, as this is going to be a penalty against GTRA for 5 yards.
Well, let me just ask you, will you be attending the homecoming dance after the game?
My homecoming dance days are long gone.
As far as I know, I think it's open to the public. I don't think the public ever comes, but I think anyone can go to the homecoming dance, Tyler, if you want to cut a rug.
I don't think anyone wants to see that. 2nd down and 7 from the 32-yard line, and another flag before the penalty, or before the play, and GTRA is going to back up another 5 yards.
Now Helliseth and Schwab are clapping. Could we have a war of words going on the field, perhaps? Or is that just a good old false start?
That's a good old false start. I think GTRA may just be trying to hard count Garrigan here, and Schwab and Helliseth are saying, I don't think so.
Well, you know, Schwab and Helliseth, as the only 2 defensive linemen this game, boy, they've been working really hard. They've been going 2-on-3 all night.
By himself in the backfield, it's Hansen. Hansen looking to throw. Garrigan tries to push the pocket. Hansen has time, rolls right, throws back to the left side to Schnell. Almost made a one-handed catch as he elevated. That ball was a little bit too tall, but Schnell almost set that pop and grabbed it. It's 2nd down, make that 3rd down and 12.
Oh, now the referees are really giving, one referee in particular, the umpire, really giving the business to Schwab and number 53 that's Luke Malm. Yeah, he's just a freshman and Schwab a junior. Schwab's going to come out now. Those two are they are taking this to the grave. They are fighting. Now another flag is going to come up. Unsportsmanlike going to be called on somebody. But I just saw Schwab play it down. Yeah, it's going to be unsportsmanlike on them. Schwab just played that last down like it was the state championship on the line. He came after that quarterback. 2 guys picked him up. Malm ended up getting Schwab to the ground and then hit him a couple times on the ground. And Schwab got up, and the ref came in and gave both guys a talking to and said, that's about enough of that, you guys. Schwab left the game. Malm stays in and kept running his mouth, and the referee said, well, now I'm going to give you a penalty.
So 15-yard penalty against GTRA as the Titans have fallen apart here at the end.
Yeah.
Rosenmeyer's going to check in on the defensive line for Garrigan in place of Schwab. So Helliseth and Rosenmeyer will try to rush here against Hansen. 3 receivers left side, 3rd and 27. Back to throw Hansen. He'll flip it out to the near side to Schnell, makes the catch at the 30, and he'll tiptoe out of bounds, being lightly touched out of bounds by Trayton Sink after a moderate gain past the 20.
Wow, Tyler, what a contest. Let's prognosticate. These 2 teams could meet each other again, but not in the first round of the playoffs.
No, the state usually doesn't like those first-round matches. However, if both these teams win their first-round game, I could see them being put into the 4-team pod together that states like to do. Much like Garrigan and West Bend were in the same pod last year, they could have played each other in the 3rd round. That might happen again with GTRA and Garrigan this year. It'll be Hansen looking to throw off his back foot, fires over the middle and incomplete. He couldn't find Malm, and the Titans coughed up on downs, and that's going to put the final nail in the coffin. 27 seconds left, and it's a formality at this point. 52-38 Golden Bears. Well, both these teams are going to the playoffs. They've clinched playoff spots, but this is going to be a district title clinching win for Garrigan, who will improve to 7-0 heading into the final week of the regular season. And now all they have to do is take a seat on the football and make it official on homecoming weekend.
Well, this is a fun game. Not only was it a great game, excitement, lots of big plays both ways. Things also got a little chippy here, and Garrigan might have a rival in the district now.
Tate Furch takes a seat on the football, and that's going to be it. 52-38, the final score. GTRA gave Bishop Garrigan a battle tonight, but 3 lead changes in the 3rd quarter. Golden Bears pull ahead in the 4th, and then Ethan Marshall's pick 6 seals the deal. Bishop Garrigan wins on homecoming night. They are the district champions, and they are 7-0 heading into the final week of the regular season. An absolute war against the Titans tonight. These are 2 of the best teams in the state, 2 of the top 10 ranked teams as we saw, but ultimately the Golden Bears use that state championship experience to once again have a dominant second half and pick up the victory.
Well, you said it, Tyler. That experience of last season really helped because they never panicked here. They were down at times, and it's homecoming, so you know the kids are tired from a week of activities. But that experience from last season of having so many close games in the playoffs and rallying to pull them off, I think you really saw that tonight. A lot of experienced players, none more than Furch and Marceau, and those linemen, Helliseth and Schwab, really played well in that second half. It was a very big difference between that line play and the running back play out of halftime.
Well, Bishop Garrigan wins this tonight, 52-38. We'll step aside for a couple of quick messages. When we come back, it'll be your post-game show on KLGZ Home Country Radio.
Thank you to these sports club members bringing you this game on Hometown and Home Country Radio.
The Wrenchman Truck and Trailer Repair, full-service repair shop in West Bend.
Tangle Salon for all your cuts, colors, hair extensions, and massage therapy needs.
Algona Chiropractic Clinic, it's your future. Let's make it healthy together.
Feed Mill Coffee Company, Algona's locally owned coffee shop.
Good Samaritan Society, Algona's senior housing and services rooted in God's love.
Schindler Lawn Care and Landscaping, 515-320-3840.
All bringing you this ball game.
At Sudol Tax and Accounting, they're more than just number crunchers. They're your partners in financial success. Whether you're a small business owner or just need personal tax advice, their experienced team provides accurate, reliable, and personalized services tailored just for you. From tax preparation and bookkeeping to financial planning and consulting, Sudol Tax and Accounting has you covered. Call them today at 515-395-1040 or go online at sudoltax.com.
As we wrap up here on KLGZ Home Country Radio and at the Algona Radio YouTube stream, the Bishop Garrigan Golden Bears defeat the GTRA Titans 52-38 tonight in a wild game. Golden Bears never led until the second half. Then in the third quarter, there were 3 lead changes, but ultimately Garrigan once again uses a strong second half to put the ball game away. Ethan Marshall, a pick 6, seals it, and the Golden Bears now 7-0 overall. GTRA takes their first loss of the season. They fall to 6-1, but certainly a worthy challenger tonight of the Golden Bears. Beanie, what a ball game. I don't even know where to start, so I'll let you start wherever you want. What a game tonight for the Bears.
Oh, I'm just so pleased to see a good game. I will say, Tyler, you know, this is your job. I just do this for fun. I come here every Friday night. I want to see a ball game. And tonight was a ball game. It was a fantastic back-and-forth contest, big plays both ways. When GTRA starts off the game with a huge completion on a stop-and-go move, we saw what was in front of us. That was a beautiful reception by Schnell to start the game. You start the game with a stop-and-go touchdown, it gives you a lot of confidence. And, boy, did the Titans have confidence tonight. They came in ready to roll, and roll they did in that first half. But game of 2 halves, Garrigan came out that second half and was ready to roll.
GTRA really did throw down the gauntlet on the opening play with that 57-yard touchdown pass to Jackson Schnell. He also caught a 59-yarder later in the game. At one point, GTRA led by as many as 10 points. They were up 24-14 with 3:53 left to go until halftime. But the Golden Bears, they responded, got a good drive. That touchdown pass by Tate First to Owen Murphy with just outside of 1 minute to go until halftime was an underrated play in this game, because going down by 1 possession into halftime certainly feels a lot different than being down by 2 possessions at the break. And then, of course, coming out of intermission, both teams got to stop at one point, but even Marceau really took over that second half, Beanie. The power running that we've seen in small doses throughout the year, but we haven't seen that big double-digit carry game for Ethan Marceau yet. Golden Bears needed it tonight, though. They put the game in Marceau's hands, and that power run game where he just ran over people, got into space a couple of times, really sort of punished the Titans and demoralized them in the second half.
Yeah, I've been absent the last couple games, so perhaps they've had that in their playbook for a while, but I have not seen that trap play that they run to Marceau where he comes back across the line of scrimmage from side to side, and that worked wonderfully in the second half. I think the coaches put a different wrinkle in at halftime on how to block it, but he was through that line untouched. Good job by the line, opening up that seam. And then once Marceau got on the open field, we don't think of him as a sprinter, but he's on the track in track season, and he's running the sprints. He can move in the open field. And maybe the most electrifying play of the game, if you're a fan of football, was when he was galloping down the field. He was about 40 yards into the play when he went head-to-head with GTRA's best player. And it was a collision for the season. And he absolutely laid that fella out. And that was some good hard-nosed football right there.
Yeah, this game really had a little bit of everything, and you could see how important this was to both coaches. Obviously, the district title on the line, but both coaches dug very deep into the playbook. We saw a few new wrinkles on both sides of the ball, and really this was just a battle between clearly the 2 best teams in the district. You came in tonight, Garrigan 6-0, GTRA 6-0. Every other team in the district has at least 2 losses, so you knew this one was going to be a playoff-type atmosphere, and it certainly was that. A massive crowd tonight, both coaches bringing out everything out of the playbook, and ultimately Garrigan prevails.
How about that Titan play in that fourth quarter? Garrigan up 2 scores, looks like they might have the game sealed. And then on a 3rd down and long situation, Huff finds Malm on a beautiful catch there. GTRA is throwing and catching the ball fantastically and right back into that game. You know, some of these 8-man games have these jaunty scores, like this one being 52-38 in favor of the Golden Bears. And you see why. There's room to throw and catch the ball, and these games, you can be up 2-3 scores and teams can come right back in. But the Garrigan defense came up with 2 huge stops in the second half. Very few stops either way in the first half, but in the second half, the Garrigan defense was able to stop this GTR offense. The D-backs made some adjustments. Good, impressive play. They'd gotten beat deep a couple times in the first half. In the second half, not to be had. Didn't get beat deep at all. Forced GTRA to throw some underneath passes, which were successful, but not in the scoring category, as Garrigan got some huge stops there.
Well, that is a full night of action for you, ladies and gentlemen. 52-38, the final score as Bishop Garrigan defeats GTRA. And right now it's time to hand out our player of the game, brought to you by Erpelding & Voigt.
Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs has a simple philosophy about the way they approach their business. Put people before the numbers. Before they can help you plan for a better financial future, they must have a thorough understanding of where you've been and where you want to go. They listen, then ask the important questions to build long-lasting relationships with their clients. They promise to know you and help you. Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs. They're more than just taxes.
All right, folks, time to hand out our player of the game, brought to you by Erpelding Voigt & Company CPAs. Every week we choose a new Golden Bear to win the player of the game award, someone who really stood out on the gridiron, really helped lift this Bishop Garrigan team to victory. And tonight, Beanie, I'm going to go to one of the players who played up front. Whenever you play Casey Huff, you've got to find a way to contain him, and that starts with the defensive line. Carter Schwab is tonight's player of the game, of course. A stellar offensive guard for Garrigan, stellar on the defensive line as well. Garrigan went 2 on 3 all night on the defensive line, so Schwab and Helseth really had to contain Huff, and Schwab came up with a couple of big plays, had a sack late in that ball game, and also caught a 2-point conversion. That was a big highlight reel.
That was a great play by Schwab. And if you're still listening as we approach the 10 o'clock hour, I will have to say off the air, Tyler and I had to wrestle for this one because I thought, how could you not give the player of the game to Ethan Marceau with that game that he just had? But he played great because Schwab was opening up those holes, and he was blocking one on the line. Schwab going both ways. Him and Helseth, great job on the offense and defensive line today. 4 quarters of intense line play for those 2 young men, and Carter Schwab gets the 2-point conversion. Well done, Carter Schwab, Erpelding Voigt, player of the game. Fantastic game there, and he played till the very last whistle, even on the very last play of the game, hitting the deck, making 2 people block him, and drawing penalty calls.
That's right. So Schwab is tonight's player of the game. Spreading the wealth around a little bit. I know we gave Marceau one. I think it was in the St. Edmund game, but that's one of those where it's a full team win. There's so many guys you can say on a night like tonight. Schwab was a guy who really stood out. Tate Furch had another great game who we gave the player of the game to last week. So we'll give it to Schwab tonight. Those big guys up front are what Coach Wadley always goes to when I talk about what's the biggest thing you need in today's game. He'll always say, we need good line play. And he's right. Garrigan does need good line play. They got it tonight from Schwab, and especially against such a slippery quarterback like Casey Huff. This was a all-out effort up front by the Bears.
Yeah, great job, Schwab and company. Whoa, and now they got the homecoming dance.
So settle in, folks. The weekend is just getting started for the Bishop Garrigan Bears, but it's just wrapping up for us. As a reminder, tune in tomorrow on 92.7 KLGA, as we'll have breakfast with the coaches getting underway at 9:05. We'll talk with Coach Wadley and more coaches from around the area with the latest in local action. And also tonight, 10 o'clock on KLGA. If you're driving home, you can tune into 92.7 for the Iowa High School Scoreboard Show. I'm going to try to hustle back to the studio, record a recap on the Garrigan game, and we'll see if the High School Scoreboard Show plays that later tonight. But in the meantime, that'll wrap it up for us. What a night, what a start to the season, and what a team this Bishop Garrigan roster has developed into. The 7-0 Golden Bears now after tonight's 52-38 win over GTRA. One final thank you to our video streaming sponsors. Those include Algona Municipal Utilities, Chemna Auto Center, Iowa State Bank, Algona Frame and Auto Body, and PMC Advantage Insurance Services. For my partner Beanie Bodie, I'm Tyler Lance signing off. This has been a sports production of Home Country Radio KLGZ and the Algona Radio YouTube stream. Once again, your final score, Bishop Garrigan 52, GTRA 38.